Hey.
Let's go!
This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston
Hello, beautiful people. It is Overreaction Monday, December 26th, 2022. I hope your Christmas was fantastic. This sports show starts right now. Football! Had a hell of a weekend, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I mean, there was bowl games and there was tea grabbing. Shout out to Stone Cold Hawk on taking his job serious and running out and grabbing the tea and belly flopping with his incredible mullet and then sprinting and barrel rolling off the field for the University of Houston Cougars. And shout out to the bowl season currently happening with the college football playoff happening just days from now. One game in Phoenix, one game in Atlanta. We have the Fiesta Bowl and the Peach Bowl. We'll be live on the field from the Peach Bowl on Saturday night as the Georgia Bulldogs play host as the number one seed in the college football playoff to the Ohio State Buckeyes. Me, Darius, AJ Hawk, Connor Campbell on headsets on the sideline. Ty Schmidt with a microphone on the sideline. The boys should be absurd, and it'll be a blast, but that is not what we will be talking about today. No. Hope you had an incredible Christmas.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Hope it was a blast. Tone Diggs one half of the hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys. Merry Christmas. Hope it was fantastic.
It was fantastic. Merry Christmas to you.
Hey, Merry Christmas, Toxic Table at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Merry Christmas. Hope it was fantastic.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Pat.
Merry
You too.
Hope you guys got all the gifts that you could have desired. I hope you had a good time with your family and friends. I hope you got a chance to reflect on life and think about how nice it is just to be alive as opposed to being dead. And although things might not be perfect and we're striving to get better, Christmas is a beautiful time to sit there and go, you know what? This ain't that bad. Connor, I know you got that big-time gift that you were looking forward to, and you're also around some children. You were talking about how Christmas was a little bit more electrifying when there's kids running around all over the place. What did you see?
Yeah, I mean, you forget kind of the belief in all the wonderful things that bring, Christmas around the year. I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, there were some awesome things to be seen. Love seeing people rip open presents like they're never going to be able to open a present again ever. So that was sweet. And yeah, you got some wonderful things on Christmas, especially now it's 18 degrees. It feels like it's summer.
Yeah, a little balmy 18 right now, whenever it was -8, -9. Ty, Tone, first Christmas with a baby. Baby will not remember this, but you guys will. Ty, I'll start with you. How was it with the baby first time?
It was absolutely fantastic. And yeah, I mean, it's more so you opening the gifts for the baby and being like, oh, nice, she's going to like this. We really need this, et cetera, et cetera. And then this year, just more so. I mean, I wasn't expecting. Once you have a kid, I don't think you're really ever expecting to get any more gifts for yourself, which is fine. I have everything I need. But then the Packers win on Christmas Day. That's the only gift I could ask for. I feel like it was hand wrapped and given to me.
And then, Tone, I guess you're saying the same damn thing. Obviously, it's incredible to be there with your beautiful baby girl for the first time having Christmas, and the in-laws were in town and everything like that. Steelers get a big-time win to kind of put a cherry on top of the whole thing.
Steelers get a win. The Pats lost.
Come on.
What?
You don't have to bring that up.
We're talking about you having a baby for the first time. If you want to dive right into we can't do that.
The Dolphins lost. Who else was seven?
All right. Listen, did you enjoy the Christmas with your baby? Yeah? It was awesome. First time ever?
Yeah.
All right, great.
Woke up early, built a fire. There was a little more responsibility I felt to make it great.
Okay, sweet. Yes, everything happened for you that needed to happen as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Yes, everything that needed to happen for the Green Bay Packers fan has happened, including a big-time win down in Miami, which we will certainly dive into. I think we should just address these games as we have them in specific rank to importance on the overall story of the NFL season, as opposed to just this weekend to this weekend. The reason why we have to talk about this particular game first, the Eagles versus the Cowboys, is because we were supposed to hit a super boost.
Yeah.
We were supposed to win a damn super boost. All we needed the Eagles was to cover. Plus 4.5. Cowboys could have won that game. Eagles getting 4.5 points. This team that has only lost once before. This team that seemingly has no weaknesses. They have a veteran quarterback in Gardner Minshew filling in for Jalen Hurts, who has a sprained shoulder, probably going to miss next week too.
Yeah.
Just the way we're
Yeah.
reading reports, we have Ian Rappaport joining us in about 23 minutes or so. We will ask him thoughts on Jalen Hurts missing. But Jalen Hurts misses his first game this season because of a sprained shoulder that happened in the game prior. We didn't know what it was going to take place, but we had a good feeling that Gardner Minshew would be able to operate that offense in a fashion that they would be able to keep it within 4.5 points. There was moments of greatness from Gardner Minshew. He didn't look like he was scared at all. Sirianni was drawing up plays to make him look smarter than he could ever be. Gardner Minshew was handling the elements perfectly early. The Philadelphia Eagles defense were absolutely buzzing around. Gardner Minshew was able to score a touchdown. Can we play this? Yeah, we can play this. Gardner Minshew able to make a lot of plays. Well, look, Devontae Smith seemingly being the guy that he was like leaning on in every single situation. Devontae got the ball a lot. Devontae obviously did the Favre where he broke into the Salvation Army and robbed money from the needy, robbed gifts from the needy. And Devontae had a day and night in which he thought Christmas would be remembered for the long haul. But since that moment took place where they robbed the Salvation Army,
That's right.
it all went the other direction,
It did.
including a fumble where Miles Sanders literally just handed the ball to the Dallas Cowboys in field goal range while they're already down 3. Remember, we only needed them to cover 4.5 points. Pro Bowl Miles Sanders on his own 20 with pressure from Micah, who's an absolute dog. I don't even think he touched it. It was just a cut. The guy did it himself. Just hands the ball over. Obviously, Myers knocks it, or Brett Maher knocks it home. They end up winning by 6. This game was electrifying. This game was obviously something we could have hoped it for. And this game was a game where people were saying the Cowboys are back. Congrats to Dak on bouncing back from people saying that he needed to be benched. The Cowboys are all of a sudden in a much better position.
Unreal.
And in the NFC, the Eagles, a team that you would assume would get the number 1 seed, have it locked in overall. If they start to slide a little bit and try to rest Jalen Hurts, there's a team in Minnesota that seemingly has the football gods all the way on their side.
For sure.
A battle between the New York Football Giants and the Minnesota Vikings taking place in cold-ass Minnesota in the middle of that whiteout. I loved it.
Yeah,
I
sweet.
absolutely loved the whiteout. I like the way all the fans were dressed in white. I like the way the stadium looked. The end zones, interesting. They had the white, then the purple, then the white again. Could have got people a bit confused on what was inbounds, what was out of bounds. But on a day where Justin Jefferson breaks 2 NFL records, actually 2 franchise records, 1 NFL record in first 3 years, amount of 100-yard games, breaks a receptions record and a yards record in franchise history, 1 record from Chris Carter, 1 record from Randy Moss, only in his 3rd year. He's going to be unbelievable. First year with Kevin O'Connell being the offensive coordinator. There's a touchdown to put him up 8 after a blocked punt happened. A blocked punt in the 4th changed this entire game. Giants were supposed to punt the ball back with 4 minutes left, down 1 to the Minnesota Vikings. It's a block tackle. Justin Jefferson scores. They go up 8. Saquon Barkley bounces back with a long-term run on the other side. They end up tying the game. Then Kirk Cousins has a chance to lead the Minnesota. This is Saquon Barkley tying the game. Then the Minnesota Vikings get the ball back. You can't give Kirk Cousins that much time.
No way.
You can't put Kirk Cousins in that situation because they have a kicker who has a cannon of a leg, and Greg Joseph, who hits game winners all year, hits one through from 61 with 4 seconds left. And the Minnesota Vikings, a team that has come back from 33-0 at halftime, a team that has bounced back numerous times to win the NFC North after Week 15 of the NFL season, hits a 61-yarder to continue this team of destiny feel, this football God's blessed program. And maybe number 1 seed in the NFC if they can continue to rally. They got the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau this weekend. That Giants team, I think, looked good. Danny Dimes appeared to play great football. Love the way he was slinging it. You talk to Bruce or any Giants fan, they talk about, we got like 5th stringers playing wide receiver and Danny Dimes is doing everything he could do. Not judging Danny Dimes as hard as you would think they would after a loss like that, which is certainly heartbreaking, but the Vikings are a very good team. They got a pretty good squad there in New York. They should be happy about it. But this Vikings team, we'll start with you, Connor, this Vikings team seems to be a team of destiny right now, does it not?
Oh, absolutely. And Justin Jefferson, for sure, probably the top guy in the NFL this year. Obviously, Tyreek Hill's doing his thing, but Justin Jefferson's unbelievable. And then T.J. Hawkinson. He's coming alive too for him. It took him a little bit maybe against the Lions when we all thought, hey, Kevin O'Connell is going to get this guy a touchdown. I mean, he had 2 on Saturday. So, I mean,
one in the first, one in the fourth. I mean, if T.J. Hawkinson mosses somebody in the fourth quarter there, 14 seconds down, 14 minutes down, takes quite a shot off the earth there, I believe.
Give me that.
Give me that. T.J. Hawkinson, big-time trade from the Detroit Lions. Remember, Lions won that trade.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Lions won that trade.
People were saying
The Vikings are on an absolute terror this year. T.J. Hawkinson scores 2 touchdowns. Let's assume that's going to continue to grow, but go on.
Yeah, like they're a team that feels like they can beat you in any different, way. Like, obviously, Justin Jefferson's going to get his catches in, but if they need to go to the run game, as we've seen within the trenches with AQ and Christian Darrisaw, who he never brought up until last week because we forced him to, with Dalvin Cook, Madison, their backup, who's a guy, and Kirk Cousins, the way this is probably the best football he's played after getting another, guaranteed extension. So the Vikings just seem to be a tough out. Will they, show out when it turns to prime time? I know people are wondering, hey, prime time Kirk, will he be able to do it? He did it, in the playoffs once before, but against the Eagles early on, wasn't able to do it. But I have a lot of faith in the Vikings, but if the Packers get in, and all of a sudden we're talking about a Packers-Vikings first round, then what?
Well, the Packers would have to beat the Vikings this upcoming weekend in Lambeau. And the Green Bay Packers have had everything that needed to happen for them happen for them. They are now firmly on the bubble in the hunt. And if they get a win, they're back to even. Here we are. We're in this thing. Tie. There was a time in this season where we thought Aaron Rodgers was going to get benched. There was a time in this season where there was conversation about Aaron Rodgers being washed and his Packers team being terrible. Now, after a massive dub down there in Miami where the weather had snow.
Yeah.
It was
Cold
cold
as ever.
Lambeau went down, and not only Packers fan who show up everywhere. Snow actually took place down in Miami before that game. It was like 40 degrees. I don't know how the snow happened because it was 16 here and it rained. Nonetheless, none of us understand science as well as we probably should since we've lived on this earth for as long as we have, but I think it's unpredictable. Speaking of unpredictable, the Packers are right in the fucking thick of this thing.
Yeah.
Are the Packers going to make the playoffs? And if the Packers make the playoffs right now, are you a guy who is never going to be able to get upset about the Packers looking like shit early in the season because maybe we turn the page too quick to a new chapter of the Green Bay Packers being post Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love being the guy, everything like that? They make the playoffs. This is going to be a shit show from a conversation standpoint about what was, what is, and what could be in the future with the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers more specifically.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still kind of awestruck, to be honest with you. Like, especially with the way that game started yesterday. I mean, after Jalen Waddle had like an 84-yard touchdown on the Dolphins' second possession, and it was like, oh, Jesus.
So fast.
Yeah, it's going to be a long day. And then not too long after that, another busted coverage. Tyreek Hill goes for like a 52-yard gain down to the 1-yard line. But Rodgers mentioned it a couple weeks ago, the addition of Keyshawn Nixon, like he really has been like the boost that this team, for whatever reason, like they needed a guy like that, and he's kind of like reinvigorated the entire team.
95-yard or 96-yard kickoff return for Keyshawn Nixon. It was literally chatted about by Aaron Rodgers. This is incredible blocking. It's not just Keyshawn Nixon doing the thing. He had a couple different lanes, so you got to give massive credit to Bisaccia getting all the boys to buy in. But this type of thing is quite a weapon when you're going on the field on the +6 going in as opposed to your own 10 or own 5, which is the case for the Green Bay Packers after their special teams have been terrible for a long time. What a boost of energy this is for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we're continuing to see like they have kind of their full complement of skill players now, and anytime like Big Dog, what he means, Mercedes Lewis means so much for that team, and anytime he kind of gets involved in the passing game, scored a touchdown early, and then we kind of saw some vintage Rodgers yesterday of like, everyone's saying, oh, this guy's lost it, he's overthrowing guys, he's missing wide open guys. The pass he threw at the start of the second half to Mercedes Lewis, 31-yard gain down there it's just like that's the type of shit that you expect from Rodgers. He was putting balls in a bucket all day, and then their defense, which looked terrible early, they got challenged at halftime by the defensive backs coach, and then all of a sudden you kind of saw things flip in the second half. They picked 2 off 3 times in the last 3 possessions. It was just it really does start to seem like now these guys really do believe, so whatever happened in the first half of the season when they looked like shit and every other Packers fan was like, oh, I've never seen this before, this team looks so bad, like now these guys I think really do believe like, hey, the door's been left open for us. Everyone says like the last thing you want is Rodgers to get into the playoffs or like let the Packers limp in. Everything's legit. I mean, we were saying it a couple weeks ago. Oh, everything's out in front of them. All they got to do is win out. But like the way the dominoes have kind of fallen and everything that has needed to happen for them to get into the playoffs, I feel very, very confident going into these last 2 weeks of the season.
As you should, I think,
Yeah.
with A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones being able to play the way they're playing, and obviously Christian Watson has become an absolute stud for them. He was making some catches over the middle. And you're talking about vintage Aaron Rodgers. His ass was fucking running a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
I saw him trying to shake some people, diving a little bit extracurricular afterwards,
Right.
getting a first down. The sense of belief on that team. And I think whatever you're talking about, the throw out of the second half and the third quarter to Big Dog Mercedes Lewis, fucking Fox, I wish they would have been told about what happened here. This dude's
39, I think.
39 years old.
Yeah.
Look at this play from Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, third quarter, down 7, float to the right, cross body, flick like this into a fucking bucket. I think Van Denke is in his face right there, and he's flicking a ball like this, 39 years old, into a bucket to Mercedes Lewis. And the whole conversation was, did he catch it? Did he not catch it? Let's zoom in. Let's take a break. Let's not do it. Let's fucking talk about the old-ass hippie that's the back-to-back MVP who's already scrambled for some yards and then now is making plays that he used to make all the fucking time. Off script, off schedule, little razzle-dazzle. I think that was Christian Wilkins in there, who is an absolute dog on the defensive side of the field. Whenever you start seeing things like this and you start hearing him answer questions to I believe it was Pam Oliver afterwards, and he's talking about he knows everything that's going on around the league everywhere.
Yeah.
He was asked about Tua before the game, and he cut a promo about Tua. He cut a promo about how he's playing, the decisions he's making, where he's at now. The conversation about Tua is vastly different right now than it was about 6 weeks ago. Now, and you watch that, it's hard not to say, oh, that system, very similar to the Niners.
Bingo.
That system, the quarterback just has to do his job, basically.
Yeah.
Now, Tua was doing his job for a long time. Balls were on the money. Timing was everywhere. Defense wasn't able to get a good jump on him because I feel like he was looking off and disguising things well. Now we're at the end of the season. The book is out on everybody. Everybody kind of knows everything. Seems like he missed some balls. He was behind, a little bit slow, and then there was obviously some decisions that weren't fantastic that led to 3 straight picks to end the game. 3 series ended at the end of that game for the Miami Dolphins. Pick, pack,
What?
puck.
What?
Pick. That's how the whole game ended, basically, for Tua. And I don't know if it's just the Jair Alexander and Packers defense had a good read on him. And obviously, Devondre there gets an incredible pick, and that's an incredible athleticism. And here's another one that's just kind of handed to him, and it was a little bit of an overthrow or an underthrow, depending on where it was going. Bad couple weeks for Tua. A lot of conversation being had about him. I think with that system, guys will continue to be open. So as long as he can get out of his little slump that's currently happening, I'm not worried about the Dolphins long term. Not worried about Tua long term. But I think it is certainly worth talking about if he doesn't do his job in that system, could somebody else do it?
Yes.
You know? And with new coach, new operation down there that did not draft Tua, you wonder if that's going to be an offseason chatter yet again, which would suck for Tua. We've talked about Tua's mental toughness and how it's had to be stronger than everybody else in the NFL pretty much. When he gets in, his coach didn't want him there, benches him. When he puts him in, it becomes a big nightmare. He puts him in, he pulls him out for the big-time moments, puts Fitzmagic in there. Fitzmagic comes out, who we all love now even more after he's been on Amazon, Amazon Prime and everything like that. Says like, yeah, I'm heartbroken. I didn't know, I thought this was my team. So it just kind of leads into everything bad. Then it's come out, you know, Flores didn't necessarily love him. Then it comes out the team was maybe trying to pay the team to lose.
Yep.
I mean, it's just like the shit show that has been Tua being a quarterback in the NFL is something that is not fair for Tua and what it was for Tua. Then McDaniel comes in, puts him over. Tyreek Hill starts talking about the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. They're talking very good about him. We're starting to hear Tua go, psh, psh, psh. Then we're starting to see these highlights come one week after another. Tyreek, game changer. Waddle, game changer. Even the fucking tight end, Gesicki or whatever, game changer. And Tua's hitting everybody, making decisions that are perfect. Has these long balls every single game to Tyreek Hill. But in that system, with everything having to be on time and every ball having to be in the fucking dot in a perfect spot, and if you do as such, the person will be wide open. With him missing a couple each game, it's becoming very evident whether or not he's the guy or he's not the guy. I've heard from some Dolphins fans.
Oh.
Sources.
Oh, no.
Okay.
saying Tua is who we thought he was.
No.
People are giving up on Tua already. I want to let everybody know I am not giving up on Tua just yet, but he is going to have to tighten it up because this December record is going to start looking real bad on his resume. And also, McDaniel ain't going to do that shit. McDaniel knows his offense is going to create open people. If the quarterback can't hit him, that's not a McDaniel problem. That's going to be a Tua problem, and that'll be a conversation that'll hang over their head all offseason. 3 picks, 4 picks, whatever the case, can't have it. But for the Packers, defense was opportunistic.
Yeah.
Defense took advantage of situations. Special teams showed up and did their thing. And on the offense side of the ball, it looked like there was some creativity. They're playing their best football right now. This is when you want to be playing your best. Massive game against the football gods, Minnesota Vikings, this weekend in Lambeau. Packers are able to get that win, and then they're able to beat the Lions in Lambeau, Week 18.
Man.
And is it the brand new Lions in Week 18, or is it going to be the same old Lions that showed up just yesterday in Carolina, where Carolina set franchise records for both rush yards against a team and total yards against a team. 316 yards rushing against the Detroit Lions yesterday, Carolina Panthers. 523 total yards against the Detroit Lions. Remember, the Detroit Lions defense was a sieve earlier in the year. They fire the cornerback coach. All of a sudden, the defense is hot. They're the ones that are kind of the leaders of this brand new Lions. But Singletary, Foreman and Hubbard had numerous of those
Chunk plays.
So many of them.
where they just beat Dahn, the
Brand
old new Lions.
No,
I'm telling you, it's getting ugly out there
No,
for the
no.
Lions. And this is not fair for Motor City Dan Campbell and the Lions. Great teams lay eggs every once in a while. There's been a lot of teams that have gone on to win the Super Bowl who have lost games in embarrassing fashions in Week 14, Week 15, Week 16 of the NFL season. There's been a lot of them that have done that. But when Sam Darnold's running the fucking option, and when Sam Darnold is looking like goddamn Joe Montana at quarterback against your team, and you guys are getting bullied by the Carolina Panthers, or Steve Wilkes probably should be the head coach down there.
Yeah, absolutely.
He has 5 wins this season. I guess that's like the most that Matt Rule had over all of his years or whatever the case is. And he picked up an interim head coaching gig after they trade away their best player who didn't make the Pro Bowl but has become a staple of a team that's going to probably run in the NFC for a long, long way in Christian McCaffrey. Is this the same old Lions?
No.
Did you give up hope? Did Detroit give up hope? Or is this everybody outside hoping to kind of get in there and fracture the fan base and remind you guys that where you were years ago is where you are yet again? Because a team that is basically run by an interim team with no real future just ran all over your faces. And MCDC goes up to Steve Wilkes and goes, "You kicked our ass, man. Thanks, man. That was unbelievable, man. Really good work, man. Fuck, man." That's what he says. And everybody from the outside goes, "Oh, the Lions stink again." I don't think that's the case. I think you can lay an egg every once in a while, and you still have everything in front of you, right? The Lions can still make it into the playoffs. And that Week 18 game against the Packers in Lambeau is probably going to be the decider. And we are going to learn if this is the brand new Lions or is it the same old Lions. Foxy, how was Christmas? Not great. Is this a nostalgia gift that your favorite franchise tried to give to you, or is this just an anomaly for the brand new Lions?
I'm going to go with an anomaly, Pat. I just think they didn't show up. You and AJ talk about it all the time. Teams lay eggs. The Lions were due for an egg there because the last time they went on this winning streak when they played the Packers last. That was so long ago. They had played so well. They lost to the Bills. That's the only loss they had during that entire span. So, yeah, they were just due for laying this egg. Defense didn't show up. We're on to the Bears. Keep it moving. Still the brand new Lions. But I will say this, and I hadn't want to say it on this show for a long time. I have been dreading that game at Lambeau Field. And now that the Packers are hot, this is going to be ugly.
Yeah, well, is it the same old Packers? And is that what everybody is worried about right now? Because they still have the back-to-back MVP. They have a weapon in Christian Watson that they've desperately needed. Dobbs is back there doing his thing. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon are problematic. And Big Dog is starting to become a massive piece of the offense. It's almost like whenever they were playing shitty, Mercedes Lewis, who's been in the NFL for 55 years, said, I'm always open, man. Whenever you guys need me, I'm fucking always open. And Aaron's like, you're damn right. We actually need to do that. Week 18's massive in the NFC, but the Vikings, team of destiny.
Yeah, for sure.
They can put an end to all of it this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, but could you imagine if they are fully healthy and Bakhtiari comes back and plays for the Packers, how good they'll be?
What is Bakhtiari healthy? What happened? That was the appendicitis?
Yes, he had an
belly
appendectomy, I
button.
think, 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was before the bye week.
How? I mean, he has the knee lingers for a couple years.
Yeah.
Then appendicitis shows up
Yep.
out of nowhere when he was just getting back into it, right?
Yeah, but most guys miss like a month, I thought.
A month? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Because I remember when it was first coming out about Bakhtiari and his appendicitis, they were talking about it's going to be a little bit longer than normal. And I don't know if that's because he had it worse or the surgery was different or whatever the case was. But I think it is like 3 weeks. 3 weeks, right? That's kind of the standard.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Unless you're a dog like Minka. Minka missed one game. He wanted to play in that game. Thomas said you can't do it.
So so Minka was 1 week. Is that real?
Minka missed one game.
What?
He wanted to play in that one game. Tomlin said he can't fucking play in this
And that's
game.
a safety, obviously, so not as much contact, I guess. Sure. Big collisions.
Yeah.
Not every single Dahn, though, is going to be
Burrow came back to
strained.
practice after 2 weeks, I believe.
Burrow in training camp probably
Yes.
would have came back earlier if it was regular season. It was like 2.5 weeks, I think, if I recall, like 17 days.
A lot of appendectomies
something like
this,
that.
this
Yeah, what's the
season.
deal? What's up with everybody's appendixes?
Check out the latest Twitter files. That'll fucking clear it up for you.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
well, I
will.
will say Twitter Files is certainly, it's only just beginning, it
Yeah.
seems like. Really starting to
jab.
cover everything. And obviously, don't read it if you don't want to learn anything. I get attacked for being political whenever I say Twitter Files is wild.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I don't go into the politics that I didn't even know that Twitter Files, basically just everything that Twitter's been doing behind the scenes, getting leaked publicly, is that's a political thing?
Huh.
I had no idea that was a political
Yeah.
thing. That's a political thing?
Yeah.
Really?
When
Thought it was just-
when a political party gets exposed.
Oh.
So the truth.
But I didn't know. See, I was assuming that it wasn't just one party, especially when Twitter Files started.
No, I don't think it is. I don't think it is one party. I think it's all parties. But
That's what I'm saying. That's
people-
what I think.
People don't like when their said political party gets exposed. That's
Well,
why
both of you
I'm
need to know.
independent.
One particular party certainly getting much more exposed than the other right
For
now.
sure.
That party also in power, though.
Mm-hmm.
So I would assume
Power.
that would change some things.
hands.
Both sides though look terrible. Look, just learning what Twitter was a part of with the government is worthy of everybody trying to understand for the world that we live in. Now, should not change the way you live. Certainly be the way you think, though. Like, hey, this is happening on one of the largest platforms of all time. It's probably happening in other places, too. Let's remember that whenever we maybe rush to judgment or something or anything else, or whenever we start to just hate another person for no reason at all. Let's all assume that we're probably all getting played a little bit at the same time. That's why I think Twitter Files is pretty important to read. As somebody who is not political, do not know enough about that world, not smart enough to know enough about that world. I think we all understand that. I'm in the sports world. Twitter Files is fucking alarming. Should invest 10 minutes or however
At
long it
least.
is to read in the Twitter Files. Did the Twitter file? I didn't read this most recent one, all of it. Did it
It's
say
both-
appendixes are getting attacked?
Appendicitis?
I assume somewhere down in there, but you're right. This one is actually both sides. So
Bingo. That's what they all kind of.
Yeah.
If you
Most of them.
just assume that that's happening for those in power, you could assume that probably.
I think the Green Party even gets involved a little bit.
The Green
Nader?
Party, I remember, yeah.
Yeah,
That was
Ralph.
like-
Ralph Nader.
yeah, he
Ralph.
was really rolling with
That's
it.
right.
Wow.
He was like, we're smoking weed all the way. And I'm like, all right, I think this is my guy.
guy's
Like,
sweet.
is this my
Nader.
guy? I don't know. And then you start looking at some other stuff. You're like, oh, that would never work. Okay. Yeah, that should not be running a country. Okay, got it. I like the ideas, though. I like the ideas. I love the ideas. I love where we're headed here.
So with the appendix, though, it's not 3 to 4 weeks. So is Bakhtiari just a big fat baby, or is he just not playing because?
Whoa.
they're-
Whoa.
What's your problem, dude?
Whoa.
I'm just curious. 'cause
Joining
he's-
us now is a man who probably has more information. He's the insider for the insiders. He's the insider for the NFL itself, the network it owns, the website it owns,
Right.
and the streaming service, NFL Plus.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the host of the Insiders And the weekly wrap up of the Rap Sheet and Friends, us being the friends, he being Rap Sheet, Ian Rappaport. Oh, shit.
Oh,
News is
whoa,
breaking.
whoa, whoa.
News is breaking. What is it?
He is a baby.
Well, we've actually had a couple things break in the last 2 minutes. One, Mike White was cleared, so he will start.
Which doctor?
this week
Is that
with
like
Jets.
Doctor 15 or 16? Which doctor was it?
The important doctor,
Phil.
the Jets doctor, and his own doctor.
Okay, congratulations,
Wow.
Mike White. So he's starting. He's back in. Yes, guaranteed.
Yes.
Zach?
Good news for him. He is starting. Yes.
Congratulations to Mike White.
Go, Mike.
This wonderful story of Mike White being the guy for the New York Jets is back on. The locker room loves him. The fans love him. The team plays better when he's in there. It was either he or Strafolsky who were going to lead the Jets
Hell yeah.
to a happy offseason. It'll be White. I assume Strevler will be the backup, actually, because with those ribs, probably have a package for What's up?
Yeah, I would say, I don't know who's going to be the backup, but I would expect a sort of Taysom Hill type role for Strevler,
Yes.
which is really what they wanted to do last time, except they're actually moving the ball, so they kind of just left him in there. And, the offensive line needs to play better. A lot of things need to be better, but they got a chance.
Okay, so Mike White, starter, Strevler, backup, Joe Flacco, third, Zach Wilson, healthy scratch.
I don't know. Solid's going to talk today. I assume we'll clear that up. I don't know for sure whether Wilson will be backup or kind of back to inactive again.
Hey, that's hey.
Eesh.
They were booing. Hey, that pop for Strafolsky when he came on. Now in at quarterback,
I know.
former Grey Cup champion, man who chugged beers shirtless in Canada during a parade.
What?
Did he?
Strevler.
Yeah.
Fireman Ed fucking popped his cap off. Yeah, and Wilson's just standing there, just eating that whole thing. Then he has to ask questions. Yeah, they're passionate. They expect greatness. It's like he has not delivered that. The future there is certainly interesting. What was the other breaking news that came in the last 2 minutes, Mr. Rappaport?
So we've had a bunch of ego stuff today too. Avante Maddox, who is their starting DB, who's played really well, played in this, basically plays the nickel role, plays in the slot. He is out indefinitely with a significant toe injury.
Dude, Vikings.
So not going to see him in the regular season, and then we'll see. And then I would also say that C.J. Gardner-Johnson is eligible to come back this week. Whether he does or doesn't, is going to be back for the playoffs. So they lose someone in the slot, but then they get another really good defender there too. So a lot going on with the Eagles.
All right, let's talk about Jalen Hurts. Obviously, Godspeed to all the guys that are hurt. Welcome back, CJ GJ. The NFL has missed him. He is one of the most immaculate shit talkers in all of sports and an absolute dog on the field. Happy he's back. Jalen Hurts missed this past week because of a sprained shoulder. Obviously, Gardner Minshew played well. That team is very good.
Yeah.
They come up short and don't cover against the Dallas Cowboys because of a fumble on their own 20 to make it 6, almost as if it was being written like a script for the Dallas. Nonetheless, I'm not saying that. It was just came out of nowhere. Jalen Hurts probably going to miss this upcoming week. And are they going for that number 1 seed, or are they going to try to get him healthy for the playoffs, you think?
Don't know about his status this week. I think there's a chance that he plays. They got to evaluate him probably a little later. My guess is before Wednesday's practice. But he's going to want to play. And that he's not one of those guys who's like, I'll kind of rest up. And he wants to play. He's going to push to play. They are going for the number 1 seed. I mean, that makes life easier. You get a bye.
Agreed.
You basically advance a week, obviously. So it's not just the bye. It's also you get to play.
Home.
He's going to want to play. We'll see. Gardner Minshew definitely played well enough to where I would say if he's not 100%, he should not play. But this is not a significant injury. It's more of a day-to-day injury than a week-to-week injury. So at least he has a chance, but Lane Johnson not going to be there. I kind of wonder if that does affect things because Lane is really good. And if you don't have all your offensive linemen, you put yourself more at risk. That's probably as significant as anything.
Lane has sports hernia, right?
I think that's what it's going to end up being. It's like an abdominal injury where the adductor kind of tears, basically. It's like a muscle,
Please.
Yeah, it's when
it's kind of
turn your
not
head,
that
grab
hernia.
your balls. No,
It's the other hernia. It's the one where you go see Dr. William Myers in
up here.
Philadelphia, and then everyone says 4 to 6 weeks, but really it's 8 to 10 weeks. And Bosa's missed 3 months. That one.
Okay, so that's not good for Lane, but we fucking love Lane. Lane hasn't given up a sack in 3 seasons.
Yes.
He's playing he is playing so well. And my guess is he comes back for the playoffs because, like, he always plays. He always plays.
If Lane makes it back by the playoffs and Bach doesn't,
Yeah.
that'll be certainly congrats. Hey, Lane, you tough son bitch.
Wade.
Have a couple ice cold beers whenever you get back.
Wade.
Congrats, Lane. Hell of a season. We hope to see you back, pal.
Come on, Lane.
That is interesting because the number 1 seed in the NFC is certainly up for grabs now. Lane out, potentially Jalen out. Minnesota Vikings seem to be a team of destiny with the football gods, having them bang home a 61-yarder, down 33-zip, other miraculous comebacks. The Minnesota Vikings are rolling. Let's talk about who the Vikings are playing this weekend. The Packers and a man we just mentioned, David Bakhtiari, appendicitis, obviously a few weeks back. Do we know when he's coming back, or is that all just kind of a question mark depending upon how Bakhtiari feels?
Do you guys know I'm not actually a doctor, right? Like, I play one on TV, but I'm not actually a doctor. But here's my understanding of the difference between the appendicitis situations between Bakhtiari, Joe Burrow, and Minka Fitzpatrick, who've all had variations of appendicitis.
Minka, 1 week. Minka was back in like 1 week, 9 days, I think is what it was. Joe Burrow is 17 days.
Right. Minka's didn't burst. That was the difference. Burrow's did.
Because he's a dog. He's
So
so strong.
he was out for a while. He lost like 10 pounds or more. Like, remember at the beginning of the year when he kind of like
training camp
wasn't himself for a while. Lost a lot of weight. So that I don't know for sure that Bakhtiari's burst, but I know that it was really bad when they caught it. So his takes a little longer because it wasn't like Minka's where you just like take it out, he's ready to go the next week. It was more significant than that.
So this is apples to oranges as opposed to apples to apples.
Apples. Right.
Got it. Okay, so we need to stop doing this. But
More
specifically, that
all
guy.
I heard was that Minka's appendix is so fucking strong that it can't burst.
Yeah, I know you heard that, but what we're saying is like from the Minka was out 9 days, wanted to play the same day. Bakhtiari's been out 3 weeks, just got big push.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
can't do it.
Big push, can't do it because it's different situations. Can't have it. We hope Bach gets back because the Packers are about to go on a run. A couple of the boys have some questions for you. I think this one's about Mac Jones maybe being the biggest scumbag in the league.
Yeah, rap sheet. Is Mac Jones public enemy number 1? Because Bobby Spikes put out a highlight tape of Mac kind of, in his 2 years, basically.
Dove. We're talking about Dove. Bobby Spikes misinformation.
Oh, yeah. Spikes. Dove Kleiman, a.k.a. Bobby Spikes.
The internet, yeah.
Yeah, a.k.a. other names too, I'm sure. But is Mac public enemy number 1? Does everybody absolutely hate his guts? And after that Bengals play, he wasn't fined, you said, or he's not suspended? What would you say the fine might be?
Right, so he's not going to be suspended. I would expect him to get fined, though. It'd be the kind of unnecessary roughness fine. I don't know for sure what it is on the fine table, but, in the tens of thousands. It's going to be somewhat significant. Not a good play. And I think Mac has had a couple of them. Is he dirty? Like, I don't love that because what I find, and, I know Pat played a little bit as well, football's pretty nasty.
What do you mean?
And sometimes guys do some things on the field that are not very nice.
Weren't you on a crew team? Weren't you on a crew team? What you guys fucking cut holes in oars?
Yeah. Gotcha.
This is the video. This is the video from Dove, by the way. Here he is grabbing old Brian Burns' leg, put him in a figure 4 leg lock. Then here's him low bridging Cincinnati Bengal. Eli Apple on the whole thing.
What's this one?
Here's him sliding with a little bit of a karate kick to the knee of Cousin. And later in that game, same exact guy, Mac Jones get loose to the right yet again. Center. Oh, Mac Jones is an athlete. We saw him gritty at the Pro Bowl. Everybody loved him a year ago. Now he's sliding, kicking dicks.
Come on.
Spikes
Take him off his board, dog.
So he's going figure 4 leg locks. He's doing low bridge on Eli Apple behind a play. Obviously a blatant cut there. Maybe he's just pissed off, which I guess could be the case. Slide, karate kick to the knee with cleats on one side, and then a kick right to the dick. Clearly. Is Mac Jones dirty player? Is that what everybody's saying? And how does the NFL handle that type of thing? That hasn't happened at the quarterback position ever, I don't think.
No.
I'll forget when he tried to put his helmet
So I do think there's a little bit of public enemy here for him because he's, look, for years nobody liked Brady. Like, I know now everyone kind of loves him, but everyone hated him for.
It's because he stinks now.
Nathaniel Hackett has been
now
fired.
Everybody's worried about his Oh, shit.
What?
Hold on. We have breaking news. Bill, right there from Bill, right here. we have breaking news. Ian Rappaport and his NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero are reporting that
Nathaniel Hackett has been fired.
damn! Just one day after Russell Wilson posts a 3.7 QBR, his lowest QBR in 187 games played in the NFL. Nathaniel Hackett, in his first year as a head coach for the richest owner in the NFL, the owner of the Denver Broncos, has been canned one day after Christmas. Didn't even make it to the new year. This guy, who is beloved by the players in Green Bay and everybody he's ever worked with in the past, actually grew up as a legacy West Coast offense fucking brain, with his dad instituting a lot of the West Coast offense strategies and techniques. Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson went together like oil and water, peanut butter and ketchup. Those two were terrible. He's out. Russ stays. The Broncos are in a state in which they could have never fathomed this past offseason. They sign a quarterback, trade for a quarterback. It has been said that if they got a good quarterback, that roster, with that defense, with all the weapons around the quarterback, they'd win the fucking Super Bowl. They bring in an offensive guru. They bring in a QB. They're worse than they've ever been before. The defense is phenomenal, and now they're without a head coach. The Denver Broncos 2022 story is that of a clusterfuck organization that's in the middle of a massive turnover, and big money's going to be spent on the other side to rebuild it back up. But does it matter if the quarterback stinks at football all of a sudden, which appears to be the case? Ian, did I miss anything in that entire breakdown there?
No, I think you nailed it. And look, this was inevitable, right? I mean, Nathaniel Hackett was going to be fired. It was the case of, end of the regular season, or now you put the product on the field they did yesterday on national TV, a standalone audience. It was so bad. Guys were fighting on the sidelines. I mean, it was a mess. I had someone tell me it was one of the most disorganized and volatile sidelines that they've seen. It's all a mess. And is there a point to firing him now? No. But there's no point in keeping him.
I think it is. I think there is a point. I think there is a point. This is new ownership who did not hire Hackett. New ownership came in after Hackett had already been hired as the head coach. Also after Russell Wilson had been traded for, but I believe they paid him. They decided to pay him before he even took a snap. So they certainly latched their wagon to Russell Wilson in this particular marriage. Russell's making terrible reads. Russell's throwing bad balls. Russell's played the worst football he's ever played. Is that because Nathaniel Hackett's bad? Is that what everybody's thinking? Or do you think Nathaniel Hackett, as soon as he heard he was fired, was like, thank God?
No, he knew. I mean, everybody knew, right? I'm sure for Nathaniel Hackett, there's a little bit of relief now. You've seen him in those press conferences, right?
I'd say.
He walks up there and it's taking a beating from the press. It's my fault. It starts with me. And at some point, you're like, yeah, it does start with you.
Yeah, Frank Reich was saying those same things. He was like, we got out-coached, we got outplayed, we got out every single loss, and everybody else watching was like, yeah, we agree. Why aren't we? We love you as a person. How come that's the case? Let's change it. Nathaniel Hackett going back to Green Bay. Nathaniel Hackett now adds to the purse.
I mean, that would probably help. Honestly,
I think so too. And could he be back in the Packers building by Wednesday if he wanted to be here?
He could. If I were him, though, I'd take a day off or two. He's been through it this year. There's no way this is fun. His dream
game
job.
on Sunday.
Does he still get paid?
Yes. If he
he gets. They now made it official. Hold on, Broncos statement official. You guys can read that, right?
Yeah, let's turn it up. Let's bring it up here. Broncos have made an official statement on the firing of Nathaniel Hackett.
Damn.
Yeah, he still gets paid. That's a coach's contract.
Rule.
He gets added into the $800
He
million.
gets at least 3 years, is my understanding.
So if he's a consultant somewhere else, that money just cuts into it, and then the Denver Broncos have to make up the difference, right?
Yes.
Statement from owner and CEO Greg Penner, who I've never heard, and that's not the last name we thought. bought the team. On behalf of our ownership and organization, I want to thank Nathaniel Hackett for his dedication as head coach of the Denver Broncos. We sincerely appreciate Nathaniel's efforts and wish him and his family all the best in the future. Following extensive conversations with George and our ownership group, we determined a new direction would ultimately be in the best interest of the Broncos. This change was made now out of respect for everyone involved and allows us to immediately begin the search for a new head coach. We recognize and appreciate this organization's championship history, and we understand we have not met that standard. Our fans deserve much better, and I can't say enough about their loyalty during such a challenging stretch for our team. Moving forward, we will carefully evaluate every aspect of our football operations and make whatever changes are necessary to restore this franchise's winning tradition. I will lead our head coaching search with support from our ownership group and George, whom I have confidence in as our general manager.
And that's significant.
Yeah, because that last sentence there, the change was made to involve, we understand, whatever. Moving forward, we will carefully evaluate every aspect of our football operations and make whatever changes are necessary. I immediately thought of all the people in the building. They were like, oh, no, we're fucking next.
Right.
Instead, George Payton, I believe, or Patton,
Payton, yep.
George Payton we remain focused on playing competitive football to finish the season on a positive note. We're not tanking, but we are certainly letting everybody know we're looking to go a different direction. So if George Payton's sticking around, does that mean Sean Payton's not going to come? Or Sean Payton's already allegedly piecing together a coaching staff? Would he be able to become the Denver Broncos head coach? And the Denver Broncos, since go ahead.
I don't think so. So, first of all, Sean Payton's talking about bringing Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio's not going back to Denver as defense coordinator after being there. And I got to run after this to do some TV. But,
you got it.
Vic Fangio's not come back there as defensive coordinator, right? Okay. So, because he was head coach there. So, I don't think that means, unless Payton's going to go with a different DC, which is possible, I don't think that Payton's going there.
Could Sean Payton go there?
He could, but I think he's going to want to bring his own personnel guy, or at least have significant personnel say.
Would they have to trade for him with the Saints? They'd have to trade his rights?
They would have to trade for him. Remember, because of the Russell Wilson trade, thank you very much, Russell, they don't have hardly any draft picks.
All right. Good luck on TV. Jesus. We appreciate you, Ian. Thank you, buddy. For being on NFL Network. That's a big deal.
Huge. Yeah. And Rex Ryan. About Rexy up in Denver whipping Russ Wilson into shape.
You think Rex and Russ Wilson?
I don't think so.
I don't know if anybody is going to work with Russ Wilson.
So, hey, we don't like to be the ones that pile on.
No.
Yes.
Okay? And you'll hear us talk about Tom Brady later in the show. Because it needs to be talked about.
It's ugly.
Tom Brady sucks right now at football.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very unfamiliar, Tom Brady. Tom Brady does not look like Tom Brady on a football field right now at all. Ball seems to be able to get anywhere it needs to get to. It is just getting to the wrong spots.
Yeah.
On a regular basis.
Yeah.
The reason why OG and older quarterbacks do so well is because they know exactly what the other team's doing at all times. Old 20 had the greatest Christmas of his fucking life.
Yeah.
Picked off Tom Brady twice, could have been 3 times. Tom, unless this dude is just a better disguiser than anybody in the history of the NFL, Tom's making blatant errors in where the ball should go, when the ball should go, and how the ball should go. So we will be on the record as stating that Tom Brady does not look like Tom Brady. Do we think Tom Brady could get out of it? Maybe. He's been through a lot off the field. He's old. He gave up his life for this season.
That's right.
For this season to go how it goes. I'm sure there's a lot of regret. Everybody's assuming he's going to be done after this year. But how could you be done if you end up having to get a divorce and lose your family and this is the football that you play? I think you're going to want to at least go out on a positive note. But could he? I don't know if he can with how he's been playing. He looked trash and ass yesterday against Carter. J.J. Watt looked unbelievable.
Yeah, he did.
On fire.
J.J. Watt was sipping from the fountain of youth. He was hitting old swing move, cut down, 0-yard gain. Leonard Fournette, who has a Liz Frank injury in his foot. J.J. played unbelievable. On the flip side, Tom played terrible. And Tom has played terrible. And we don't know if it's Tom. He's throwing the ball more than anybody else in the NFL, so I'd assume he would like to have some sort of run game.
Right.
Is it Byron Leftwich? Is it the absence of Bruce being able to be the bad guy, which is being talked about on TV a lot, where Bruce will be able to tell people like, hey, you can't do that, coaches. You can't do that, players. You can't do that. Now Tom kind of has to do it all. Why isn't Todd Bowles doing it? That's a massive conversation. Tom looks unfamiliar right now as a quarterback. With that being said, Russell He's fucking terrible at football
So
right now.
bad.
Yeah.
He's bad. And obviously off the field, there's a lot to be said about Russell Wilson. Some decision-making things are certainly questionable. The danger witch coming on the heels of the let's ride and everything else that has taken place certainly gave us a lot of ingredients for this guy sucks fodder. Now,
right.
I don't know Russell Wilson personally. I met him one time. It was a good handshake, good dap up. But yesterday, Russ was like Santa. He was giving interceptions to everybody. And they weren't just like, normal interceptions. They were like punts being thrown on primetime television for his worst QBR that he's ever had in his entire career. So this season, Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson, they were talking about growing pains. We're trying to learn each other's offense while everybody else on the team is also trying to learn each other's offense. This isn't the normal where the offense is there. Tom Brady goes in and learns the BA offense, and then they kind of meld it together while the rest of the team knows the BA offense so they can kind of meld it together. This isn't Stafford going to McVay where McVay's offense was in there. Stafford had to learn, then they could kind of meld together. But not only did McVay know the offense, the rest of the offense knew the offense as well. So it was just one team one person trying to adjust. Tom Brady, one person trying to adjust. Peyton Manning going over to Denver, one person trying to adjust. Russell Wilson going to Denver, it was Hackett trying to adjust, Russell Wilson trying to adjust, and the rest of the team not knowing what the fuck to adjust to all at the same time. Growing pains, growing pains, growing pains. We'll get there, we'll get there, we'll get there. Then on Christmas, worst game of all time for maybe any football team. Remember, the Broncos played the Colts a few weeks back, 12-9 on Thursday Night Football.
Gross.
People are calling that maybe the worst football game of all time.
Yep.
Russell Wilson said, just wait. There's more. It has gotten real bad. How do you make that place good again? I have no idea. How do you get everybody on that team that you're committed to that's good on the defensive side to buy into the Russell Wilson experience after what this first year has been, and you've given him more money than you've given everybody else? I don't know how you fix that problem over there. I guess if Russell just kind of snaps out of it, snaps back into it, and snaps into an offense that he knows and maybe they can put in, maybe they hire Schottenheimer to be the offense coordinator, who was the offense coordinator when he was cooking at his highest, and they fired Shoddy, and Russ Team 3 got pissed off or whatever. Maybe they do that. I don't know how you fix it in Denver. They got all the money in the world, and I'm not sure that's going to help.
Well, you look at it, too, like we've talked about. I mean, sometimes, like for whatever reason, things just won't go right, but he is literally falling off a cliff. Like, you look at his stats, they are so bad. And then it's the eye test, too. It's not just like, oh, he's still trying to kind of, get you. Like, he looks like a completely different player than he has in the past. And it almost seems like with Hackett, they put all of their chips into the, hey, we're going to hire Nathaniel Hackett, and he's going to get Rodgers. And those guys already have a great relationship. They have chemistry. They know what each other like to do. And then when that didn't happen and Rodgers re-signs with the Packers, it's like, oh, we kind of fucked ourselves. Oh, well, Russ is available. Let's go get him. Like, it really does seem like they put all their chips into getting Rodgers, and then when that didn't work out, they're like, okay, well, now we got to make this thing work with Russ.
That's an incredible point. So, because you remember the opening press conference, Hackett saying a lot to sell Russ.
Yeah.
Hackett was trying to tell himself.
I think so.
Hackett was trying to sell himself on that whole thing. And he did an interview at halftime of the game, and he said, yeah, we can't have the turnovers or whatever. Got to be able to keep the ball. Everybody else is doing that. Follow up, Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson just had one of his worst picks. Yeah, we need Russ to hang on to the ball. Obviously, that's a whole thing. And Hackett has been very professional, I think, through this.
Yeah.
I think he has taken it on the shins a lot. He has seemingly just been the big dumb dipshit up there.
Right. Yeah.
Hackett knows football. And the reason why we'll never hear any of the story or Hackett's side of it is because he comes from the football family and it'll never get exposed. I'd love to hear his real thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to hear his real thoughts on his first real opportunities being an NFL head coach and it going abysmally. Couldn't have gone any worse than how it went.
Yeah, or just the other players on the team. Like, I think it was either last week or 2 weeks ago where Purcell's jogging off the field and Russ is saying something and he gets in his face basically like, hey, figure it the fuck out. Like, I feel like there's a bunch of players in that locker room, and we'll probably see it this offseason, who either leave or kind of say something that can tell us somewhat of the player's real opinion about Russell Wilson because, like you said, they pay this guy more money than anybody on that entire team, probably most than most of those guys combined before he plays a snap, and then he comes in and he's the reason why this team isn't good. Like, it's the same stat with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers a couple years ago. How many games have they lost by one possession? Because there was hey, if they scored 17 points a game, they would be 9-1 or whatever. But how many of those were just one possession games where they just completely blew it.
Go ahead,
I
Tom.
think yesterday you finally saw the defense. Like
Yeah.
we talked about all year. Like
Yeah,
you
they
can't
tapped.
just you can't
Fuck
can't.
it.
But like
They tapped.
when Seattle gets exponentially better on offense this year, and then the Broncos get exponentially worse on offense, which we didn't think was possible. Does anyone remember who the quarterback was last year for the Broncos?
Hold on, let's play the game. It was at Drew Lock.
Yeah.
Rapping on
couple
the
games.
sideline.
And ripping a little bit.
Couple games, sure.
Teddy
Rippon
B.
came in and won a game from this year.
Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater started 14 games
Yeah.
last year.
Teddy Breeze.
Teddy B.
the
That's
Broncos?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Carolina traded him out. Because remember
That's
Baker.
right.
Oh, yeah.
So and they get way worse this year with Russ as quarterback.
Well, and then Baker
Darnold was,
ends up.
yeah.
He's going to start for a team next year.
Bro, he's the one. He's the one that put the final
Yeah,
Yeah,
put
he
the
put
nail
the-
in the coffin.
51 to fucking 14 yesterday.
What a joke.
Baker's.
He looked great.
Really good. He's going to be,
Well, hey, let's not.
he's moving to Indy. I saw he was already looking at houses.
Either him or Derek Carr.
Come on, Bake.
It
Stay there.
with him though, like Bake, it actually does seem like he may have cut because you can say whatever you want about Cleveland and like the way his teammates thought of him and his relationship with them. It seems like to his credit, he has kind of grown up a little bit and he kind of gets it because it does seem like those guys actually love playing with him.
Well, it's been really clear skies
True.
since he's gotten in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Real
there
big-
hasn't
real
really
good
been-
honeymoon.
It is.
phase
It
there.
is
Electric
real-
wins.
It's a great way to build a
But even in
relationship.
Carolina, when he wasn't starting, and there's the
agree.
video of him headbutting the dudes coming off the side, like it seems like he actually has kind of taken to heart, like, oh, maybe I was a little bit of a shitheel and I have some growing up to do.
Baker went 24, 28, 230, and 2 tuds.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Cam Akers, 23 rushes, 118 yards, 3 tuds. Tyler Himby,
Oh, no.
9 receptions, 94 yards, 2 tuds. I mean, the Rams, and Sean McVay was having the time of his life, it appears. The Rams are taking advantage of what Baker does best.
Yes.
And that's what everybody on the internet's saying. It's crazy what Baker has the capability of doing whenever he has an offense coordinator and a head coach that likes him.
Yeah.
Because remember the whole conversation about Stefanski. And Stefanski has Stefanski's offense that I think Deshaun is.
He's having a good time.
So I believe Jacoby averaged 2.7 touchdowns per game, and he's scored 3 touchdowns over 4 games, or 4 touchdowns over 3 games.
3 games.
But
Or 4 games.
I mean, Deshaun, he didn't play football for 2.5 years, and he
Right.
dealt with 45 court cases.
Yeah,
And everybody
exactly.
just assumed he was going to be good at football all of a sudden. I don't know mentally how much that weighs on you, like, oh, I might be going to jail. But also just not playing football for a long time, opting to stand on the sidelines. I don't know. I guess everybody just assumed he was going to be able to drop back in football-wise and play exactly how he played 70 stories ago.
Yeah, right.
2019?
Maybe.
7, math checks out.
I mean, just let alone all the I want to trade.
Right.
That was probably like a good 30
Easter
stories.
bees sermons.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about strictly
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson. Juries, the accusations, the New York Times,
Yep.
the I want traded, the I'm not playing,
The radio interviews.
I'm here, stop asking me questions.
Doesn't have his lucky towel anymore.
Was going to a couple different teams.
yeah.
He's supposed to go to Eagles, Jets, Dolphins.
Falcons, Saints.
Saints. Yeah.
70 some stories.
They didn't let him keep the top.
Hadn't played. We don't know about that.
Not sure.
Is that fact? Or we
I believe it was one of the stipulations had to give up his towel.
Tally got destroyed.
Tally is a account on Twitter. This towel we're talking about is his personal towel that he carried
Oh.
around place to place.
Tyler was also addicted
Who's
to math
Tyler?
on South Park.
I watched the South Park episode
That's-
late night, Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Nice.
Christmas episode?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. South Park. Yeah.
They ripped
Was it the Christmas episode?
No.
No.
It was leading up to Christmas episode.
Oh,
I
nice.
think they were running like a marathon, and it was just one of the episodes I had missed in the last 10 years. They're still
Sure. Oh yeah.
Still
They
doing it.
still have the rocket launcher.
Yeah,
And
they-
bring it out whenever they need to. Weekly.
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
I just happened upon one. There was nothing else on. I'm like, oh, South Park's on. Let me go ahead and check out what they got going. It was an episode from maybe like 2019 or I think like 2018 maybe. I don't know.
Still got the gas.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Flamethrower.
But anyways, yeah, like 70 stories ago, Deshaun Watson was very good at football on the field. Then he hadn't played football and a lot had happened. Everybody just, I guess, assumed he was going to be great again on the football field. He has not been for
No.
the Browns. They're probably viewing this year as a preseason whatever for
Yeah.
them. But Baker's not there anymore. Would Baker be better than what they are this year? Who knows? Is Stefanski a guy? Here's a whole.
That's a good question.
Here's a whole question. They had Baker wins a playoff game in Cleveland with Stefanski. Then Stefanski and that entire team run Baker Mayfield out of town, basically, right? Don't like him. He doesn't get along with anybody. I'm sure there's reasons. OBS, Odell Beckham Sr., we have respect for OBJ and the entire thing, and ended up working out for him. They put the video out, but he ends up not like. Freddie Kitchens, I think, was his head coach before that.
Yeah, Stefanski went with Kitchens players.
Then not only Freddie, Hugh Jackson was before that.
Yeah.
So, like, whenever you're talking about everybody that has kind of been his offense coordinator, Sean McVay seemingly has put him in the best positions to succeed for what Baker Mayfield is good at. Baker Mayfield also, no wristband, running.
Very complex.
And McVay is covering his mouth, talking to him on the sideline, talking about a lot, and seemingly Baker just gets it. We never talked about him having a photographic memory.
Nope.
We never talked about, like, football IQ-wise being good. And I don't think many people chatted about him being in a situation that was not necessarily perfect for him, because that's not the NFL. Like, in college, a team is going to be built around their best player. A team is going to do their thing to make their quarterback be as good as possible. And in college, the offenses are normally quarterback's a freak athlete base. Let's just get a couple concepts here. The NFL is a different game. You have to have a high football IQ. There's systems, there's schemes, there's look-offs, there's this. You can't necessarily run that college stuff, especially if you're not faster than anybody. That's what everybody said about Baker. Like, yeah, Lamar's able to do this stuff because Lamar is faster than people. Patrick Mahomes is able to do a lot of this stuff because Patrick Mahomes is better quarterback, better arm, and faster than Baker Mayfield. They start talking about Tyler's able to do, he's faster than Baker. Baker's not fast enough to do the college offense. And McVay's like, yeah, we can certainly do portions of it, though. We can do things that make him more comfortable, make him more easy, more athlete takeover, less thinky,
Right.
pretty much. And they've been able to accomplish that. Congrats to Baker really turning a lot of narratives in a very quick time, and inevitably being the one that got Nathaniel Hackett fired from the Denver Broncos. There's a lot to talk about today on this Overreaction Monday.
Oh, yeah.
December 26th. We will be back on the other side with AJ Hawk. We have to break down so many things. The Niners with Purdy. They're fucking Purdy good.
Yeah. They ball.
Chiefs, still the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes with that levitating touchdown.
Dog.
The reach.
Yeah.
Imagine having him as your quarterback.
That'd be nice.
How much fun would that
Ooh,
be?
yeah.
We'll talk about that and more on the other side of this break for hour 2 on the other side with AJ Hawk. Take 5! Ladies and gentlemen, a man with the dog mentality, Paisano, Coach Sirianni. You're fucking awesome, dude. Did you ever feel any pressure that you were going to have to change and adapt to being a head coach and speaking in the same bullshit ways that every other head coach talks in?
Some of the best advice I got was be yourself, because if you're not yourself, everyone's going to see through it.
The messaging is the same. You're just doing it in your own way. And I think that's the most important part. And being authentic, you're 100% right. As you were saying, if I wasn't me, everybody who will tell the fucking locker room immediately going to be like, well, this guy, he's a stooge. There's another coach that wants to talk to you. Coach Sirianni, your question for Coach Sirianni.
I feel like I know you just as good as I know myself.
What is it about Jalen, you think, from your point of view, last year to this year, that is like cementing him as a guy that people are talking about? This motherfucker might win the MVP.
Well, I know which one thing you want me to say. He's a dog.
Yeah! Yeah!
He's a dog.
Yeah! Fucking dog!
Do you maybe want to play best 2 out of 3, rock, paper, scissors, coach first coach?
You're there forever, huh? Like, that's that you have to have that mindset as the head coach. Like, do you feel like you're the perfect head coach for the Philadelphia Eagles? Because it feels like the team is the perfect representative of the city of Philadelphia. And I might be wrong. I'm from Pittsburgh, so the Johns are going to judge me for that.
I love the passion of the city and how much they care about football, because I care about football. I love football. I don't have a lot of hobbies. My biggest hobby is football.
Rock, paper, scissors,
shoot.
Oh,
What you got?
Scissors.
Yeah, the same person.
Okay.
We both threw scissors.
Dog mentality really is to be in the moment that you're in now and not worry about what happened in the past, not worry about what's going to happen in the future. It's all about our process and about being here today to make sure we're about to go 1-0 this week. That's it.
Rock, paper,
paper,
scissors,
shoot. I definitely got Jason Kelsey the kegs of beer. I was just trying to sweeten the deal of him coming back. As long as I'm the football coach here, I want him here, so I'm ready to give as many kegs of beer to him next year and the year after that and the year after that, because that guy is a dog.
Rock,
paper,
scissors,
shoot.
Same man.
We are getting our ass kicked in this preseason game. Belichick is taking it to us. It's halftime, and we are getting booed like you've never been. I was like,
Paper,
rock, paper,
scissors,
shoot.
Oh, I think you might have rock there, but hey.
You got no idea what I'm going to do because you're like, there's no way he's throwing scissors again. Come on, baby. I got a damn flower thrown at me. Right? A flower chucked down. We lost to the Chargers. Boom, flower chucked down.
Hey, how's your little manure settling in? That's literally what that John said as they were throwing that John at you. They were like, how's the manure and how's the flowers coming, coach?
Hey, this is game 7 here. Rock, paper,
scissors, shoot.
Scissors again. He threw scissors again, so did I. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, you guys are the same. Come on, hey, this is for 15 or 10.
Paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh! Dog mentality.
I got dog mentality, coach. What can I tell you?
Hi, how's it going? My name's Pat McAfee. Used to hold balls for Adam Vinatieri. Now I'm in his home state. College game day is absolutely electric. And Brookings South Dakota. Let's go!
College game day has made the voyage to Brookings, South Dakota to experience a game with the best fans in college football. I unfortunately cannot attend because I have a game this Sunday, so I sent a man I trust to make my picks. A man who was my holder for almost a decade. Please be nice to him. Welcome this week's celebrity guest picker, Pat McAfee.
Go big, go blue, go Jacks.
Hosting Auburn. Yes, everybody saw this. The best fake punt in the world. What do you think, Pat?
I absolutely loved it all the way up until execution time. That is not one we like to show in the brand headquarters and punting and kicking world.
Oh, dance off. Oh, let's get weird. Yes. Duck that, huh?
Bang! Right off the top of the dome. That makes it a lot easier when you got a dummy standing right in front of you like that.
Running. He's Daniel Russo.
Wax on, wax off, knee to the face.
Yes. Serious.
Go. Yes.
These teams stink. With that 15, they celebrate by doing shotguns. And I'm a big fan of that. I'm going with the University of Virginia Cavaliers. That was great. Whoa! I will never, ever in the history of my life cut against that ball. Oklahoma State is the way here. Not so fast again.
But I'm going with Trey.
Please excuse my dumb friend Kirk. Look at this crowd. They've been out here since 4 a.m. College game day comes to town. They lose their mind. The population of this state is about 800,000. And when the Jackrabbits take the field, they're alongside all 800,000 South Dakotans. The Dakota marker was in Fargo for far too long. Today, 5 o'clock local time, the Dakota marker is back in beautiful Brookings, South Dakota. Adam Vinatieri School. They might be the Jackrabbits, but they're the GOATs today. Ladies and gentlemen, South Dakota State with the win.
Give me that place in.
No, don't do that. No. Leave. Coach.
He has the
Pat says it'll be no.
I told you I came on your radio show that we were going to get you on College Game Day.
Not only are you incredibly intelligent and handsome, you're a man of your word. You picked North Dakota today, so I had to bury you. That's okay. But it's been nothing but incredible. The College Game Day crew is hospitable. In South Dakota State, I think we can all agree, they showed up here. Yeah. But I loved it. I've watched the show, obviously, forever. And it's on in every single NFL locker room. I told you that. So this is a big-time deal for me, my family, my friends. All right. Now back in the day here. Appreciate you, boys.
It's from the training room at the Colts. AJ Watt tweeted.
It's very hard to process a human being on television.
Get texts from every human that I've ever done television with, like since way back in the day. They're like, we knew this day would come. Equipment managers, old teammates. I mean, you don't get to trend on Twitter often anymore. They make it damn near impossible. Go up onto a stage with a couple legends, talk some shit in front of the incredible South Dakota fans. What an awesome opportunity.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, you never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston College.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the FanDuel Thunderdome, on Overreaction Monday, December 26, 2022. Hour 2 starts now. Football is wrapping up its 16th weekend this evening as the Indianapolis Colts host the Los Angeles Chargers on Monday Night Football.
Hell yeah.
On the AFC side, everybody that's on the bubble, that would be the teams that are the Patriots, the Jets, the Titans, the Steelers, the Dolphins even. Everybody is hoping that the Colts beat the Chargers this evening. The Chargers started out as 4-point favorites. They've moved to 3.5-point favorites. We feel like there's a chance right before the game begins that moves to 5-point favorites with some sharp money maybe being dumped in late trying to see where the number goes. But that'll be on Monday Night Football. Joining us this hour live in person will be the play-by-play man for the Chargers, host of the Power Ranking Show. Matt Money Smith will be in here in about 20 minutes. He's hanging out back there. Great to see him. He's always so yoked. The man surfs every single morning. Can't wait to chat with him about his thoughts of this Chargers team because there's a lot of implications on tonight's Monday Night Football game, and the Colts could be the spoiler. The Colts have already fired their one head coach this season, in Frank Reich. They join a litany of other squads, including the Carolina Panthers, who fired Matt Rule, and as of today, the Denver Broncos, who fired Nathaniel Hackett in his first year as NFL head coach. There's that and a lot more to talk about. Let's dive in. The Toxic Table's here. At Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. You boys look amazing. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Pat.
At Tone Diggs, one half of the Hammer. Dahn Cowboys is here. Tone, you look amazing. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Tone. And joining us live from an attic in Ohio is a man who's a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup champion, a NBA pundit, a video game shit stirrer, and COVID survivor. Saw his kid in an elf costume on a four-wheeler this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk.
Yeah!
AJ, what's up, buddy?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Hey, fantastic. Was your Christmas great? It looked fantastic from the internet. The weather seemed to be a bit cold and chilly, but I think a lot of people had their holiday how they thought they were going to have it, which is good times, good laughters, and good family. Is that what the Hawks experience over there in Ohio?
Yeah, it was awesome. Some cold weather and people freaking out aren't going to ruin our Christmas over at the Hawk household. So, yeah, we just went about our business and had a great day. Great couple of days. It's been fun.
Yeah, the Hawk house, more specifically, Mike Hawk said, hold these balls. I am going to have Christmas whether you like it or not, especially after the last 2 years. I love watching Axel show up on a four-wheeler in an elf costume. That was maybe one of my favorite videos I've ever seen. His wife's story. I do not follow his wife. His wife does not follow me. My wife follows his wife. His wife follows my wife. So I get all my updates on AJ as a human through my wife, Samantha, who kicked ass this Christmas. Shout out to you, Sam. She said, look at this. And she, IG story across living room. And it's a tiny little photo of a kid standing on a four-wheeler. And it's a video coming forward, getting closer and closer to the video until you can see, like, clear picture. Full elf costume, fucking Axel, riding on a four-wheeler, standing up. I laughed so hard, so hard. at that. That was maybe the most Axel Hawk thing I could ever see in my life. It was the four-wheelers for everybody, just for Axel. And did you go all in on Christmas? A four-wheeler for Christmas is an incredible Christmas gift, AJ.
Well, it's a little kid four-wheeler, so it's electric. You plug it in, it's battery, but it goes plenty fast for a 5-year-old, no question. No, he asked for this months ago because he went over to his little buddy's house one time and they rode it around the street. So he's getting that, and possibly
bikes.
my other. I got another guy coming up with another birthday. He may get one to match because those are obviously a big hit and everybody wants to get on them.
Easier to buy pairs, it sounds like. Little BOGO, half off. I respect the move. I respect the play. Merry Christmas to you. Just like everybody at home, hope you had an incredible holiday. All right?
Yeah.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
I believe Kwanzaa's happening right now. Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa. The Merry
Boxing Day.
Happy Boxing Day.
Happy Boxing Day, which we looked up, was literally started by rich people.
Yes.
Day after Christmas. Go give the less fortunate gifts they didn't want.
The poors. Yeah, give the poors your leftovers, your servants, everyone who pampers you and takes care of you, all you rich Canadians and Brits. Just give all your shit you don't want anymore to the poors.
That was how it was read to me. Now, I did not read the actual description. The man you just heard describe it was the one who was reading the description to me about it. So happy Boxing Day.
Boxing Day. And get back to work tomorrow, because that's what they said when they originated, too.
Let's move to some NFL news. Nathaniel Hackett. Amanda, do you know Hackett or no?
I do not know him, no.
Hackett, former quarterback coach, I believe, for the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers spoke very highly of. He might have been the ipso facto offensive coordinator, I'm not sure,
Right.
but LaFleur was calling plays as the head coach. Hackett was spoke about in high regards by everybody that we had obviously chatted about that has known him in the past. He gets a Denver Broncos position. Ty Schmidt brought up a good point last hour where I think Hackett and a lot of people believed that since Hackett went there in his relationship with Aaron, maybe Aaron Rodgers, who was thinking about not returning to the Packers, would go to the Broncos. Then Aaron Rodgers and Hackett would be able to do what they did in Green Bay in Denver with a roster, obviously on the defensive side of the ball that has been amazing this year, and weapons and a ton that everybody seems to like and love, would be able to have massive success. Aaron signs back with the Green Bay Packers on a 5-year, $150 million deal or $200 million deal with $150 million guaranteed with options, I think, after every single year for Aaron Rodgers. Broncos trade for Russell Wilson. We say, Seattle Seahawks are rebuilding.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll's 71 years old. They're fucking dead. They get a first in return. Russell Wilson, a franchise player. The drama that has happened year after year will now go to the Denver Broncos. So seemingly, the Broncos got everything they thought they needed to win a Super Bowl. Everything their fans believed that they needed to get back to the top of the mountain like they had been in the past with Peyton Manning and John Elway and the boys is an offensive guru and a fucking quarterback. They get both of those things. So much so that the new ownership, the richest owners in the NFL, as soon as the quarterback gets to town, before even throwing a ball with a Broncos jersey on, give them the biggest contract in the NFL, lock in for the next 5 years. Broncos ownership telling Broncos fans, you're welcome.
Here we go.
We got a quarterback. No more Brock Osweilers, Teddy B's, and Drew Locks. And Simeon, who actually got him a win.
Flacco.
Or Rip, Simeon. Flacco. There are no more of these days. Okay, no more of these. We got a quarterback, we're going to stick with it. We got a head coach who's an offense coordinator, going to stick with it. Our defense is always going to be good because the contracts that we have and the players that we have, they're going to be fantastic in a tough division. We're ready to go. And then it all just, boom, blows up. We got to hire a game coordinator for the fucking head coach who has no idea what he's doing. The quarterback who's supposed to be a superstar and be the reason why they go to the Super Bowl is the reason why they're not going to make the playoffs, has his worst season with his worst QBR just yesterday. It's only gotten worse as the season has gone on. This guy has seemingly eaten too many danger witches. He forgot how to play football. Yeah. What a shit show in Denver. And I wish I could be around Nathaniel Hackett one night when he's having a couple ice cold around the fire. And it seems like he's a guy who probably tells stories about what he thinks this has been. Because here we are, day after Christmas, first year as a head coach for the Denver Broncos, where he was supposed to be set up for the long haul. And he's fucking fired after the most embarrassing Christmas loss in the history of Christmas losses. What a time to be Nathaniel Hackett. The writing was on the wall. It happens today. It came abrupt and it came quick. What are your thoughts on the Broncos situation going forward? Russ put a 3.7 QBR on the board yesterday, worst of his 187-game career.
Well, I wonder what the Broncos do from here. Yeah, you fire Hackett. I don't know if they would have won. If it didn't look completely miserable on Christmas Day against Baker and the Rams, would he have kept his job for the last couple games, you think?
Dude, I don't know. The writing was on the wall that he was going to have to be fired because the contract of Russell Wilson. Just like what's going on in Arizona. Right? Just like what's going on with Arizona with Cliff and Kyler. Kyler signs that deal. That's basically the biggest indicator that Cliff Kingsbury, even though he just signed a deal, much smaller. Even though he just signed a deal, he's going to be gone, is what everybody's reporting, including Fowler on ESPN.com, writing that as like almost a matter of fact. Cliff Kingsbury's out of here. Now, he had to play with Trace McSorley in Prater hits from fucking 56 and 51, and Andy Lee is slinging the rock, and James Conner looks younger than ever, and J.J. Watt is playing like he's fucking 25 again. Allegedly, Cliff Kingsbury's fired at the end of the season, but I think they're just waiting to do it. Them doing it on this particular day is obviously ownership trying to say to the fans, like we saw yesterday, we're sorry. We're going to expedite what we're doing, and we'd like to move forward. But how do you fix that? You think Patrick Surtain is going to want to continue to fucking be teammates with Russell Wilson after all the shit that's happened? We're not behind closed doors, and money can make everything right. But how does Russell Wilson win back that team, let alone Hackett and this next head coach that they're going to have to be on the same page, and the next head coach is going to have to say, I'm here to make Russell Wilson good at football again. I love Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson is the best quarterback in football. You guys paying him that 20-year contract before even seeing him play for your team. Genius move. I would have done the same because of how good I think he is. Look what we'll take advantage of what Nathaniel Hackett didn't take advantage of. That's what he's going to say. But how is Russell Wilson going to fucking get along with that locker room again, AJ? That's my big question mark.
That's what I wondered with this whole team. What did we do with Russ? Like, is there any way they can move on from him? There's no way that someone will pick up his contract, but what makes you think Russ will be better next year with another year of age? All of this, like, why would it get better?
That's a good idea.
Yes.
I don't know.
This needs to not happen.
He would play well indoors. He really would.
Listen. You fucking have
white and blue. He looks good.
Really good.
You're credible, AJ. Okay, remain that way. Okay, you're a Super Bowl champion. When you speak, people take you serious. Don't start with this fugazi trend that is happening around the NFL right now. I seen Baker Mayfield as an Indianapolis Colt. I seen Derek Carr as an Indianapolis Colt.
He looked good in a Pete Franklin offense.
Who do you want to have out all three of them?
I've seen Zach Wilson in Indianapolis Colts uniform, and now everybody's got fucking Russell Wilson in a Colts uniform. This can't be the new trend. This guy, overpaid, terrible, seems to be hated by his teammates. Let's fucking send him right to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
That ain't us. And we got a lot of shit to figure out. I mean, we're going to get some wins tonight. We're going to get a win tonight for the rest of the AFC that's looking to get in the playoffs against Herbert and the Chargers. And we got a lot of love for that Chargers team. We just talked to Dicker. Tom Telesco, their GM, is literally the reason why I'm in the NFL. Kyle Van Noy, friend of the program. Austin Eckler, former friend of the program. Then we talked about him being an injury specialist.
Right.
Justin Herbert's been on the show numerous times. Derwin James came on the show. Keenan Allen came on the show. Mike Williams came on the show. We love the Chargers. More Chargers. We have a better relationship with the Los Angeles Chargers than when Brandon Staley was in studio.
That's a trend, actually, with a lot of these teams who come to town. Steelers, same exact thing.
We have a lot more friends on the current Chargers team than we do on the Colts team. I blindly follow the Colts because they paid me a shit ton of money to kick a ball, and I know a lot of people in that building that are going to be there through this regime, Jeff's regime, through Frank's regime, through Chuck's regime, through Jim Caldwell's regime, through Tony Dungy's regime, through Jim Moore's through all the regimes that have happened. There's been people
Jim Harbaugh's eventual regime.
Maybe, even though allegedly him and Michigan had a talk last year where they're like, we're not doing this
we're done
every year. We're not doing this every year. Allegedly, that was discussed, but what do sources know these days? Who knows? And if Jim shows up with a guitar, my man Jim, you might be him. Our Colts are lower than they've ever been. Yeah, Michigan's cool. Yeah, you really rule. But come back to Indy and let's take them to school. Jim.
That actually might get the job done.
Holy shit.
Jim might do that to Jim and say, hey, we put you up on a Ring of Honor for a reason.
Hell yeah.
Do you remember you played 24 games for us? We put you up in a Ring of Honor because of how much we appreciated you as a person. That was the tip of the cap, too, because in the future, we might need you back to save the program. Because where the program is right now, we might never be able to come back from. We're lowest we've been in 30 years, khakis.
At least.
Okay, so maybe that happens, but allegedly Michigan said, we ain't doing it. But if you think about the Colts, I don't know how you fix it. You need a reset button. I don't know who you trade, how you trade, who comes in here and gets it together.
Feels easier than the Broncos. Feels easier to fix the Colts than the Broncos, most likely.
Yeah, but back to the Broncos. I don't know how you fix that. I have no fucking idea how you fix that.
Can Russ take a pay cut?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Or
just cut your time.
I mean, what is okay? So we're going. Okay, the Broncos are going into this offseason that Russell Wilson is their starting quarterback next year, no matter what, right?
Yes.
Ugh.
All right. I mean, that's going to be interesting for whoever new head coach comes in. Like, hey, what's your plan? What are you going to do? How is Russ going? Like, how is Russ going to develop after this year?
On NFL Network, they showed Russ.
Yeah.
Before the tunnel, came out to the tunnel. They were walking through the tunnel to run onto the field for the game. He actually ran out early. He started jogging. Nobody else did. Then he had to turn around and walk back.
Jesus.
Really?
It was only like 4 steps. Uncomfortable amount of time showing the tunnel and Russ.
Situation.
Okay, he was uncomfortable. I was watching it. Didn't love that I was watching it. Actually was thinking to myself, this is a long time in this moment. The interaction Russ has with teammates.
The team did it on purpose. Hey, let's stand back. Let him ride on. We're not
What was he doing? What do you mean?
Just like the way.
Is anybody even talking to
That's
him?
what I'm saying. Group walk.
Yeah.
And like first group was walking, then Russ all by himself, walking all by himself. Then another group behind Russ walking as a group. Okay, then Russ works his way up to the front of the team, has to walk through group. Not a lot of, but maybe they just know that Russ is locked in. He's about to hang a 3.7 QBR. Let's not get in his mind. And then he stood there. It was just an uncomfortable amount of time. I think they sent him out too early. I think they sent the whole team out there too early. But the interactions did not seem to be like, oh, we love each other, and that's going to be hard to do whenever your team fucking stinks, right? But especially whenever you're missing Christmas at your house right now with your family on a team that fucking stinks, and you're on that team because you thought that team would potentially be good, and they stink because of this guy who's getting paid more money than you are. He's never really done anything good for the team, and he's about to have his worst performance yet. So how do you mend that relationship going forward? I don't know. I don't know how many people loved Hackett in the building. You know, I don't know if there's any players that are going to come out anonymously and say, like, we would take Hackett over Russ 10 times out of 10. I don't know if that's the case because I think they might have both not been on good terms with everybody because of how the performances were. But if you're on that defense or you're a vet on that team that's been there and you got to come back another round with a new coach, how do you not tell the new coaching staff, like, the truth?
Yeah.
Like, hey, this fucking guy, wait till you see what he has his own office, bro. We got to go meet him in his office sometime. And you're like, what? Like, yeah, you're going to have to, you know, like, that's going to happen. And I don't know how you stop that from happening, honestly. With that many people, too. 53-man roster, let's say at least 15 people probably in that, where their contracts are they're going to be back. They're vets. They're good players. They probably have a lot of respect for everything they've done with the Broncos. I don't know how you keep them from telling the next coaching staff, like, just wait, you should not have taken this job.
I mean, it's pretty apparent. Like,
by you.
I don't know. It's apparent, but it definitely I don't like if you're going to become a first-time head coach. Is there any chance? Like, would you ever turn a job down if you've never been a head coach and you interview for a gig like this and you know, like for Hackett, he probably never gets another chance to become a head coach, and he was one and done. He didn't even get a full season.
I don't know. I think Hackett might get a chance 10 years from now if he has another
shot.
If he has another good successful run at the quarterback position somewhere, and who knows if he'll be back in the building of Green Bay this week.
Let's go.
Hey, we got a playoff run, Hack. Why don't you get back in here? What are you guys doing? We're trying to do the same thing we did last year when you were here, but a lot less.
Still got that shit about the gold zone? Bring that back.
Why don't you? We need it. We need all the creativity you could potentially get. Everything that, for whatever reason, wasn't working for us, worked for us. So we need you back. We got to beat the Vikings this week. They're trying to get the number 1 seed right now.
That's right.
They're trying to get the fucking number 1 seed. This team has the football gods on their back. We got them in Lambeau. You know what we need? Gold. I mean, that would be amazing. Hackett will go from living the fine life in Green Bay. He's getting talked about in more interviews with Aaron Rodgers than anybody else. The gold zone's on display literally every single week. They're number 1 in the NFL because of fucking Hackett's brain. Becomes a head coach. Holy shit. I'm Nathaniel Hackett. I'm a head coach in the NFL. This is where I'm supposed to be. We get Russell Wilson instead of Aaron Rodgers. Not exactly who we wanted. Got Russell Wilson now. And then day one working with him, he's like, whoa, I got to call his assistant to get him a...
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
What's this?
Oh, no. We're working through some things. Working through some things. Oh, no. Oh, no. Hey, I got to get we're recommending that you get a game manager. Somebody so you don't have to decide field goal, go for it, what the score is.
You don't know what you're doing.
You don't have to. We want you to think about, I thought I was a head coach. I thought that was decisions that I actually made.
What the hell?
Oh, no. Russell Wilson has forgotten how to play football. I told him literally just throw the out if they're in cover 2. They're clearly in cover 2. He threw the fucking ball over the middle. What do you want me to do? This is literally what we're talking about. Oh, no. Fired. Boom. LaFleur, one text. You up?
Yeah, that's right.
Gold zone! He's all the way back, lifting his legs up like fucking gold member. There's a chance that takes place. Ian Rappaport said, if you're Nathaniel Hackett, why don't you take a nap for a day or two? I could understand that as well. He's in the middle of football season. He could go to the Packers right now and still get paid for the next 3 years before this whole thing. What a wild day. What a wild position being an NFL head coach, especially if your team sucks.
Well, and that's why it feels like the Seattle Seahawks should be charged with robbery, because what they did to Denver was just absolutely despicable. It feels like they knew exactly what was going on with Russell, with his whole entire team, with how he was in Seattle that last year. Not even, the other stuff like the imaginary huddles, broken hand, running up and down the field, doing all that stuff. More so just how the team felt about him as a whole. Because
that's called visualization.
Exactly.
You never understand it.
No, in Denver,
you never understand
Broncos players said they've never seen anything like it in training camp. So I'm not saying it's bad, but obviously it doesn't fucking work. Because
he did the knee drive and high knees on the plane.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then they won that game against the Jags.
Yes.
That's an impressive win. Looking back at it now. But if you're thinking about as a guy going into that Denver job, how do you not ask any of those players, like you just said, Hackett, any of the guys in Seattle, like, hey, I just interviewed for this job. I'm in the building. It's a wonderful place. What is the only thing why I wouldn't take this job?
Guys, this place is amazing. How we're not winning?
Yeah.
My office. It overlooks the Rocky.
Look at the mountains.
Dude, I'm in a...
This is wonderful.
What are we...
Every day's a pain.
If they were winning, it wouldn't matter. If they were winning, all this stuff with Russ wouldn't matter.
I'm looking up
it would
our
just be the
stats.
goofy side of Russ.
I'm looking up our stats. If you get rid of the Baker Mayfield Rams 51 points, if you look at the deal, we've only given up fucking 14 points a game.
We should be able to.
The Rockies here.
Yeah, quarterback.
Leads legal. I fucking spoke.
Quarterback's won the Super Bowl.
What is the deal? What is going on?
Why is this
And
place
then,
stink?
then you're sitting there and your door opens and it's the cardio coach of Team 3.
Bingo.
You have a meeting with every single day.
Exactly.
Hey, we got a 5:15 a.m. Okay, just want to go over how we're planning on using Russ today in practice and walkthrough, because he might have to be a crawl through for us.
Right.
I know you like jog throughs and then full practice. Might have to be a crawl through if you want it, or maybe office chair through, because what Russ did on Sunday, we got it all tracked. We got a Soviet GPS system on him, and then the coach is like, all right, that's not bad. I appreciate his info. Leaves. Team 3 fucking hand coach comes in.
Yep.
Hey, today we're going to use rugby balls because we like his hands having to be on a little bigger ball. So when he grabs a Duke, it's smaller.
Better.
Make practice harder than a game, so he should be able to throw it. He used to throw baseballs, but we found that football seemed too big. So he's going to need rugby balls on this Wednesday, and I'll be back tomorrow. Let you know if he needs it on this Thursday. Fucking hand coach comes out. Guess who comes in next? Fucking Peloton coach.
That's right.
Hey, we're in trouble, to be honest with you. Peloton killed a kid in Montana. We're not allowed to talk about him doing a Peloton anymore. Need you guys to get covers for the Peloton. It's actually going to be a Lance Armstrong bike that he's going to ride out there, but it is going to be Peloton workout that we have. Goes in there and calls Hackett. Was this every day? Every fucking day. I'm in the gold zone, pal. Boom. He's out of there. Is that what it is? Is that why it's so impossible?
I hope like 5% of that is true. I hope there's at least some part of that to where the head coach has to deal with outside people from Team 3. Like, that would be amazing if we find that out.
That was, who was it? Elvis, and who was the president?
Nixon?
Nixon, yeah.
Nixon. I watched some documentary or a movie where Elvis and Nixon were planning to have a meeting because Nixon needed better numbers in the younger demo, and Elvis wanted to be a federal agent. So they thought they could really, Nixon's team, not Nixon wanted nothing to do with this. Nixon's team, though, for poll numbers was like, we'll just do a photo with Elvis. The young kids will love you. You'll be popular. You'll be famous. It's a good idea. And Nixon agrees to it because of how bad he was polling at the time or whatever. And Elvis had his people go talk to Nixon to tell Nixon what was okay to do in the king's presence and what was not. This is the president, sitting president of the United States. Elvis's team comes in, team 3, if you will. Team Presley comes in and tells the president what all they can do. Nixon's team tells Elvis what he's allowed to do in the meeting. Then they go into the meeting and Elvis, within a minute and a half, fucking just snags his peanut M&Ms, which is like rule number 1. Do not touch President Nixon's peanut M&Ms. And then from that point forward, it just got like, they portrayed it as a dick contest. Basically, constant the entire time. I wonder if that's what Team 3 actually does, though. Like, Team 3 goes in and says, what if Team 3's getting to interview the coaches? So, like, the Waltons interview, George Payton gets the interview, Team 3 gets the interview, and then we all agree on it. Like, I personally believe that none of what I just said is true. But my brain thought of it strictly because there has been numerous situations that have been laid out before us here with Russell Wilson where all that shit could very much exist and happen. And Russell Wilson and Team 3 think they should have that amount of power and think they should have that amount of say. Now, if they win, they should. When you lose drastically and terribly like you do, and they are, you don't. Will that be a problem going forward, AJ? I'm going to assume yes. I'm going to assume this is going to be something, this whole Team 3 situation.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how Russ and Team 3 handle this whole process whenever they go through the hiring process. Like, how involved does Russ want to be? How involved does he want to? Like, if Russ really wants to be involved, I'm sure they'll let him. But what if he does bring some other people that aren't on the team, some of his outside people? Like, hey, well, let's let them get our eyes on it. Really ask a few good questions here with these candidates.
Yeah, your business. You're new to this. Okay, you guys are new to this. You guys just run Walmart, a month and a half ago. Team 3 here?
I'll run the op.
Been to the Super Bowl. George, what have you done, George? How many different quarterbacks have you hired? Oh, Peyton, good for you.
No.
All right, sweet. See you later. It's fascinating. Let's take a break. On the other side, we have Matt Money Smith joining us.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, Matt Money Smith works for NFL Network, Power Ranking Show, and does play-by-play for the Chargers. We'll learn a lot about the Chargers who are playing on Monday Night Football tonight on the other side of the break. Also around the NFL, the conversations that are currently taking place behind closed doors. Where's Sean Payton going? He's already building a fucking coaching staff, just like Mike McCarthy was in his basement in Wisconsin.
That's right.
Sean Payton allegedly has already reached out to Vic Fangio, former head coach of Denver. Great defense coordinator. The reason why the defense is good is because Fangio put that thing together. Sean Payton run the offensive side of the ball. Vic Fangio run the defensive side of the ball.
Look out.
Are they lobbying for these owners to be like, hey, we got a super coaching staff ready to come take your program to places it's never been before? It sure sounds like it. Wouldn't the richest owner in the NFL want to be able to abuse the lack of cap in the coaching salary to potentially bring that tag team duo in? I would think that'd be the
Sean
case.
Payton's got experience dealing with older quarterbacks that can't play anymore.
Him and Drew Brees broke a lot of records. At one point, Drew was an older quarterback who couldn't play anymore. But for a long time, he was not. Is Russ in that? Which category is Russ in? Is he broken? We shall see. Let's take a break. Matt Money Smith on the other side. Take 5.
You ready? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Every morning you gotta wake up, man, feeling blessed. Another opportunity. Do it for your brother. Do it for man went back in that jersey, man. Go out there and make plays.
Mom's birthday is 2 days. It's like an early birthday present for her. We're gonna shine.
We're gonna party when we win, okay? Church work. Make them feel like they can't get out. It's up to us. Remember what we do and why we do it. And stick together. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go!
3rd and goal from the 1. Bears lead 22-21, 2.5 minutes to go.
There was that. Cousins on the spring. Touchdown! We just got in because of you, bud. You got us in, bud.
Fires across the middle. Andrews has it at the 5. Turns and he's in for a touchdown.
Go,
was too wide open. I ain't had to shoot the running deal right there. How do you come in so low and still keep your balance?
I don't know. That's impressive. I just try not to think about it.
Von Miller has another sack, his fourth as a Buffalo Bill.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's stop here! It gotta be us. It gotta be us.
Third down and 2. Gino scrambles out of pocket.
And Cam Jordan is going to sling him down.
Yes! Yes, sir!
Snap back. Here comes a blindside rush. Jalen Ramsey, Dex Cooper rush.
I got it! I got it, big boy!
You see I finally got me a sack?
Yes.
That was the first one of my career, huh? That was a good one, huh?
Yeah, fumble too.
He fumbled? Hell yeah. It's because you did that podcast this week. You know, we should do it. We should do it every week. Nah, congrats, my boy.
I mean, you send me a pay stub, you got a deal.
I'm trying to hit rare. Rare is my new. You can be, you can be good. You can be great. You can be legendary. But somewhere in there, you can be rare, elite, legendary. Rare encompasses all of it.
Yeah, let's pray first. You're absolutely right. Yeah, we got to wait on our head ball coach. He's right behind you. How you doing?
We came on the road, and we're leaving here with the mission accomplished. All right? Mission's accomplished.
You fight your asses off, okay? Find a way, and it's got to be so much better, okay? Starting with us, okay, and then all the way down to each and every player.
I'm so proud of you guys. I'm so proud of the fight. I'm so proud of the effort. I'm so proud of the fact that you stuck together.
Hey, great team win. I love you.
Dude, I love this team, man.
Cowboys on 3. 1, 2, 3. Cowboys!
Since November of last year, the Chiefs are 20-2 against all other teams other than the Bengals. They're 0-3 against the Bengals. This team is beloved by that city for good reason. They're tough. They're explosive. Defensive side, they ripped the ball out of Travis Kelce's hands.
Oh, yeah.
There's some dogs out there running around. It's a fucking miracle that the Bengals have been able to do what they've been able to do. They just got an indoor bubble this past offseason. This is the first winter that they've been able to go in a bubble to practice. Just in case a fucking blizzard comes through Cincinnati, Ohio. This team didn't even have a fucking sponsor for their stadium until this year.
They're running with P. Ryan right now. He's their second string running back. He's unbelievable. And yeah, you're T. Higgins. But they get Jamar back. They're getting Joe Mixon back.
Hurst was on the sidelines, I think.
Hurst.
So hopefully he comes back or whatever. You got a guy he is an Ohio fuck.
Yes.
Playing quarterback who's incredibly tough, confident, and talented. He is obviously the leader of that team and how they go. And they're going to prove to be able to win for the long haul here because they got a guy at quarterback and they got multiple positions around them that are very, very tough. The offensive line seems to be figuring it out. Beginning of the year, we didn't know if this brand new offensive line where you got new security in town, ain't nobody going to touch you anymore, if they were going to be able to be worth a fuck this year. They seemingly are. P. Ryan coming together is huge for them. He has a different running style than Mixon.
Oh, yeah.
He's a different player than Mixon. They're going to be able to probably put them both back there at some point. This team is fun to watch. They get a massive win over the Chiefs, who listen, Travis Kelce doesn't get the ball ripped out of his hand. That doesn't happen.
Sometimes I don't know how you hold on to the ball. Like, you got to get down as fast as you can. Kelsey started to try to get down. He realized, this one feels like it's coming out. There, he's trying to go down right there. He's trying to get that knee down.
Bro, yeah, and he was real close, too. They ran a replay. It was very close. Not close enough, obviously. The ball did come out. I think we all agree
His
on
arm
that.
is right in there. He probably pulled the tip right out of there. Jeez.
That guy's arm, you get 5 points of pressure is like, hey, we need the hand, obviously the back end of the side of it, put it against your tit high and tight or whatever, blah, 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 run it with this. If a guy has enough time to get his hand in, like jiu-jitsu almost, like pointing on your leg, and then like getting your hand in there, that's going to be tough to hang on. If they get the tip, it's over. No matter how many points of pressure you have, it seems like the one that really matters is the fucking back end. If they get that thing's out. What a play. That was a miscue that we're not used to seeing out of the greatest tight end of all time, statistically, Travis Kelce. Then Bucker misses a kick. What a game. I mean, we've been waiting for that type of game for a long time. Two teams living up to expectations, playing great football against each other in a fantastic environment. That was a playoff game we got to watch yesterday.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here on Overreaction Monday, December 26th.
Nailed it. I mean, so good.
Merry Kwanzaa to all.
And Boxing Day.
And Boxing Day to all the people, but don't forget, work still continues
And this
tomorrow.
is the business acknowledgement of Christmas, right? Monday?
Yes.
Because it was on a Sunday.
Day.
Observed. There it is.
Observed.
So Merry observed Christmas to
Merry.
the office folks that are not in the office today because it is Christmas in that particular calendar.
And it's also Christmas if you download Cash App today.
Every day!
Oh! Today's show is presented by
Smooth.
Cash App.
That was smooth.
Greg Joseph from 61 yards for the win.
That's money!
Kittle going for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That's money!
Matt Money Smith in studio today.
That's
money! Splitting your mom's present with your siblings. Bruce, why did you put 3 on here, Bruce?
All right.
Why would you do that today, Bruce?
You know the deal. We have to.
Yep.
What is the
Bruce,
what is
would
the
you like to
point of
answer
that?
What's the problem?
What's the point of that, Bruce? Fucking explain it to me like I'm 2.
They had asked for 2 to be football and then 1 to be like, something you do with your buddies or your family. That's a money moment amongst friends.
All right, let's go back to the
You got to
top.
be fucking kidding me.
Let's go back to the top. Hey, you started out good, though.
Yeah,
Remember,
but then there's never 3. There's never 3. It's always 2, and then it's into the sending shit, and it's never 3. And today he put 3. Okay. What are we doing?
Hey, listen, don't let it affect you.
On Boxing Day.
Exactly. You started out great, too.
You got to be kidding me.
3, 2. Hey, this one's your best one. Let's go. Remember, energy there at the beginning. Welcome people back.
Right.
Welcome back. Remember.
Okay. All right.
3, 2, and...
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here on Overreaction Monday, December 26th. Yeah. Happy Kwanzaa to all.
Yeah.
Boxing Day. Merry observed Christmas Day for all the working people.
There you go.
You guys know what else is kind of like Christmas?
What's that?
It's Cash App.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, every day.
Today's show is presented by Cash App. Greg Joseph from 61 yards for the win. That's money.
AJ?
Kittle going off for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That's money.
Splitting your mom's present with your siblings on Cash App.
Whoa.
That's money.
Money.
Mad Money Smith in studio today. That's money.
That was good audible.
Yeah.
that little remix.
That was the whole reason the first time. I was going to end it with that. Boom. Splitting, sending, blah, 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 blah. And then I go to splitting your mom's present. But you guys know what else is money?
What's that?
Sending,
What?
spending,
What?
saving,
What?
splitting,
What?
tipping,
What?
and donating all in a single finance app.
That's nice.
That's right.
That's money, Tony. That's not nice. And that's Cash App.
Sorry.
Download Cash
nice.
App and use code McAfee for $15. Terms apply.
Merry Cash App.
Merry Cash App, everybody.
I fucked up.
AJ Hawk not participating. That's not money. AJ, how come you don't like it? Is it because Matt Money's here?
Whoa.
No, I don't want to step on Matt Money Smith. No question. That guy's got some of the best pipes in the business. We know that. But no, I like to let Con. I like to give him his space. You guys all want to chime in. I want Con to just explore
No, it's a
and have
group.
fun.
It's a group read. It's always been like that. What do you mean, my space?
No, you got through. You did great. 2 times. Did
You'll
your
be
own
okay.
audible.
You'll be okay, Connor.
You remix that thing too. Look at you, Connor. At a baby.
Try
That's
to
money.
do it the first time.
All right, let's get to the beautiful pipes. A man who we are very lucky to be joined by. A man who's joined us in studio before. We're thankful you're doing it again. Welcome to Thunderdome. Pop.
Yeah.
Love
Welcome
it.
to Thunderdome.
Appreciate you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Money Smith is here. Matt, obviously you're in town because the Chargers, you're their play-by-play guy. Yeah. They have hired your incredible voice and view upon the game to call it every single time for the local audience or whatever back there in LA. What have you seen from his Chargers team? Because I'll tell you what, you know this as much as I do. The rest of the NFL, more specifically the AFC bubble teams, are pulling hard for a Colts win tonight. You think that's going to happen? You think the Colts have a chance to upset this team, or are they rolling right now?
No, you know what? They I'll tell you what's interesting. There's been one sort of issue through these couple wins here against Miami.
Are you traveling on team plane?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so this guy knows Chargers better than anybody else. as we're listening to his answer, let's take that in.
Yeah. So I guess I'm in the inner circle. You know?
Yeah, you're
I got a
playing,
little bit,
definitely. Yeah,
right?
it's actually
It's actually a cylinder.
Can't
Yeah,
drink-
so I'm in the
can't drink-
cylinder.
flying, which none of us understand.
Right.
40,000 feet in the air, bigger than a building.
Right.
You're in there, though.
That's the nice thing about the charter, you know. Air gets a little bumpy at 37. The charters, we're going to climb up to 41. We're going to climb to 41. You down there, you can't do that.
Yeah, we fly on big birds.
That's right. So the one thing that's been an issue has been the interior of the line. So Jeffrey Simmons last week, Christian Watson the week before. What do the Colts have? DeForest Buckner, one of the best in the business. So that's how you can wreck a game, right? I mean, you collapse the pocket immediately and things go sideways in a hurry. So that would be kind of my one concern. The other thing, too, is, look, the Chargers, they're like the Vikings. They, they play one-score games. They do not blow teams out. You know, they blew out the Texans, allowed them back in the game. They go down 14-0, then they get a big lead on the Browns, and they allow them to come back in the game. So I think because we haven't really seen them do the whole foot on the throat thing,
anybody can win.
Yeah, I think they allow teams to hang around. So that's why I think if you're, a Boston Cana fan of the Patriots, maybe you feel a little good about tonight, right?
Wicked, nice Monday.
If Yin's tone over here with the Steelers, Yin's feeling pretty good about tonight, Nat. Yeah,
Not bad. I think you're still using the Boston
It's
accent,
hard.
but you use the
Pittsburgh's
Yinzer.
hard. I use the Yinzer in that.
Slang, yeah.
In that.
And that works.
And that works.
You just got to be as lazy as possible with your mouth.
Yeah, you're trying to just mumble. That's what Pittsburgh
Is that what it
people
is?
do. They don't want to move their mouth and lips too much because obviously, why would you when you're working so hard down at the mill? But there is a lot of people that are watching this game tonight. And whenever you talk about letting teams kind of linger, the Colts were up 33-zip. When he's like, anybody can linger.
They let the Vikings linger.
And
They're only up 33-0.
And DeForest Buckner, we have a lot of respect for DeForest Buckner.
Yeah.
He's been on the show before, and he's very good. That D line, Yannick Ngakoue and DeForest Buckner have been running their asses off, chasing people, doing a lot of screens and things like. Eckler is the fucking guy, right? Yeah. Isn't he? He gets the ball all the time, always scores. Herbert loves him. Is he the number one weapon for you guys?
Yeah. Look,
what should we be watching for here?
It's,
Here we go. Anytime.
I know everybody gets into the whole Pro Bowl snub thing, but man, it is such bullshit that Austin does not get more attention. I mean, the guy's got 32 touchdowns since the beginning of last year. It's like 8 more than the next guy in line.
He always is in pay dirt.
Always. Like he just and like you look at that touchdown last week against the Titans. I mean, Simmons hits him at the line of scrimmage. That's 320 pounds, and Eckler just starts churning those feet and pushes 2 guys backwards 5 yards into the end zone. He's so underrated, and I think that's one of the things that Herbert, appreciates and he leans on. It's kind of, okay, this is a gotta-have-it play, and I think Austin and Keenan are kind of his gotta-have-it guys. Until we get into those final moments, then Mike Williams becomes his gotta-have-it guy.
That sideline last week.
I mean, it's ridiculous what he's able to do, in those moments, in the sideline, and the 50-50s, all that sort of stuff.
Well, and Keenan's obviously Keenan, and then there's a Carter, I think, right? Number 5 or number 1?
DeAndre, yeah. Yeah, he's been, and it's funny, like you guys know
Fast.
this.
Yeah.
You get those punt returners, and if you can figure out how
Ray
to work
McLeod.
them into work them into your offense, they're shifty guys. You just get them the ball in space, and then they go to work. And I think they figured that out with DeAndre early on.
Yeah, the Niners did that with Ray just yesterday. Christian McCaffrey actually seals a block, and I think that's the thing about this Chargers team as well is it seems like everybody's bought in. It seems like everybody's always. I don't know why. I mean, they're sitting at 8-6, still a winning record. Obviously, they're in the playoffs. Going into the year, it was like Super Bowl conversation. Oh, yeah. And then what? Some shit happened? Is that what took place? Some shit happened?
I mean, Bosa gets. You lose. Kind of the straw that stirs the drink on defense up front, right? Like, you can't double both those guys, Mack and Bosa. And you saw through a game and a half, they were wrecking shop against the Raiders and the Chiefs. And then he goes down, so that gets screwed up. And then Rashawn Slater, you have a left tackle that you can just, hey, he's there. We don't have to worry about it. Let's focus all of our attention over here. He goes down week 3. Justin Herbert fractures his ribs. Second half.
Jackson.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
Yeah.
Was that like the thing under the ribs?
Rib cartilage, I think
Yeah.
that's what they called it. Thankfully, I never had that. No one's ever kicked me in the stomach, so I've been all right.
Pretty pumped about it too.
Exactly, it's clean living. So I don't know what that feels like, but he's a different guy these last 3 weeks. He's looked totally different.
AJ, your question for Matt Money Smith.
What's up, Money? I actually just read some article about how the team gets along so well, and Khalil Mack's picking up these huge dinners at these super nice spots. Have you ever been invited to that?
No, and I will say this though, AJ. It's funny because new guys, I think it takes them a minute to figure it out. Like, hey, am I cool to sort of start talking, to maybe set a tone? And I think Kyle Van Noy, Super Bowl champ, Khalil Mack, defensive MVP. I think they finally realized, or not realized, but I think they were like, okay,
comfortable.
I'm good. I can, and kind of word is that Kyle's been running the players only sort of meetings, and that Khalil has kind of become a little bit more of a presence. And so I think they were just kind of feeling, because Derwin's the soul of the team. There's no denying that. He's such a when you're around him, like you'll see it tonight when you're on the field. You feel him, like when there's something about his aura that you can feel when you're in his orbit. But I think Kyle and Khalil were kind of feeling that out. And last like 3-4 weeks when, okay, we're 6-6. These other teams are shit in the bed too, so we got to take advantage of this because that never happens to the Chargers. Things do not break their way. So the fact that all of these teams have started losing these games and it's actually working out for them, I think they recognize that and they're like, let's go, and it's been a different sort of vibe around the team these last couple.
Go ahead, Connor.
Because of all those things you just said, and granted, like Slater getting hurt, J.C. Jackson getting hurt, Bosa, do you feel like because of the Herbert contract right now, the Slater contract, like they're all in now? Like their window is open, and if these next 2-3 years are pretty pivotal for the whole entire franchise before they have to sink a lot of money into those prime positions that you just mentioned.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I think when you ask that question, and I'll weigh in on it, but it's like, hey, I ball out here. I get paid now.
Yeah.
If it happens in 2 years when Herbo's making $60 million, I might not be able to get paid as much to stay here.
Yes.
So I do think maybe there's something to that. Like, I got a year left on my like Drew Tranquil. I mean, he's a Pro Bowl caliber player. Like, if I'm that dude, I'm looking to get paid this year before Herbert gets his extension. So, yeah, I do think there's something to that for guys that can get their bag, before Herbert gets the biggest bag in the NFL.
Yeah, Tom Telesco will hold that contract over their head while negotiating with Tranquil and everything. Hey, listen, you
can do this now.
Years 1, 2, we can pay you this, but year 3, we can't. We're not going to be able to do that. Even though the salary cap is going yodelly, 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 all the way up with another $2.5 billion for Sunday Ticket coming to YouTube TV and YouTube. Congrats to the NFL and to us as fans. Not having to rely upon a dish service in most places. It's bananas. Excited for that future. But let's talk about money coming into the league. There was a time, and we might have been out of pocket for talking about this, but it was certainly a report on the internet, so we know it's true. The Spanos family is maybe going to have to sell the fucking team. So then, they moved from San Diego to L.A., allegedly lose fans, even though from the internet it seems like Chargers fans are still very alive and well. Now they're investing a bunch of money. Derwin's in, Khalil's in, Kyle's in. They're spending money. They're going to have to pay people. Is the team at a point where, let alone the window, but they're comfortable money-wise to, make big plays? And they spent no money on SoFi, right? Because I think the thought was they don't have the money to spend on SoFi. That was kind of always have we been misreading the Spanos' financial situation? And that's a big deal, I think, for the Chargers, especially getting into this cash over cap era that we are with a young quarterback that's going to need to get paid.
Yeah, huge deal. You're absolutely right, Pat. Look, it does matter. In the NFL, it matters. If you can scratch out checks in signing bonuses, you don't have to, and as long as escrow exists, you got to have a pile of cash. They have. I'm not privy, even though I'm in the cylinder.
They're not in that though.
They
are not in that cylinder.
You're right. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not.
They got their own cylinder, probably the same size.
Yeah.
For the same reason you're talking about. Yeah, we need to get out of the.
Let's get above it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know it.
Oh,
you got your own cylinder. You know what that's like.
Yeah, you won't see me on any small planes anymore. Yeah. I was about tired. I'm gonna die.
How about a couple thousand more, Barkeep? Let's go.
Hey,
Let's get up there. So I think it's changed dramatically. Look, SoFi has been a huge win for them. For all the incoming they took at first when they showed up, pay your rent, that kind of stuff. It's like, wait a minute, this guy had to write a $6 billion check for this place, and these guys get to pay $1 to live here. That's how this works. This is a pretty sweet deal for these guys. This is actually working out okay. So yeah, you're right. Derwin's the highest paid safety. Joey got the highest average annual value contract for a defensive player. Herbert's going to be the highest paid player in the league when his contract comes up. They now have money. That place is packed. I'm not going to try to paint too powder blue a picture, but it's shifting. Like Herbert has changed everything in that city where there are, I just got, I know it's anecdotal, but I just got a text from a family who said, hey, look what Maddie wanted for Christmas, and he got Herbert jersey.
That is a big deal, especially with the Rams winning the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
In SoFi and owning the stadium outright. Now the Rams have the year that they're having, and who knows what the future looks like. Allegedly, Stafford's coming back with a spinal contusion.
Yeah.
We have somebody that comes on this show every single week who had a spinal contusion who was told he had to retire on site at offensive line position, so maybe it's different what the future looks like. And maybe Baker's earning his spot, but it has leveled the playing field.
Yes.
I feel like it really has.
It's an exciting brand of football. Like, that's the thing. You know, like, as great as the Rams have been, you think about sort of what
Spanos did that on purpose, too. It sounds like when Staley starts talking, Staley talks about, in Telesco, I think Telesco talked about it being an exciting brand of football when he was talking to us. Staley talking about an exciting brand of football. That was on purpose.
Yeah. I mean, look, Ben Howland, not to shift, too far away from where we're at, but like when Ben Howland was the head coach at UCLA, they go to 3 straight Final Fours, but they do it with defense. Like, people didn't know how explosive Russell Westbrook was because if he turned the ball over, he was on the bench. It's like, play D and don't turn the ball over. So it didn't work. He got fired. 3
Especially
straight
in
Final
LA.
Fours.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think they recognize that. It's like, hey, Mike wants $20 million a year. Well, Mike Williams got to get $20 million a year because that's our big play. That's our explosive. People love this. Great guy, great lot. So I think that's what you've seen in terms of where they're spending their money. Like, hey, Derwin, superstar, splash
Great
plays.
at Madden.
Great,
Yeah.
great at Madden, exactly.
Cornhole.
Is that right?
Yeah, on HBO Hard Knocks, he was good at cornhole.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of really good cornhole players in NFL locker rooms. They don't spend as much time maybe getting the pro circuit yet, and I think the pro circuit's lucky for that. As somebody who's
For now.
Well, they got the face of it now too, Daniel Jones, and
that was fake. Remember, that was false information.
What?
Which does happen.
what?
It sounds like Spanos not having money was also false
Yeah,
information.
they're doing great. They're doing great. They're spending money,
And the business plan of being exciting is smart. I think that's a good business mind, and not having to pay for the stadium. Not a bad idea, I guess, business-wise. Congrats to the Chargers and the fans who seemingly have a team for the foreseeable future, as the Rams are in a big question mark in a brand new market that is huge. If fucking Herbert and the Chargers just go on a 10-year run, why not become one of the most expensive franchises in the world? In L.A., with how cool their jerseys are, that blue, especially by the beach. Herbert's being loved. The team's exciting brand of football, and the NFL is only getting more popular. Congrats to the Chargers in the future. Ty, your question from Matt Money Smith.
Yeah, so given all that stuff, and Pat alluded to it, like when we had you on the show before the season started, it was like, hey, this team's ready to go to the Super Bowl right now. And for whatever reason, they're still just so inconsistent, even with Herbert being a generational talent. Like, do you feel like, I mean, granted, they have a lot ahead of them. They're 8-6. They're in the playoff picture right now. But do you feel like they've kind of underperformed a little bit this year? And is there more pressure where it's like, hey, if we don't go this year, like if they end up not making the playoffs this year, is it the type of the thing, especially if Spanos has money, he's willing to spend it, where it's like, hey, Brandon Staley, you're not the guy. We got to get someone in here who can kind of unleash Herbert because we can't have a Phil Rivers situation all over again.
Yeah, I think, look, we were talking about it. They really, but probably it was 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. It was the first time that Josh Palmer, Keenan, and Mike were on the field at the same time for a full game. They lost their left tackle the whole year. They lost, again, one of the best defensive ends in football. They lost J.C. Jackson. They lost Derwin for 2 games. Like, it's just been an incredible run of bad injury luck. So if I were here 2 weeks ago, Ty, I would have said, yeah, I think this is a disappointing season. Even with all that, they're in enough of these games that they just weren't figuring out how to win them. Like, how do you, they had the Chiefs on the ropes. In the fourth quarter, they got a lead and they lose that game. They're in Las Vegas against one of the worst defenses in the league. How do you lose that game? But on top of that, they bounce back. They beat Miami. They beat Tennessee. Now I feel like they're in that Bengals space from 2021 of, oh, wait, it's a team with an incredibly talented quarterback that got hot at the exact right time. And here we come up on the end of the year. Derwin's back. Slater's, they're saying he could be back at the start of the playoffs. Joey Bosa's probably going to come back to practice here in the next week or two. And it's like, holy shit, this is
get healthy at the right time and play our best ball at the right time? Got a buzzsaw in Indianapolis, though, tonight. Don't forget it. AJ, your question from Matt Money Smith.
Matt, I know you're calling the game, so I don't know if you make predictions or not, but what do you think happens tonight?
Well, I think it's a close game because why would I not predict that? That's the kind of the way everything's been, even with, sort of everything starting, Derwin back out there, and he's such a Swiss Army knife to be able, let me see, is there another? He's a queen on a chessboard. There it is. So having him back is a huge boost. But again, that offensive line, I think, has just kind of had their issues with Ngakoue and Buckner. I think it'll be a tough haul for them. So I think it'll be, if I had to predict anything, it'd be a tight game, and you know how tight games are. And we saw it last night, right? It's Arizona, and all of a sudden they fumbled that ball, and all of a sudden, Tampa wins. So it's like anything can happen in tight games. That's what makes it so unnerving, but it's also selfishly, it's great for me.
Oh, yeah.
It's great for. I'm not reading my driver's license in any of these games because it's 35-7. You know what I mean? I get to just DJ. Oh, and by the way, Daniel Jeremiah sends his best to all you guys.
We love Daniel Jeremiah. Mood sticks.
Mm-hmm. He and I get to have a blast. We get to have these. Look at last week. It was ridiculous. They're kind of outplaying the Titans the whole game, and then all of a sudden, last drive, Titans put together their best drive of the game, score the game-tying touchdown, and we get 49 seconds of Herbert madness. Just that strike, that laser that only that guy can throw in the league to Mike Williams, and it's the best thing ever.
Yeah, Herbert and Josh Allen probably, but I understand what you're saying. Tone has the last question for you here, Mr. Money Smith.
So we know what their issue is on offense. Can they still not? Are they still worse than the league at stopping the run too?
So that's gotten cleaned up the last 2 weeks.
No.
Yes. So they're what do the kids call it? Their DVOA has really risen dramatically these last 2 weeks. I believe they are.
I didn't know that's what kids say.
That's what they say, according to Football Outsiders. They are number 2 these last 2 weeks in DVOA because they are
DVOA,
which is of course
defensive value average. Over at that. So everybody knows what that is, right?
Yeah. So what does that mean?
Here's my interpretation.
Yeah.
Instead of
AJ,
my interpretation is instead of 3rd and 2s and 3rd and 1s, they're finally getting 3rd and 7s and 3rd and 9s. Like they were so bad against the run prior to these 2 weeks that they were one of the worst teams against on third down because it was all 3rd and 2s. It was all 3rd and 1s.
Value over average?
I think that's what it is, right? I think the other one is
big stat.
Never actually heard
defensive expected points added. I think is the other one that
like
people
that.
throw.
Hey, are we going to sound like who's that guy that had the button on the bottom of his desk?
Matt Lauer.
Matt Lauer.
Are we going to sound like Matt Lauer and that lady on TV when they're like, what is the internet? You
Oh,
remember
right.
that video?
Yeah.
Talking about this defensive value over average. Is this the
Didn't
next
Matt
thing?
Lauer used to wear chokers? Wasn't that like his thing?
What?
Ask AJ. He did.
Money.
Wasn't that his thing?
That's
money.
Not on Boxing Day, money. Not on Boxing
Like somebody
Day.
was like saying that like that was his thing. Like it was like an inside
Look
joke
it
or
up, Z.
something.
Here it is. I don't know about the choker thing, but the guy had a button that basically made his thing a jail cell. Defensive defense adjusted value over average calculates a team's success based on the down and distance of each play during the season, then calculates how much more or less successful each team is compared to the league average. Of course.
Yeah.
A lot of 3rd and longs.
Yeah, makes sense.
Exactly. That's why I just spit out the initialism and just said DVOA.
I just got it corrected in my ear, too. Fact check Zito. He did wear chokers, yes.
Yeah, there it is.
Wait, what?
Let's go to the tape. Let's go to the tape. George Michael sports machine style. Let's go to the tape.
Mad money. That was amazing. Damn it.
AJ's so happy.
All right. Have a good one tonight. We
Love you
appreciate
guys.
you stopping by.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming through the new Thunderdome, man.
This place is incredible.
Thanks, man.
When I pulled up, I don't know how much I can say, but when I pulled up and I knew what this building used to be, I was like, no fucking way. It's like this is the greatest place in the history of the world.
Yeah, we had to deal with the last tenant moving out. Spiritually for a while. Tech-wise, we were getting messed up.
Is that right?
Yeah, but we did some sage. We donated some tides. We did the whole thing. We're thankful that you stopped by. Now, I got to ask you
Did
a
you
question.
just say you donated some tides?
Yeah, whatever that is.
Listen, there were some high tides that came in. We donated those.
Picked them up.
Been a lot fewer ghosts in the machine. It's been great.
Yeah, Rick Ross said, "Gotta pay tides," and that was really where I learned that whole thing. But
Love it.
are you a golfer at all?
I used to golf, yeah, but people told me I had people told me I had an okay swing.
Okay, can you make some putts?
Right now?
You think you're a good putter?
I could try.
Yes.
Come on, money.
Here we go.
Come on, money.
Here's the putter.
All right.
How good? How good?
Yeah, I was one of those guys that thought he was good.
Here, let's bring them all back down here
He's
so we
good.
can get you
He's
in this
definitely
microphone.
good.
You think so?
He's good.
Four
Yeah, I think
balls.
so. But I'm worried though. He didn't get to surf this morning. Did he get to swim?
I did not. Yeah, I didn't get to surf this morning. So maybe my juju's a little off.
You really do surf every morning. That's a real thing. You told us that with a straight face, and we all said, "Oh, this guy's lying."
No
right
way.
to us.
Come on,
That's
every
why
morning.
this guy lies to
Every
us.
morning. I think that's why they fired me from Power Rankings, because Zeus became intimidated that Poseidon was going to bring his trident.
You're not with Dan Zeus anymore?
Yeah.
Whoa, we thought you were on Power Rankings.
Yeah, wait, Zeus is
No, I was
a prick?
summarily dismissed for this season.
What the hell is
that? So do we hate Zeus?
No, we
Who
love
took
Zeus.
your spot?
Zeus is okay.
We still love Zeus.
Zeus is okay. I think it was Apollo and Artemis that had it in for me, or what was some of those Greek gods.
Oh, okay, got it.
Zeus producer?
All right.
Okay, hey, 1 for 4 here, and we'll give 10 people $500 who retweet this tweet,
Okay.
say something nice to somebody, and put their hashtag in there because Matt's
money.
Oh, shit.
Good pace.
Oh, touch.
Okay.
I got faith, though. All
Great
you got to do
knee
is go
bend.
1
Good
of
pace.
4. You might want to move it closer to have a straight putt because there is a ridge.
Is that okay? I
might-
didn't know if I could. Is
No,
that okay?
this way too. Yeah.
Oh, this way.
You can go any way you want.
Okay. Let's try that.
The ridge of a wave.
Let's try that. And I don't want to take up too much time.
Ride the wave.
No, take your time. This is for people to win
Take
10.
a few practice strokes.
10 people to win $500 here.
Bangarang.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
the one.
Bangarang.
Money.
Yep.
Oh!
That was a good putt.
All right.
The pace.
If Matt Money Smith can go 1 of 2 here, we'll give 10 people $500 who retweet this video, say something nice to somebody, and put their hashtag in there.
Get legs. Get legs.
Can I
Now
move
you got
that
to curve
one?
it
Yes,
back.
yes.
definitely.
You can take it back too,
Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
normally
but-
it's 5.
All right. Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
There it is.
Take
Boom.
all right.
There it is.
That's my fifth.
Come on, money.
There we go. All right.
CFO
on,
Phil,
money.
hopefully still in a holiday spirit, not motherfucking in the YouTube comment section. If he goes 1 of 2 here, Matt Money Smith will win $500 for 10 people.
Oh, you bet!
Money.
10 people will win $500 who retweet this video, say something nice to
Beautiful.
somebody, and put their hashtag in there because Matt's Money. Thank you so much, Matt
Beautiful.
Money Smith. Incredible appearance.
Money.
All right, we're going to take 5. Be a friend, tell a friend. Steve Smith Sr. is on the other side. Cannot wait to chat with him about all things. How about the Panthers?
Unbelievable.
They're in it.
They just boat raced the Detroit Lions,
Mm-hmm.
putting up 500 and some total yards on this Detroit Lions team that was supposed to be the brand new Lions. And on one particular Sunday down there, or Saturday in Carolina, they look like the same old Lions. How cold was Steve Smith in Pittsburgh for that game on a Saturday night? He looked chilled. Can't wait to chat with him about that and more. Be a friend, tell a friend, take 5. Just reading this headline here that is written on this piece of paper by Boston Connor this morning. Lou Holtz sent Brian Kelly several letters over his Notre Dame tenure to no response. This must have slipped through the cracks in the group text. Sports Illustrated is reporting, while talking to reporters this past week, Lou Holtz shared that while Brian Kelly was at the helm, he wrote him several letters over his tenure as coach. Unfortunately, Holtz said he never got a response. So, obviously we got to go.
Well. Looks like I wasn't fibbing when I said that Brian Kelly was a big old piece of shit. You write this guy letters, you try to tell him, hey, this is exactly what you need to do if you want to be a successful coach at Notre Dame. Okay, he didn't fucking respond to me once. You know how long it takes me to write these goddamn handwritten letters? I'm not typing them on a Macintosh. I'm not typing them on the Dell. I'm dipping my ink in the quill, and I'm writing these handwritten letters. And what does he do? He says, hey, you know what, Lou? I won't write you a letter, but I'll send some kid into a cherry picker with 85-mile-an-hour winds, and I'll kill him. And then guess what? I still won't write you a letter back. He can apologize, but it doesn't matter because Notre Dame's in the right spot. We got Marcus Freeman with 17-point underdogs at Ohio State. And I wouldn't be surprised if Brian Kelly gets run out of LSU because before too long, the boosters down there are going to find out what I found out. And that's that he's a big old steaming bag of shit.
Coach, isn't it a chance that you with those handwritten letters that he never got them? He was just checking his email?
No, you kidding me? If I fucking write a letter, it's getting on the head coach's desk, okay? You think Charlie Weiss ever got my handwritten letters and Tyrone Willingham? Those guys always wrote back to me. Always.
Probably just put bacon in those letters.
Thank you, Coach.
That's your buddy Brady Quinn, okay? He knows I wrote a letter before every single Notre Dame home game. Had it in his locker.
What did you say about the game where you're taking on your future brother-in-law, A.J. Hawk?
Well, I said, good luck, Brady. Hopefully you play like a guy like Carlisle Holiday. I'm sure you remember him. He was a great quarterback at Notre Dame. Led them to a lot of success. Of course, you know, Brady, unfortunately, they had good seasons, and they got their asses beaten every single big post-game bowl. And we all remember the LSU Sugar Bowl where that Marcus Russell or whatever the hell his name was, he threw it all over the football field. And then AJ and the Ohio State Buckeyes beat the shit out of Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl.
Did you see the documentary about Manti Te'o? Seems like a really good guy that the world
You know what?
really was rude to.
Manti's a sweet kid, okay? And I'm sick and tired of everybody shitting on him and making him feel like he wasn't a sweet kid, because he was such a sweet kid. Everything that you want out of a student athlete at Notre Dame. He wasn't Catholic, which I don't love, but he's a sweet kid, and he really got misrepresented in that. I still feel bad for Manti.
Did you write him a letter when all that shit came up?
Once again, I couldn't write him a letter because he's not Catholic. If he was Catholic, I would have, but he's Mormon, and I don't know about his religion as much as I do about the Catholic religion, touchdown Jesus, all that kind of stuff. But no, you know, I feel bad because Manti was such a good player. He was the highest rated linebacker recruit Notre Dame ever had, you know, and look at him now. He's just a sad oos on a beach down in Hawaii.
Did you say sad oos? Oh my God, Coach Holtz, I did not know you had oos in the repertoire.
Yeah, of course. How do you think I recruited? We got some bad ooses in my time at Notre Dame. Offensive, defensive line. I stole a couple of them from SC and BYU and all those places.
Jesus. Man. Oh, I'll tell you, I did not expect that today. This Chiefs team, man. And everybody talks about how AJ picked the Chargers because how good the Chargers play the Chiefs, and that was the point. That was evident yet again last night. And shout out to the Chargers having a fucking great game. Now, 2 minutes left in the game, the way you go about scoring there and thinking about Patrick Mahomes on the other side, down 3, it's a whole situation there. And who knows if you could take things back, you score that quick. And did the Chiefs let them score that quick? And we're happy they scored that quick. Who knows? They're in field goal range. You do your thing. You have to score. Not taking a shot at Staley at all. Just saying interesting situation for them to end up in, for us to have to talk about, because you give Patrick Mahomes that much time to come back. You obviously know at this stage of his career, at this stage of life, Patrick Mahomes is going to make plays. Not only running, obviously, but the dude he's got playing tight end for him in Travis Kelce is the best football player on any field that he's ever walked onto. Now, he's high-stepping on one touchdown. This one, he's breaking tackles and skirting into the end zone. They go up 4 after the extra point is kicked there late in the game to beat a division rival. Travis Kelce is fucking unguardable. Yeah. He's unstoppable, and whenever they need it and got to have it, and we're getting to that point of the season. Look at this high step. The picture that he has, he posted on his IG story, and the caption he put on there is high stepper. He's up to 11 receiving touchdowns this season, tied for the most in his career. He's on pace for a career high in catches, yards, and touchdowns this season. He's 33 years old, and he now has 33 games with 100-plus yards or more, which is more than everybody who broke Gronkowski's record. He's going to go down as statistically greatest tight end of all time.
Yep. The guy's unstoppable at this point. You can't. Like, you can do whatever you want. It's not going to happen.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, you never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston College.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the FanDuel Thunderdome. On this Overreaction Monday, December 26, 2022, Hour 3 starts right now. Football! What's up, AJ? I didn't hear you state the sport that we talk about so people listening can know what type of show we are, but this is college football national champion.
What?
Super Bowl champion.
What?
Ryder Cup champion.
What?
National Basketball Association pundit.
What?
Video game shit-talking controversy stir.
What?
Father of 10.
What?
5-time COVID survivor.
What?
AJ Hawk.
Yeah. A lot of times.
AJ, appreciate you joining us like you do every single day. Talks the tables here at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs is here. All the boys in the back, Foxy, ZD Baby, Nikki Nuzini, Dirty's back there, Bill's here, Mitt's here, CFO Phil's writing stuff, Tim's piping the walls.
Oh, yeah.
And joining us now is a man who owns the YouTube page Cut To It, which is a podcast in which he cuts to it about football alongside, we believe, Coley, who is formerly at Barstool, who we are big fans of. Ladies and gentlemen, NFL legend, icon, NFL Network game day kickoff host, Steve Smith Sr.
Yeah, Steve!
What's up, dude?
Hey, good morning or good afternoon. What is yes? I'm still stuck. I'm still defrosting from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I was about to say, I saw you working on Christmas Eve. Thank you for working Christmas
Steve.
Eve, Steve. It looked like you were having a blast over there in Pittsburgh, Steve.
Yeah, no applause needed. It was
That fucking hat you had. Hey, you look so cool. Everybody was at home enjoying Christmas Eve with their families, you know, having food. It was nice.
not this good.
Yeah, no, we turn on TV. Colleen looks like she is ice cold.
Yeah.
Get me out of here. Then you literally standing at certain times because there wasn't a seat, freezing your ass off, stole the show. So we appreciate you entertaining us on Christmas Eve. Let's talk about that game and then let's lead into some others. The Steelers, you think they got a shot? They can win out here, make it into the playoffs. Obviously, Pittsburgh isn't expecting to win the Super Bowl this year, but with Kenny Pickett and that team with Tomlin, you think they got a shot next 2-3 years to get back into the conversation of like championships and maybe being at that top group or not?
I think with Mike Tomlin, he's a fantastic coach, but I think offensively they're held back a little bit. Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator, he leaves a lot to be desired on the offensive side.
What you say? You said Saturday-looking offense there for the Steelers.
Saturday-ish.
Yeah,
Saturday-ish.
Great description. Yeah. Explain to people what you meant there about college, pretty much.
Just Saturday-ish, is really. I'm really trying to work on not being completely disrespectful to people. It makes it very difficult to do my job and go into locker rooms. Going to the training camp because they're like, hey, they're keeping receipts on things that I say. But I'm also trying to just be honest. This is a $1 billion industry. And when you have guys who are making whatever the amount of money they're making, and they have the label of offensive coordinator, and you have Kenny Pickett, you have George Pickens, you have Najee Harris, you have so many good players on your team, Deontay Johnson, and yet your offense, for 57 minutes looks very pedestrian. Sometimes it's just hard to figure that out. I'm trying to figure out why. And by watching a game plan to seal a game with Hayward, that the ghost or the end around jet sweep, it was an outstanding play. But you got to have some of those plays as well throughout the game to be able to kind of you don't always want to go down to the wire, right? That kind of football is that's that heart attack football.
Cardiac.
No, heart attack. It's heart attack football.
Got it. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah, I just want to watch a game and know that this team is going to show up, and they show up. But sometimes they're playing with this offense the way it's called. It doesn't seem to come with a rhythm. It doesn't seem to come with a clear cadence. At times, it's very predictable. And you're talking about now a division that has Joe Burrow, Joe Cool. You have whenever Lamar Jackson comes back, and then if Deshaun Watson, whenever he feels his way through and completely masters that offense when playing, I think that Kenny Pickett can really thrive. But you got to have a better offense coordinator in my personal. And, some people don't agree, but my 16-year professional opinion.
Well, you certainly said that guy stinks, and you're not the only one that's saying the same thing. All of Pittsburgh's saying that as well. So they're thankful that somebody who played for as long as you did, as important to the game as you are, is saying exactly what they've been thinking, because it means a lot more coming from you. And we understand people keeping receipts, but sometimes those people keeping receipts need to do better at football as opposed to keeping receipts, so we wouldn't say you stink. That's not on us. That's on them, Steve. You keep being Steve. We would all need that. Go ahead, AJ.
Steve, let's head out to Denver. They just fired their head coach. Russell Wilson is there, got paid a ton of money.
What
year. Happens? Who do they bring in, and what do they do with Russell Wilson and the rest of this team?
See, I think I'm trying to head to that training camp next year.
Cut to it. No, cut to it.
I got to tightrope this thing. I got a Pink Panther, and I got to tiptoe. Well, obviously, it did not work out for Nathaniel Hackett for whatever reason. Watching Russell Wilson in Seattle, you would assume that things would have become instantly better, but unfortunately, it has not. We're not sure why. We could speculate. There's people that are putting up images of Russell, what he looked like a couple of years in Seattle, what he looks like now when you get older. But I think there's what'd you say?
What's that? I haven't seen those images. What are you saying?
You know what I'm talking about.
No, cut to it, man. What are you talking about? What are you saying?
Hey, when people get a little bit older, even for myself,
me too.
No matter how you work out, when you indulge in Thanksgiving, you can't just get in the steam room a little bit. Sometimes you got to do a little bit more work.
I didn't know that was being said. That is something being said. I actually didn't know that. I thought that's what you were alluding to because you're Pink Panthering around, but I did not know that that's what people were saying.
I just think he's different. I think he's a different Russell Wilson in Seattle. I think the biggest issue is in Seattle. When we talk about top tier quarterbacks, we talk about the offense, right? What kind of offense do they bring? How do they command the offense? He doesn't seem to command this offense. He's not the captain of the ship when steering this offense. When you talk about top tier quarterbacks, what you expect, and I believe Russell Wilson is a top tier quarterback. Unfortunately, the offense is not top tier either.
You think he'll remain top-tier quarterback going forward, or you think those days are behind him?
I think whoever the new coordinator, whoever the new coach is, I think it could really help him get back on track.
What about that locker room, Steve? Hey.
That locker room's interesting right now.
Yeah. How do they fix that? I think that's our biggest question.
Leadership.
Yeah, you think so?
It's your head coach. Your head coach, right? And the guys that they bring in with them, the defense coordinators, the assistant coaches, like all of that is going to contribute on how fast the turnaround is.
Man, because those new coaches are going to come in, they're going to ask questions. They're like, hey, what was it like last year? And I feel like there's going to be a lot of
it's going to be a lot of dry snitching.
I think so. And I think that's going to be a tough culture to get back in there. Doug Peterson talked about having to build up the trust between the players and coaches back in Jacksonville, and it seems like he's been able to do that. A lot of that's going to have to happen again, but I think with the quarterback as well, not only just with the coaches, but with the quarterback, somebody will be able to figure it out. Richie Soner in the NFL. They'll pay enough, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They will.
You're talking about, all you have to do is have a heartbeat to be able to build up a better culture in Jacksonville compared to what it wasn't very hard. Just, actually know what you're doing.
Fly back on the plane.
Don't kick your kicker, right? Things like that.
That charge got dropped, I will say. Connor, your question for Steve.
Yeah, Steve, kind of another interesting quarterback situation, but in a better way is with the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, they can win now, but what do you think they would do if it's, Purdy, Jimmy G, and Trey Lance all healthy? Do you think they have to...
What happens with Purdy here?
Yeah, what happens
No,
with Purdy?
you. What happens this season? For this situation for
far do they
Steve,
go?
what do they do this year so Purdy?
I mean, I think they go to the NFC Championship. At
Lose
least.
or win?
I'll say lose because the Eagles.
Okay, so there's so he gets Purdy takes him all the way to the NFC Championship. Jimmy G's contract's up, right?
Yes, free agent.
Yeah,
And-
Jimmy G's out of there.
and Trey
Jimmy
still
G has, he's not going to stick around for that. I don't think so.
So now it's just Trey or Purdy. What are you doing?
Well, they go into training camp, with the open competition, of course. And I think Purdy keeps throwing those pretty passes. Trey Lance has not really shown us, when he was starting before he got hurt. I never want to see ill will on someone, but I think the injury was the best thing for him because it doesn't expose that the lack of football that he hasn't played was going to rear his ugly head at the expense of his teammates in that offense.
What do you think about Christian McCaffrey's trade over there? Obviously, he doesn't make the Pro Bowl. You know Christian from his time in the Panthers, and obviously you're around the NFL. So you know everybody. He just immediately getting dropped into the number one, basically important role on offense was wild to think about how smooth it was. Just like, hey, this guy gets traded for, and then, hey, he's getting the ball, he's throwing the ball, he's catching the ball. Our team's already good, but now they get even better out of nowhere. Why has it worked, you think? And what do you know about Christian that made you think, like, yeah, this is going to work no matter where he ends up at?
It's going to work no matter where it ends up just because of the way Christian plays. Second generation of football, understands the ins and outs of ball, how it works. He's not in a position that, he could just be one-dimensional. He brings a lot to the table. So that doesn't surprise me. And I was happy for him based off what he presents. And then also, too, the shelf life of any running back. And then you add what Christian does. He puts more tread on the tires. You see what this offense looks like with him. When they get, if they can get Debo back full strength in the playoffs, man, this would be a dangerous team. And Brandon Ayuk is doing really good as well. He's coming along.
Hey, their defense, Steve, I watch them play out at
Their defense is scary.
Dude.
Their defense is scary.
They talk shit too. They're faster than everybody.
Everybody does. Don't fool yourself.
No, I know everybody. Not everybody. I think you were great at it, but I feel like a part of their culture is I love watching them play live. It was incredible.
I mean, when you hitting people like they're hitting people and flying around, I mean, you got to talk disrespectful for it. I mean, you going out there, especially with Fred Warner, you going out there knocking you out, making a forced fumble. I mean, you're gonna get a look and to say something just because you have to build up that doubt into that player. So when the third or fourth quarter comes, when you really need him to shut it down, you can shut it down on him.
That's what shit talking was to you?
A little bit. I just enjoyed. I shouldn't have, but it was a head game for me. But also too, it was more of just getting guys to understand who they are. I'm a people watcher anyway, so I would just say little things just to kind of see how they respond.
You're trying to get them to quit though?
Oh, definitely. It's nothing better than you blocking a guy, and he's like, all right, plays up, and making a guy quit. When you can make a guy quit, it's just something about that.
Yeah, you loved it, man. Seems like you enjoyed it.
Hell yeah.
Oh, Steve.
Hey, Steve, what about let's
keep
real
talking
quick.
shit. We don't
Baker
need you
Mayfield.
Pink Panthering around, okay? We don't need that, okay? Come on. You're like one of the most prolific shit talkers in the history of sport.
We need that.
We need that.
But that's what gets me in trouble because people know me for that. So when I actually do analyst work, they're like, "Oh, he's an idiot. He's just." I had somebody say he looks like a douche. Like I don't know what that.
I hear that all the time. I am not you though. Go ahead, AJ. We need you to keep it. Hey, keep going though, Steve. Come on.
Steve, what do you make of Baker Mayfield? What he's doing in LA right now?
Speaking.
Where do you think he plays next year? Is he going to be a starter?
per my internal contract with myself and my heart, I refuse to answer that question under the premise that it may incriminate me.
Balling right now for the
Fair
Rams.
enough.
Hey, he's balling. Huh? Balling.
That's fair enough. That's a good
51.
question.
Oh my God, they hung
Slinging
51.
on that.
He's fucking taking shots.
Bucket.
He is balling. Not even having a sleeve. We're talking photographic memory. Jumps in there, bang. We're gonna do some college stuff. Slinging, all her headbutting. Oh, balling,
Rams
dude.
are a playoff team.
Balling, Steve. Think about if he was there for the whole season.
Yeah, it'd be the 1 seed.
Oh, he's balling, Steve.
MVP.
Maybe.
Yeah, Steve.
I'm not falling for this.
I'm not your puppet. I am not your puppet. It has been amazing to watch.
Bro, I'm not doing it. I refuse. I refuse.
Hey, look at you. Look at this guy.
Yep. Wow.
Hey, you got SSFF 10 years over your right shoulder there? Is this a project?
No, that's my foundation. What is it? Oh, yeah.
10-year anniversary.
Yeah, our 10-year anniversary. So it's pretty dope.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah.
Making the world a better place. That's what we're talking about. Look at you.
Positivity.
He has a deal with himself. Yeah. I'm not even getting in it anymore. Okay? If it comes up, everybody else can talk about it.
Yep.
I don't have to. Hey, Steve, you don't have to talk about it anymore. That's the deal you made with yourself.
Yeah, I'm not going down that road, bro. Stop it.
Tone has a question for you, Steve. That's awesome.
Steve, explain it to me? Like, do you think it's cockiness or the Ravens wide receiver situation? Like, they just think Lamar can do it without having any wide receivers, or what? I mean,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on with that deal. Man, it's that's why I'm glad I'm not playing football anymore. You know, some of those challenges in life, they're extremely difficult.
Hey, try to explain it though for some people. Like, for instance, Lamar's got business going on right now. Lamar's got a lot of business going on right now. A lot of money, big money. He's going to get franchise tagged. Everybody's assuming for the next 2 years. He'll end up having like 110 million or 105 million over those 3 years. You see what happens with Deshaun. That's something that I think Lamar does have to bring up whenever he's in negotiation representing himself. It's like, you guys get rid of Hollywood Brown, makes a big play for Arizona last night. Now, is that enough whenever he was there? We don't think so. But that's a part of the negotiation as well, on how much is on his shoulders versus what he's working with. That all comes into play, doesn't it? Don't you think Lamar can, since he's representing himself?
Well, I just think at times, you know, each situation is different. You know, you never know which guys, what their threshold are or is, or what are they looking for, why they're looking for a certain amount. We don't really know. We could speculate. We could say, oh, they offered him this and he should be doing that. But at the end of the day, he knows everybody has a number. And, whatever his number is, that's what his number is. He hasn't revealed it to us. But I do think this offense needs to adapt and needs to change. You're always talking about, the running back position, the quarterback position, running the football, what it can do, what it can't do. It's showing with Lamar Jackson, this offense is different. So it does add the value to, for what he is and what he deserves. And that's the going rate. So you either got to pay the man or franchise tag him and deal with the consequences at some point.
Wasn't Greg Roman getting love at the beginning of this year?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He was getting like a lot of love. Yeah. Why was that? Was that on purpose? Was there a reason for that? Are they different now than they were at the beginning of the year, or is it the same shit?
It's the same offense. It's really the same offense. I'm not really sure. I think I heard some reports that bringing in someone else to interview. I don't know how much further the Greg Roman offense can last there in Baltimore. At whether you're a good offense coordinator or bad offense coordinator, you're going to have these roller coasters where you're going to have to adjust and make some improvements, or eventually, it's going to cost you your job.
Ravens are 10-5.
Yeah,
so good. Why are they? You got to obviously play over there. That building is just a winning building, winning organization, regardless.
I mean, Mr. Bisciotti knows exactly what he wants. There was Ozzie Newsome, the general manager. Now Eric DeCostas, he's right there. And Eric was under Ozzie for a long time. They have a winning formula. They know what they want. They know what they don't want. And then you talk about football, 32 teams. Not every team knows what they want. Not every team knows how to fit and put pieces in there. But they know what they're doing. They figured it out and have a winning formula for what 10 plus years after winning the Super Bowl, they're still plugging away.
10-5, no wide receivers, backup quarterback. Yeah. Still
they got wide receivers. They're just not throwing them to them.
Don't use them. Yeah, why do you have dogs if you don't use them?
Mm-hmm.
Use them was the tweet that Hollywood Brown put out. It was lyrics about having dogs and not using them or whatever. And that came after, I think Lamar told Dan Patrick that everybody knows what we're doing.
Yep.
That was like last year, I think, 2 years ago maybe. Yeah. There was like a rough couple weeks there where Greg Roman was publicly getting called out. They stuck with him. They're running the same offense. 10 fucking wins. That's unbelievable. That is teams would die to have 10 wins.
Yeah.
Indianapolis Colts being one of them. Go ahead, Ty, your question for Steve.
Too. Steve, are you surprised how quickly Carolina has turned things around when earlier in the year, everyone was saying, the front office and ownership, they're tanking. They're just looking at who they're going to draft a quarterback next year. And, they could still make the playoffs. And then also, do you think Steve Wilks has done enough to remain the head coach?
I think Steve Wilks has done enough to remain the head coach. Am I surprised at the dramatic turnaround? Absolutely. You hope that a coach, an interim coach, can help make good decisions, and Steve Wilks has. But the way they're doing it with literally the same players that Matt Rule had, I think it's pretty interesting. The same offensive coordinator that everybody's saying is no good. They've done a fantastic job, and I am surprised, right? I really am. You can't say that you saw this coming. Especially with the roller coaster, and then obviously the first game being in LA and what transpired in there.
Steve, I know you haven't commented too much on a lot of these quarterbacks. What about Zach Wilson, his whole journey? Where do you think he'll be next year?
Mike White has been announced eligible to be back to play. He will be the starter going forward.
Yeah. Zach Wilson will not be a Jet, I can tell you that. He could play football. Right, he really can. I just don't think it would be with the New York Jets. His decision making, he makes a bad play worse. And when you're the quarterback and you play like that with bad decisions, he consistently does not show good problem solving skills at the quarterback position. So I don't think he'll be there.
Critical thinking, problem-solving abilities, all very low, it appears, on the film of Zach Wilson. Will he need another shot? Like Sam Darnold's running the option right now down in Carolina. They're having some success. You think Sam Darnold is going to make it after going to Carolina? And do you think Zach Wilson will have the same type of situation elsewhere, or you think he'll fizzle out?
I don't know what Zach Wilson will do. I don't want to sit here and say he'll fizzle out, but I think he needs to work on his game somewhat, right? They benched him trying to help him, trying to do some of the things that they were doing, and then he goes out there and you throw up a ball in quadruple coverage, and that's a tough deal. You could say the quarterback coach. I have people at me on social media talking about the quarterback coach is terrible. The quarterback coach didn't throw the ball into quadruple coverage. The quarterback coach didn't throw the ball behind the receiver. The quarterback coach did not make Elijah Moore disappear on the football field because you won't attempt to pass to him. That goes on the player.
All right. Well, Steve, we appreciate you joining us. Who do you got tonight? Chargers playing the Colts. Chargers favored by 3.5, I do believe. If the Colts get a big-time win, it'll shake up a lot in the AFC playoff picture. How do you see it going, Steve? Huh? How do you see it going?
I've been picking on Jeff Saturday. I love Jeff as a person, but as a coach.
33-zip halftime.
I know it was tough to watch that, and people are getting mad at me because I said he needs to be the first interim head coach to be fired. Right? People are like, "Oh, Steve's racist." I wonder why he doesn't like him. I just think it was a bad deal, man. If someone, people are saying that I was jealous that because nobody's offering me. Well, that would mean I would engage with conversation and dialogue to look at being a head coach. I've coached my sons, two of my kids' flag football team, and I learned very quickly I am not capable of being a head coach of anything. No desire to be a head coach. I don't desire to be a wide receivers coach. I coaching in my future looks as the percentage of me waking up tomorrow being 6'4".
Okay, got it. So you don't want to be a coach. So you are racist then. It's just because he's white? Because Jeff Saturday's a white man?
Well, you can Google me. You know, my wife is from Utah.
No!
She's a few shades lighter than me.
People actually calling you racist because you were going after Jeff?
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah. That's their go-to with me because, I look like the angry black man because I have tattoos, Of course.
Well, Jeff Saturday does look like the white, too. I mean, blue eyes. That hair just sits perfectly on top of his head.
Now I am jealous of the hair, man.
He's beautiful. He's got a good curl up there, too. Listen, can't lose 33 zip after being up 33 zip.
Yeah, I can't do it.
And then you can't give up 33 points in the fourth quarter. It's been a rough couple weeks. I think the Colts win tonight. Steve, your thoughts?
No, I don't think so.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can watch him on Cut To It on YouTube, alongside Coley, I believe, who is a fucking hilarious genius.
Hey, Coley is hilarious.
Hilarious and incredibly smart. Wildly smart.
We're still figuring that part out yet.
All right, so in things then. Smart at things, and maybe not everything. Love you, love the show. Keep talking your shit, Steve. There's a reason you're an icon. It's because of that and how good you were. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Smith Sr. So he started to experience a lot of the stuff that we started to experience.
Feels like it.
Everybody hears everything that you say. That really changes the game. For us, it really hasn't.
No.
We kind of stay in our own little world.
Yeah, it don't.
And but we don't have to go to as many.
Shaking events.
Yeah, he's
on the field.
Yeah, every facility.
On the field for NFL Network. So, it's certainly fascinating when you know exactly what was said about the person, either by you or others that are on your particular program.
You too.
And that person's just right there, and it's like, well, this is going to be a 15, 20 minutes that are certainly going to be uncomfortable, but, I'm mad it was pretty true at the time. When we're around Russell Wilson next, it's going to be interesting.
Well.
A lot of Team 3 chatter. We talked a lot about Team 3.
What do you think?
Does Russ get out and about much? You think you're going to see him at Radio Row?
We did, didn't we? Isn't that where we saw
That's
him?
where we met him.
You saw him at some swanky party outside of it.
No, while we were leaving Radio Row.
No, I saw him at Radio Row because I was working there longer because I went and did every single show that asked me to do it. I did 100 shows after our show on Friday. Awesome. So I was checking out of Radio Row as a thank you for working at Radio Row. And who do I see pull up on a stretch golf cart? Fucking boom. Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
No Team 3, though. Greg Olsen did just get done with a swanky party.
That's right.
Greg Wilson did just get done having a couple old fashions. Greg Olsen did get done having a good old time.
Hell yeah.
I was actually chatting with Greg Olsen. How we doing? Greg's vibes are immaculate.
Great guy.
Greg also built like fucking Captain America.
Yeah.
Big son
Very
bitch.
big, very strong, very handsome. Everything about him is like, oh, this guy's a leading man.
Yeah,
this guy's a leading man right here. And then all of a sudden that thing pulls up, the golf cart with Russ, no Team 3. And Greg Olsen knows him, obviously, because Greg's a tough. So Greg introduces himself. Now I'm standing like a buffoon all by myself. So I have to go in and introduce. Russ, how you doing, man? Very nice to meet you.
Of course.
We might ask you to come on the show at some point. If we do, feel free to turn us down. We appreciate you or whatever. Super nice, super kind, says something good, and we get on our way. So I had met him. I had run into him after working. Okay? Working.
It was in the parking lot, AJ.
Couple of things.
First class ass
I don't
sniffer.
think he's going to be making it this year to Radio
Details.
Row.
Bet.
He might. Yeah.
And
Sleep number? You
I
don't
was
think?
going to say he will be sitting on the sleep number set all week.
And number two, are you sure?
Danger witches are going to be the food of
I
Radio
could have swore
Row.
I saw his Team 3 handshake guy come up and say, hey, this is a handshake from Russ. He's not allowed to handshake people.
No, he wasn't. That's what I'm saying, though. There was no Team 3. It was literally just him.
Russell.
He was isolated. Yep. It's almost like he was set up. Now that we're learning about Team 3, I don't know how he ended up being all by himself like that.
Had his mask on, too.
2 of them.
He chewed someone's ass later for fucking. He showed up, no Team 3s there. Oh God, someone got an earful.
He had to talk to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, drunk Olsen was there. He was cool, but then this other thing.
Yeah, who's that other fucking
I had
guy?
to shake his hand with my own hand.
A little bit of a fatso. Yeah, this hand had to shake his hand. Could you imagine?
What is this? Throwing touchdowns.
There was no one standing around to give me Purell.
I actually don't know if I think we fist bumped with I don't think there was palm to palm.
Oh,
I believe it was a fist bump.
Hug.
I think it was a fist bump, pat on the back.
how you
Closed
doing?
fist though, because I didn't want to.
Nothing touches that palm but a pigskin.
In the prayer book.
And
And his dong whenever he's had a long day and he needs to get a couple demons out.
And the danger witch, I think is what you were saying.
I was talking about the danger witch,
Yep.
but
His football.
we're talking about the danger dong too, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck.
Dorsal fin.
I don't know if he ever touched that dorsal fin.
No, never. He's never thrown
That thing's awesome, though.
It is awesome. Somebody threw
Where
a
is it?
heater with it yesterday. It's probably in a hole because it was thrown perfectly.
I thought it broke one of the pipes because it hit the wall so hard.
All right, let's take a break. And on the other side, we'll give our predictions for this evening. We'll cover the games we haven't chatted enough about. And then we'll have an incredible Overreaction Monday on December 26th, 2022. It's already December 26th. Week 16 is wrapping up tonight.
Wild.
18 weeks in a regular season. College football playoffs this weekend. Semifinals this weekend. College football.
Crazy. We're already here, man. Christmas is over. It's a good time, though. This is when everything means a lot, so it's good.
It does. Everything does mean a lot. It's very important. Like both football and life, everything seems to mean more around this time of year. But today is the observed Christmas for the business folks, so we're still in Christmas.
Not over yet.
What does that mean?
So everybody got off work today.
If a holiday
Is it like
falls on the
is it a
weekend.
federal?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Christmas
Nice.
landed on a Sunday.
So Monday, boom, you're off. Because we're not going. We got to at least pay tribute to Jesus' birthday with one work day. Put it on Sunday. It's too far from Friday.
That's right.
It's got to be closer to Monday. Fucking 26th off.
God, if it was Saturday, the Friday. would have been
Friday.
observed.
Well, Friday would have been Christmas Eve. So would Thursday have?
No, it
Ooh,
just,
that's a
it
good
would've been
question.
Just tough year for the fucking office folks.
Because, no, last year.
Office folks, hope you're at home having a good time.
Yep. Enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Go to the bathroom without having to ask and stuff like that.
Yep.
Fucking little bit of freedom. And then New Year's coming up, so all you got to do is just really survive 4 days.
You got this.
And then you're good, because then you got an observed New Year happening next Monday.
Absolutely.
Bingo.
So let's go. Let's have a fucking week.
Here we go. Woo!
All right, Overreaction Monday continues on the other side. We'll get tweets from around the internet that Ty picked up. We'll do our predictions. We'll cover the games we haven't chatted about enough. And we'll continue to celebrate Matt Money Smith's incredible putting ability. Be a friend, tell a friend. Take 5! Punt return to win the game.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if they were trying to kick that ball out of bounds or they were saying, hey, just got to cover a kick. Let's cover a kick. We are a team that practices. We have a good punter. We got to do our thing. They're on the 32-yard line. He hits a bomb, end over end, right down the middle of the field. Not high enough, certainly far enough. A lot of field to have to defend. One cut, hit the wall, boom. Punter misses, and all of a sudden the New England Patriots, in a game that was 3-3 all the way until there was 8 seconds left in the fucking game.
Hell yeah.
Win with a punt return, and obviously that's Belichick. Belichick talking about it afterwards, knowing that this is how this game was going to be. The Jets are always a tough team. We're prepared. We're ready. They get a win. They're still in the playoffs. The Jets are almost dead now, with Zach Wilson saying after the game that he does not feel like he's let down the defense.
No.
Have you feel like you let down anybody? No. It moves on.
As an offense, though, I mean, when you guys are only able to score 3 points, the defense only lets up 3 points. I mean, do you feel like you let the defense down at all? No.
Well, he had 2 yards of offense in the second half. Garrett Wilson, wide receiver for the Jets, rookie, said, hey, that's horseshit.
This shit's not okay. You know what I mean? Straight up, it's not okay. We had how many total yards we had?
100, a little over 100.
Yeah, that shit's not gonna fly. So
Bob Sala asked about it. He says, that's dog shit.
Yeah, it's dog shit.
Zach Wilson says, no,
no,
we'll move on. We'll gritty right through this whole thing. I feel like there's a chance that Zach's about to get packed and move on for the other team, not only because the defense probably heard that and is not happy about it, not only because Bob Sala has openly said that the offense that he is running is dog shit, but because there's a veteran sitting in that building.
Goddamn
that
right.
is ready to take over those young bucks and maybe get them on a run. But nonetheless, the Patriots get a win.
A couple weeks ago, we're talking about how the Jets were awesome. You know, they're going to go on and be a good team. They're not. They're terrible. They're 6-4, but they're terrible. Possibly the worst 6-4 team in the history of the NFL.
Jeez,
now, on the Patriots side of things, yeah, sure, we only scored 10 points, and 7 of them came with 10 seconds left in the game, but that was the game plan the entire time. Bill knows.
Get it to the fourth.
Get it to the fourth, be in the game, and then let's just make sure they punt the ball with less than a minute left, and then we'll go down and score and, walk this thing off. And that's exactly what we did.
I've sent some text messages to the Jets building to try to get a heads up on what they were trying to do. Were they trying to have him kick this out of bounds? It doesn't appear as if that was the case. I think it was hey, we need to go cover a kick. Let's go cover a kick. Let's get to overtime here as much as we can because you can't get into field goal range, even though Folk had missed a couple already on the day. We have to to be able to flip the field with how much time was left and the Patriots having one timeout and Matt Patricia doing his thing. It's easy to say just kick it out of bounds, but if he kicks it out of bounds at the 35 or the 40, and then they have one timeout and they get in a field goal range and they lose 6-3, there's still going to be a conversation. So until I know what exactly they were thinking and why they were thinking it, that late block. And I appreciate them not calling that.
Yes, good no call. I agree because he wasn't going to make the tackle before he scored, so I agree it was a good no call. I see that they tried to claim it was not a block in the back. I believe it was.
Yeah, certainly a block in the back, but the NFL has come out and said, oh, it's from the side or whatever. And I think the NFL is coming to say on the side, like, come on, that guy wasn't going to make the play. None of that really matters. But by the rule book, if we're going to start doing that, let's start making some more common sense calls in games in important fashion. Also, must remember, they're in field goal range there, blocking the back. They're still in field goal range.
Yes.
Nick probably still lose the game. Definitely the biggest and best game to date this particular NFL season was the Minnesota Vikings traveling up to Buffalo. Patrick Peterson putting the game away with an interception. I believe Josh Allen's like 0 for 4 in his last 4 overtime games. Not great. But here in the end, 2nd and 10, minute 15 left, down 3. Josh Allen throws a pick to Patrick Peterson going into the game. We didn't know if Josh Allen was going to be playing or not. He looked healthy to me. He looked like he was able to throw the ball. He got hurt when he was trying to punch out a terrible interception from the other team. I guess he got re-hurt, but he went back on the field. The fumble at the goal line at the very end of the game is obviously nightmare fuel forever. Chris Sims kind of apparently said that the center maybe had a bad snap. It's always interesting to see whose fault it was, because who knows? But nonetheless, in a gotta-have-it situation, the Vikings get a touchdown on the defensive side of the ball after Kirk Cousins gets stopped on a goal line stand by the Buffalo Bills, in which the Buffalo Bills defense was supposed to put a picture of it on the fucking wall in the building, where they had 2 tries from a fucking inch line and did not make it in. Instead, Vikings get a touchdown on a bobbled exchange. Shout out to A.Q. Shipley and Drew Stanton. Then Josh Allen goes right down the field. Now, Gabe Davis's catch, allegedly, Walt Anderson says, not an actual catch. We should have stopped it and reviewed it. Yeah, you should have. You're the only people that can do it in under 2 minutes. Why is that a thing? Bill Belichick's asking a question. We're all echoing the same sentiment. Can't have this happen, especially in the biggest game of the year. The Vikings and the Bills, 2 wagons playing each other. The Vikings are very new to being the team in the NFC North, but the entire country needs to recognize that they are the team in the NFC North and a problem. This can't happen. Obviously, Walt Anderson said this is an incompletion and they would have overturned it. And who knows what happens on 3rd down. Will the Bills get in? Who knows? Vikings get stopped with like 40-some seconds left at the goal line, staying there. Damn. What a win for the Bills. Yeah, 48 seconds left. What a win for the Buffalo Bills. And then a Colts game starting at the same time.
Yeah.
So I flip over to the Colts game at that time. Other TV has Red Zone on it. All of a sudden, they're back there again with the Vikings thing. I'm like, holy shit. I think the world just has to recognize that this is a new Vikings team. This is not the old Vikings team. This is a new Vikings team. And I think a lot of it revolves around Justin Jefferson is different. Everybody knows he's different. Defenses look to guard him different. 193 yards yesterday and a tud, including this 4th and 18 catch that is going to go down as a catch of the year. Even with Diggs' catch earlier in this game, Justin Jefferson taking that thing right out of Lewis's hands and then somehow keeping it off the ground there, into his stomach. 4th and 18, got to have it down for it. I mean, what a play, what a game. This dude's different, AJ. This dude is different, and it's awesome to watch.
Hey,
What?
let's go!
This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Boston
Shut the fuck up!
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, okay? The FanDuel Thunderdome. On this Overreaction Monday, December 26, 2022, Hour 4 starts right now. Football! He's wrapping up its 16th week, and the man that refused to say it splits the screen with me every single day. He's a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup champion, obviously overall ass kicker. Ladies and gentlemen, the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, AJ Hawk.
Yeah.
Talks the tables here at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer. Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs is here. We can't thank you enough for joining us. All the boys in the back are doing a great job. Obviously, Billy's coding for YouTube right now.
Bud.
And Mitt is doing his thing, and CFO Phil and Gumpy are kicking ass. And Tim is restructuring the Thunderdome as we speak to make sure that the pipes that were literally placed basically outside that control our water are maybe redone with a little bit of furnishing around them. A little thermal wrap
Makes
around
sense.
them. AJ.
I mean, what would you do if you didn't have Tim there? For real.
That's I don't know if we have enough time, to give a full answer. You know what I mean? I don't know.
He keeps you safe. He fixes things.
Of course.
He's great. He can do anything you need.
He is a handyman. He's incredible at that. But anybody who has a handyman knows that when you hire the handyman's going to do it the handyman's way. Okay, so that is how it is. Working with your dad, not necessarily the easiest thing, especially if you are in the boss position and the dad is not, because there's always the, I know better than you do and I'm doing it. And then I'm just asking questions like, probably easier though. Maybe, but that's not the way he wants to do it. So what would we do without Tim? We wouldn't be live. We wouldn't be on air. We need Tim.
Yes.
But also, if it was another handyman, probably easier conversations to get through. You know what I mean? Some other things. So I love him. I'm thankful he's here. He kicks ass. But there is certainly an added element to working with your father every single day on a place that is being built actively throughout the day that he works on. So
that's right.
Well said.
It is quite
complicated.
It is quite a juggle, but I fucking love him. Thankful for him. And the way he was dressed on that Friday was amazing.
All time.
He had 55 layers on. That dude was walking in looking like a gnome through this thing.
Overalls.
You had to fix the gate right now. -9. Have to fix it right now, which is another thing. Like, hey, do we need to do this right now? Yeah, it's easy. Just go do the
simple.
Okay, now he's got the sniffles. Now it's a full thing. Now it's a whole. This is what it is. Hard-working fucking guy.
Oh, yeah. Grinder.
Absolutely. To the day he dies, he will be a bloodhound. Basically, you know how they just sniff until they die.
That's right.
Bingo.
That is what Tim is when it comes to work. Like, I am just going to work, and I'm going to work, and this is how I'm going to do it, which I love and I appreciate. And then there's some things where it's like, Tim, I feel like we're doing it the wrong way here, Tim. And I'm not going to get listened to. I am not going to get heard. So it's a balance, but we appreciate the fuck out of Tim. Let's move on. Tonight's game, AJ. We'll wrap up Week 16. And whenever we talk about them having Sunday on Saturday for Christmas Eve, and then 3 games on Christmas with, before the season, projected great games, instead just kind of, who gives a fuck? The Packers obviously get a massive win over the Dolphins on Christmas, which is huge for the Packers. And I think Dolphins-Packers, you have Aaron Rodgers on TV and you have McDaniel on TV. We'll put them as the first game just as a lead up to what could be throughout the Christmas day. So I understand the schedule makers projecting. This is what they have to do on Thursday nights as well, which is why some Thursday games are nowhere near as good as they could be. Did you enjoy them putting 45 games on at 1 o'clock at Christmas Eve and then 2 games at 4 o'clock? I thought they really did their fans a disservice. Like, I was watching, like, Red Zone, and I had TV up here, and we obviously had the family over for food and gifts and everything. And as I was watching, like, fucking trying to keep up with it all, I was like, why is the NFL making me feel like a terrible person right now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why? Like, I have to go over here. So I had to rewatch them all with NFL Plus. I had to rewatch all the games, so shout out to NFL Plus. But I thought they did that wrong. And I don't know what they were projecting or thinking, but I think the scheduling was not necessarily as accurate as it should have been or could have been for the Christmas being an NFL Sunday for the first time in like a long time, personally. Don't you agree with that or no?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was awesome that there was games on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Now, the NBA,
we all do.
Screwed by all of this. The NBA, no question, hates it because I'm sure their ratings were down compared to what they normally were on Christmas Day. I love that the games were there, but yeah, you think they could have just split up more and had more at the 4 o'clock hour?
Yeah, just so it's not like a full fucking,
yeah.
We're taking a fire hose in and you have to keep up with it all while it's Christmas Eve. A lot of things happen on Christmas Eve as well. Now, For the last couple of years, a doctor in prominent position told us Christmas should not happen. And then this year, obviously, fucking Winter Storm Elliott told us Christmas shouldn't happen. But I think enough people saw what Elliott was and said, you know what? Definitely very cold, definitely stormy conditions, but this is a snowstorm. This is classic winter storm. Nothing very, I mean, it was cold as fuck. Some grids
Not
weren't
as
able
much snow as normal, though. We get a lot more snow the other times.
Yeah, so do we. I guess through Columbus, Nick drove back. You guys had some real shit on the roads, though. There was like 15 cars he set off.
There's a nasty pile up that happened, yeah, like on the highway. Semis, everything. Yeah, it was terrible.
50, I think. I think it was 50 cars, I think, maybe.
God damn.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what it was. So we're not saying that it wasn't a storm. Certainly a storm. But anybody that grew up into cold has seen snow, cold weathers, ice, slick conditions. Like, this is kind of status quo, and I think it will be forever in a lot of cold places. Maybe not around Christmas, because there is, you know, sometimes late December it's warmer than it normally is, because that's the ebbs and flows of the Doppler. You know, we know that.
Exactly.
But I think once people saw it, they decided to do their Christmas. Christmas Eve is a lot of people doing shit. So for them, the way they set it up, I just thought it was difficult to watch. I thought it was a much more difficult thing to watch this week than maybe it could have been. But hindsight's 50-50. I'm looking at it through a view of after it's already been done, as opposed to having to project it 8 months or 9 months in advance, so we won't judge it. But the games, there were some good ones, dude.
Yeah,
there were some
it's awesome.
good games this weekend. Like, as I'm watching it, I'm like, didn't expect this game to be good. Didn't expect this game to be good. How about the Texans getting a fucking win over the Titans? Not just covering, right? I thought they'd cover 3.5. I thought they would make it be a game, because they did to the Cowboys and to the Chiefs, and the Titans were reeling a little bit, losing 5 straight now. They were losing 4 going in. Thought the Texans, they win 19-14. What the fuck is going on in Tennessee, AJ? What is going on down there?
I mean, is it 5 now? 5 straight now?
Yeah. I do.
Tannehill's out for the year. Malik Willis is the guy moving forward. Yeah, like you talk about how fast it can change from bad to good, good to bad. Like that's life in the NFL. This sucks for Ravens and the Titans team. Let's see if they can still salvage the season, right? If they win out, figure something out.
They're still in it. The Jags, they got the Jags last week of the year. Everybody's thinking that'll be for the AFC South, which it probably will be. But the Titans have the Cowboys this weekend, and they have to win, I think, to make that last game mean something. If the Jags go on to win, there's a lot of obviously things that can happen, which is great for the NFL, great for those of us that talk about the NFL. But like the Titans out of nowhere became a fucking game. I wish I would have been able to watch it more clear and live in the moment, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and especially on like New or Christmas Eve when like you mentioned, everyone is around. Like I understand only having one primetime game, but like they even could have like sprinkled, like there could have been like 3 games that kicked off at 7:00. Because you could just like extend Red Zone and have it later on at that night. And I understand like NBC's playing It's a Wonderful Life and like all the shit that they always do on Christmas Eve, but they really could have done like a 5-5-3 or something like that to make it more palatable and like actually be able to follow it.
But let's not bitch.
Right. Right.
Okay. We have football.
Do they ever have a bunch of games in the 4:00 hour though?
Yeah. There'll be 4 or 5.
4 or 5's the max.
Yeah,
who knows? Ty's probably right. Honestly, it's like the programming that they've already have set up of their Christmas movies and stuff going on.
2 4:00 games are good games. Let's not get crazy. They were 2 good games, but I thought we could have sprinkled a couple appetizers with that one, so it's a little bit more. You know, and this is we're talking very selfishly as people that go watch the whole league as opposed to just our team.
See Romo and Nance? They had goofy sweaters on.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Did you watch the Nickelodeon cast?
Unfortunately, I had to go back and see a lot of the cast afterwards.
Just say you didn't watch it.
Around. I didn't watch it live. No, I went back and watched some clips of the Nickelodeon.
So I watched it. I gave it a go for a bit. I enjoyed it. I enjoy the concept of it.
Yeah.
I enjoy like I don't understand any of it. I was actually, as I was watching it, I'm like, oh, like all goes well. I have a baby coming up. I'm probably going to have to learn about a lot of this stuff and the way it all goes. And I didn't know about it. They had the star Patrick
Star,
live.
Yeah.
They had that
sweet
cutting promos,
green screen,
commentating. Bobby Wagner's pick of Russell Wilson. While it's happening, Patrick the star is fucking commentating it. Yeah. He is the one doing play-by-play. That was a cool moment, huh? That was a cool moment.
I don't know who that is.
Nate,
but yeah.
The star, he's
SpongeBob,
dude.
His name's Patrick. The only reason why I know is because West Virginia, when I'd make a field goal, SpongeBob would pop on the square one. That's SpongeBob.
That's SpongeBob.
Would say, good one, Patrick. And it was the star that would pop up on the screen.
And he was Patrick.
His name's Patrick. Patrick speaks in a very...
Yeah, monotone kind of.
Yeah, he's a doofus.
He's He was commentating the game. I thought that was hilarious. I laughed at that as that was taking place. I'm like, this is smart. They had a full rig on him. They had a phone on him with a filter, and then he was FaceTiming, I think, with the filter on top of it, the human that plays Patrick. So they had a behind-the-scenes look at it. Yeah, here it is. That guy live in person watching the game.
That's cool.
As if it's a megacast. Patrick, that was good.
Yeah. That was sweet.
That was good.
Yeah.
And then I saw a full Top Gun trailer at halftime on Paramount Plus. That was awesome. I enjoyed the games, the gimmicks, trying to enlighten other things. It was a fun game.
Yeah.
It was a blowout, but it was fun.
Yeah, Santa was on the field. I can't believe I took his over, bro, but it was still cool to have
That was a
him on the
FanDuel
field.
tweet for sure. FanDuel hitting home
Donald
runs.
Snowman was there.
They dumped a blizzard on a section.
Yeah.
Just
It was
fucking tried to hit him with an avalanche.
Yeah.
Smoked him.
It was awesome.
I didn't know it was happening in real time. I was just watching the normal broadcast.
Yeah, you missed out.
Your problem.
You missed out on fun.
It was my problem. My kids would have loved it, honestly. They really would have.
All right, let's talk about another game. The Dallas Cowboys obviously beat the Philadelphia Eagles. We had the Philadelphia Eagles plus 4.5 in our Super Boost. It was the only thing that had to hit. The Super Boost was about to hit 2 out of its last 3. I had the full promo ready. I was ready to pop up the camera, start talking shit at my house, go through the Christmas presents, go through the tree, see the family, maybe get the wife in there. Dogs going bananas. But instead, the Philadelphia Eagles literally just hand the ball to the Dallas Cowboys on their own 20 so the Dallas Cowboys can go up 6. Miles Sanders, Booby Sanders, fumble, nobody touching the ball, literally just gives it away. Gives it away. To feed the conspiracy theory that the NFL is rigged, this type of situation takes place where nobody touches them. And he just shoots the ball out. Excuse me.
Oh, yeah. Come on, Miles. Booby.
Thought they were going to recover it right there, too.
Yeah,
Be
63.
okay.
They get 4 hands on it, the Philadelphia Eagles. No offense to the Cowboys. No offense to the Cowboys. They would have walked down here, hit a field goal tied. You guys would have came back and won it, which would have been fine because we only needed Eagles plus 4.5.
right.
So field goal would have been good. That happens. They kick a field goal. They go up 6. It's almost a nightmare situation happening right in front of our eyes. But the thing that really led to it all taking place was a man who we didn't even know was still available at the wide receiver position.
Yeah.
A veteran, a multi-time Pro Bowler, formerly of the Indianapolis Colts, with no team. Signs with the Dallas Cowboys when the Cowboys were supposed to sign OBJ. And here on a 3rd and 30, he gets baptized into the star, introduces himself to the Cowboys. That's what T.Y. has done throughout his entire career, by the way. Deep ball, contested catches, run behind, secondaries, get lost. His nickname is the Ghost for a reason. That's a tough ball to catch.
What a catch. 3rd and 30. Turn that son bitch sideways. A lot of people attacking Darius Slay. Who knows what the coverage was? Hopefully everything DB. We'll break that down by Darius on Wednesday. T.Y.'s a weapon. And as soon as the entire state of Indiana found out that he signed with the Cowboys, the first question was, we had no idea why is T.Y. not with the Indianapolis Colts? T.Y. is beloved here, okay? Beloved here. Long-time player, was on the side of the stadium. Contract's up. I thought he's retired. Signs with the Cowboys. Immediately in game shape.
Yep.
That ball is that's a tough catch. First game in fucking 7 months?
Long time.
So he's been training his ass off, which everybody in Indy knows, shows up at everything in incredible shape, impeccable shape. Great leader, great everything. Huge play, 3rd and 30, first down. That ball's supposed to get punted back to the Eagles.
Yes.
We're supposed to go down and kick a field goal. We're supposed to have that field goal, make it a 3-point change. We're supposed to hit the Super Boost. But instead, now we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott playing their best fucking game, getting a huge win over the Eagles. Micah Parsons being an absolute menace. Are the Cowboys all the way back because of this? And what were your thoughts on the Philadelphia Eagles with Jalen Hurts? Likely, hold on, chance he plays, Ian Rappaport. Not likely, chance he plays this weekend. What are your thoughts on the Eagles going forward and the Dallas Cowboys, AJ Hawk?
I thought Gardner, for the most part, did what he needed to do. And the Eagles, like the 3rd and 30 T.Y. situation, you're right, it's unbelievable how it happened. And if you see at the end, too, he even gets his feet clipped right as he's about to catch this ball, making it even tougher to catch. The dude's awesome. What a moment. How many 3rd and 30s actually get converted in big games and big moments like this?
For a player's first catch with a program against a division rival
right? Remember, Colts Texans, that was our rival there for a bit because the Texans were the only other team winning the AFC South. He'd go for like 180 and 3 tuds against them every time.
Yeah.
That's what TY can do every game. If the offensive coordinator, Kellen, seemingly knows that, right? 3rd and 30, let's go to TY. If they draw, Matt Hasselbeck has like a 3rd and 15 against the Houston Texans, the game where Hasselbeck had E. coli and was almost dead.
Sure.
To win that game, just throw it up to TY. TY's undersized in the eyes of a lot of like big-time deep threat wide receivers. He fucking climbs, though, and he gets the ball. He is a weapon for them. You like the Cowboys going forward after what you saw? They can run the ball. Obviously, Zeke can eat. They can throw the ball. Obviously, Dak has the capability, even though a week ago, Skip Bayless, who's like the most noted Cowboys fan, was saying, give me Cooper Rush back in here. Let's get Cooper. He wasn't the only one saying that type of shit. A lot of people are talking shit on Dak, saying he can't play anymore. Do you have different thoughts on the Cowboys going forward? Do you think they can win this thing, AJ?
Yeah, I still feel good about the Cowboys, and largely because of a guy like Micah Parsons. Like, on defense, he disrupts every single play, it feels like, when you watch them play, when he's playing when he's playing very well and he's healthy. But I like Dak. I know people are down on what they think he throws too many picks and can't figure it out like in the biggest moments, I guess. But I like him.
He threw one right to a defensive end. I mean, that was early in the game, and this is
first time.
Eagles go up 10-zip.
2 through 3 in the fourth quarter.
Last 3 drives.
Yeah,
last 3 boom, 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 including a game winner, game sealer at the end. That's tough for Tua. But yeah, Dak just doesn't see this guy. I guess he's just looking right past him, and oh my God,
thinking he might be able to get over his head.
He did not get,
stiff-armed through there.
I like Mac
because he's not a dirty player.
Man, Mac is dealing with some stuff right now, and I worry about his teammates. Like teammates don't think that stuff's cool when you do that to it looks like you're almost trying to intentionally hurt people. Like you better have a good relationship with that locker room because your teammates do not love that.
Because a lot of your teammates, and I learned this when I would be talking shit to somebody like a defensive lineman, and an offensive lineman would say, "Hey, that's cool. I have to deal with this." Like the thought of you doing that to their team. That means somebody's probably going to try to do that to us. Like that's a
eye for an eye.
And there is it is a big frat though. Like the NFL is a fraternity to where like players, although they hate each other, they're going to yell at each other and get in little skirmishes during the game. Like it is like a frat where you do you're not intentionally trying to end people's career.
Yeah, we're not trying to take people out. We're trying to hit people. If they get knocked out because we hit them hard, cool. But we're not trying to and by we, I'm acting like I'm somebody else other than a punter or kicker, obviously, that has played in the NFL. Nobody's trying to tear anybody's ACLs out there. That is not something. And maybe there are a couple guys. Never at the quarterback position, though, which is why I think it's such an interesting thing. Him clearly kicking this guy in the dick after kicking him in the knee earlier. Yeah. And then the figure 4 leg lock on Brian Burns. And then that side dive after the play. No reason.
No,
Play's
not at
over.
all.
That's just want to take an extra shot at the guy's knees from the side against the Bengals. Eli Apple said he knew it happened or whatever. And Eli, saw it almost.
Yeah, he did.
Eli, braced himself for it. That could have been much nastier than it was, especially if it gets caught up underneath there.
Exactly, yeah.
That's a bad ball. Bill doesn't like that shit either, I don't think, right? As a historian of football, I don't think that's something he necessarily loves.
Exactly, and honoring the game and kind of what the Patriots have done. And I mean, we've talked about it. The football gods are real. You think that if you're playing and doing shit like that the football gods are going to honor you as a team? We were just talking about the Vikings. They're doing everything right. They come back from 33. They, are winning games on 61-yard field goals. This shit is. I mean,
is there another angle? Do we have another angle where we can actually see the aftermath? I'd like to see what happens right when they get up.
I think that's from somebody's cell phone in the building. I don't even know if they have the footage. We should request the footage. I think we did request the plays. I don't know what angles we got there. A lot of plays from this weekend we requested. Yeah. How about Patrick Mahomes, bro? We didn't talk about it enough.
Yeah,
dude,
he's awesome.
Hey, this guy's filthy, bro. Legit.
Yeah. Why is he I feel like they fly under the radar just because they've been good.
They're always good.
5 years.
This is This is what happens. This happens to the people who are great, universally understood to be great. You just don't talk. Georgia this year, for instance, college football. We talked about Georgia maybe 3 times on College Game Day.
Maybe.
I think maybe 3 and 2 of them Kirby Smart was on with us just because it's it's Georgia. Yeah, when the college football playoff comes around, we'll talk about Georgia, whatever. It's like, that's quite an assumption. You know how much hard work it takes to get to that point? Every single day, if you want to be great, like the amount of shit that you have to do to be great is huge. So once you get to a point where you're up there, you're just kind of forgotten about almost. The Chiefs have gotten to that point so quickly in Patrick Mahomes' career because of the success that they've had. They had Kadarius Toney from the Giants, who's obviously the next coming of Tyreek Hill, allegedly. And Tyreek's one of one, so I don't think that's necessarily a true statement. But this guy's explosive. They add weapons. They're building up around Patrick Mahomes. Andy Reid knows how to use everybody. Travis Kelce is still the best tight end to ever play whenever it comes to offensive stats in affecting a game. Him and Patrick Mahomes are on the same exact page all the time, especially when you need it in the fourth quarter. He seemingly is always running wide open. That's because they can't prepare for what he's going to do because he does whatever. Speaking of doing whatever, Patrick Mahomes is going to fucking levitate and score a touchdown and know exactly what he needs to do for this to count as 6. He's talked before about his little bit of speed. I have a little bit of speed. You have a lot more than a little bit of speed, Patrick Mahomes. You're seemingly getting the edge on people all the time. And in this play, he not only gets the edge, he dives, places his left hand perfectly, about a half an inch away from the out of bounds line, balances his whole body while running full speed. Think about just your elbow ripping out completely. Then knowing like, oh, if I hit the outside of this pylon, still good. Boom, nothing touches out of bounds. It's in moments like that when you're a fan of the other 31 teams where you go, that has to be so much fucking fun to have this guy as your quarterback. Chiefs fans know. They went through some hard times, and their super fans are obviously incredibly wild and loyal. Mm-hmm. They got fights in the stands between ready. That's the one. Go back. Boom, you're there. Pause it when he's levitating here. Keep going. Boom. Look how close his fucking hand is from the sideline, balancing his whole body on that, pivoting. He takes off at like the 4-yard line. So what's that, 12 feet? He's trying to reach out there. Flying, then boom, lets the thing play. Genius. Fucking football brilliance, genius. Athleticism through the roof, and a guy that can make every throw, make every read, and he can run a lot better than anybody gives him credit for because he doesn't give credit to himself for his running ability. It'd be so much fun to have that guy as your fucking quarterback, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, you think, and if you on that play earlier from the wide view, you can see Kelce like hooks up right on the goal line, and he has 3 Seahawks all surrounding him right there. Like they knew what they want to do in the red zone. Anytime it really matters, obviously Kelce's the guy.
All right, let's get 6 eyes on fucking Kelce. Okay, that's all we need. We get Kelce, and then we have a spy on Patrick. We got the red zone figured out. Mm-hmm. This is no problem. And Patrick Mahomes gets the edge and fucking levitates and scores a touchdown in the fourth quarter. That's what Patrick Mahomes does. Here's his press conference from after the game talking about that particular play. You can't help but fucking love this human. I wish he was with the Colts so bad. We'll give you $1 billion. I know they gave you $500 million over there. We'll give you $1 billion. Listen to this guy chat.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job. After I looked at it, I realized that they dropped, like my last guy was Juju was wide open in the end zone. But we did a play where we kind of had a front side read where I wanted to either throw a flat to a little hook route to Kelce across the middle, and they covered it well. And I started running, trying to find the edge, and I was able to just get enough of that pylon. I grazed it, and I knew it was close. I grazed it, and I knew the rule that if you touch the pylon, you're good. So luckily enough, I stayed out of bounds and was able to get in the end zone.
Stayed out of bounds.
Yes. No. That was definitely not on purpose, but it shows the wrist is a little strong, and I had a little push-up position. I'm not gonna say I'm the strongest guy in the world, but I've done a little bit to hold myself up.
Yeah, this guy's humility is absurd.
Not that one. There's no way to practice that one. I mean, we do a lot of things to try to put me in different positions to go out there and excel. But at the end of the day, you get down there towards the end zone, and at the late part of these football games, you have to just go out there and be a competitor. And we were able to get it into the end zone on a big drive that kind of helped put the game away.
Love him. Absolutely love this guy. Everything he talks about, whenever he talks about his speed, he's got a little bit of speed. Strength, I got a little bit of strength. This motherfucker works his ass off, dude. Oh, yeah. You know how hard this guy has to work to do all this stuff? And nobody talks about it, AJ. Nobody talks about it.
He's a competitor, man. Like, the dude wants to win. He's an absolute competitor. And I also, like, on a technical question, that whole post-game presser they have, is that the Chiefs doing that, scrolling, like, the tweets underneath and the stats? I think it's a good look.
Whoever we ripped it from, clearly.
Yeah. They should all do that.
Yeah, so it's Chiefs' website.
Yeah. And it scrolls through, like, the stats for the game, too. I like that.
Community America sponsor. Shout out to Community America.
Thank you, Community America.
Also, Geha.
Thank you, Geha.
Yeah, what is that?
Geha?
What's that company?
That's the name of the field, right?
Geha Field at Arrowhead.
What do they do?
Geha?
You know.
Well,
Insurance.
they're mostly known insurance.
Mm-hmm.
These guys sell the best fucking insurance.
Yeah, they do.
In all cases.
Exclusively for federal employees.
He's a
Oh, this is government insurance. Thank you for keeping everybody
Like
safe.
the Gronk commercials?
No, that's,
Or
military.
Yeah, come on. FAA.
He was an elf on the Nickelodeon. Hey, anyways, Patrick, we wish you had you on our teams.
Keep going, Pat.
Keep it going, bud. You're great for the league. We appreciate it. All right, let's go with some overreactions. I think we covered everything we had to cover.
I think so.
I think so.
Go weekend of football.
Go weekend football.
Let's keep it on Sundays.
What happened with the Raiders?
Steelers.
Commanders, Niners, we didn't.
Derek Carr played like absolute shit.
Yeah.
That was it. 3 picks.
Yep.
We don't have to talk about that. Raiders stink.
They do.
Yeah, they're out of it. So
Josh Jacobs has issues.
And the next
in the locker
Montana to
room.
Rice.
Josh Jacobs had his Derek Carr press conference moment.
Yep.
Basically just being like, yeah, man, I fucking worked my dick off.
Yeah. We still get
And
beat.
we suck.
Works his
We
dick
have
off.
for the last 4 years, ever since I got here.
So I have no idea what to do. He
Sick
actually
and tired
said,
of this
he
shit.
said, I have no idea what to do. I don't know what to do. And his contract's up.
Yeah, they didn't. He's playing this hard without a contract going forward.
He's a player. Josh
Yeah.
Jacobs is a player. Back to your point, though, Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, not the future, you're saying?
No, fucking Pickett to Pickens, though. The same as
Oh.
Montana Rice, fucking
Nice.
Steve Young to Jerry Rice, fucking Aikman.
The Steelers posted an angle of that Pickett to Pickens touchdown in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
It was from a cell phone. I believe one of their content creators made it from the back end.
Back, yeah.
Strike.
Dart.
That was with how many seconds? 46 seconds
Really
left.
good. A confident strike,
Great
too,
throw.
from Pickett.
46 seconds left in the game, too, to win it.
That's what he does, man. He's a gamer.
And this is obviously the TV.
Boom.
Jeez.
There's somebody standing literally. So, I mean, we'll be able to see it from here, I think. That's a strike right there. Boom. Right behind. That person in the green
Yeah.
might be carrying a cell phone
Yeah.
right there. And the Steelers tweeted out the angle.
That's the angle.
This is close to the angle. This is close to the angle. This is once again TV. But the fucking throw from this dude, he's so good.
He's looking off the backside safety there, too. He looks at backside safety early just to buy him enough time to have that window.
He's a hell of. So you're saying this ain't about Derek Carr or the Raiders?
No.
This ain't about Derek Carr
No,
throwing
no.
3 picks or whatever.
No.
This is about them going into Acrisure
Yeah.
on Franco Harris celebration night.
Franco.
A couple of days after Franco Harris passes away, number 32 retired forever in Pittsburgh. Ownership announced that at before the game, and then or at halftime,
Yep.
and then right before the tribute video,
Yeah.
NFL Network said we need to sell some Applebee's.
You can't look at this.
It was like the war footage when it did cut straight into the Applebee's commercial.
It was whoa. That's not
That
it's
was-
not-
And a little bit of chicken fry.
not- well, yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
A little bit of chicken fry. Yeah, it wasn't like that. Obviously, that's real world. Franco Harris being honored at Pittsburgh, though, in cutting away from the tribute video to sell ads during a commercial break. That was a miscommunication by somebody to somebody.
I think so.
Okay.
Hey, what are you guys doing? Well, he's going to announce that they're retiring number 32, and then they're going to run a video or whatever. And the person, okay, how many minutes we got there? Well, that'll be probably 2.5 minutes or so, and then we'll have 3-minute video or whatever. And the person was like, perfect. We'll get the tribute, retire the jersey, we'll go to commercial. They should have went to commercial before they introduced tribute video.
Yes.
So they say, and now, if you look up to the Jumbotron, a tribute video for Franco Harris, and then commercial. Heard all that.
Yeah.
Should have went to commercial before announcing the tribute video's coming.
Then you just-
We would have not known
Yes.
at home that it happened or when they cut it off until people started tweeting it, and then people thought that was shown like numerous times.
Yeah.
As opposed to NFL Network saying, what was that? You're running a video when? All right, 3, 2, and fuck, everybody don't want to see that. Turned out everybody did want to see that.
I could have seen it being like some Browns fan working there, like,
Probably.
check this shit out. Watch what I'm about to do. Fuck Franco Harris.
It was literally the tribute video that they were showing.
Yeah.
Did the Steelers go live though to show it?
They on their Twitter they did, yes.
Yes. Right after.
No, during the whole thing was live.
gotcha.
The whole halftime was live on their Twitter.
That was just miscommunication.
I'm also
Yeah,
starting a
would've been great
petition. University of Pitt, find your own fucking stadium so we could paint the end zones all the time. And block numbers should always
Good
be
luck.
the jersey.
Yeah, the jerseys look sweet.
They were.
Not that vastly different. Kind of look like Hawkeye jerseys.
Yeah.
Look like some Hawkeye jerseys
Well,
out there.
fucking who was around first?
Kirk's dogs.
Iowa
They do
or
it just
the
like
Steelers?
very much like
No,
Iowa.
Iowa copy the Steelers.
Yes,
It's
go
a known
University
thing.
of Iowa's been around much longer.
Go
than
read.
Steelers.
Go read the internet.
Oh.
They'll tell you what
copied it.
happened.
They
Nope.
copied it.
No.
Uh-oh.
That is true.
Oh, you guys want a
Hayden-
bunch of Super Bowls? We want to look like that.
Hayden Fry did say,
Controversy.
man, those look good.
Well, I was founded in 1889,
Okay. Yeah.
but at some point they did say, just give us the fucking
Yes.
Steelers.
They did.
Nonetheless, look like Iowa.
Yeah.
Jerseys looked awesome. Playing for Franco and the boys.
Hell yeah.
They were there. Mel Blount was there with the big fucking cowboy hat on.
yeah, he's
He
the
looked
best.
amazing.
It's a lock.
In Acrisure. Ran out with the flag. Cam Hayward, last introduced. He was the last one. He had the Franco Harris flag. TJ Watt, second to last. I did not know that. I did not expect that. Did you expect that?
I don't know. Normally it's TJ, but he's been out a lot this season, and I think Cam and Franco were closer. So
Yeah.
Because his dad.
Oh.
Cam interviewed. Didn't Cam interview
I
Franco a
believe
couple
it was
days
the-
before he
I
died?
could be wrong.
Last
but I believe it
interview.
was the last interview. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
wild.
thought they handled it well. I thought the energy was there. A lot of seats. It's cold.
Yeah, very cool.
Free.
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, Pittsburgh, cold.
And in hindsight, they don't win. Like,
Hot.
boy, that's a fucking boring game. to go
Acrisure
to.
wasn't serving 7 fishes, so you're going to lose a lot of the Italian contingency when you're not serving 7 fishes at Acrisure.
I did see the Mexican flag next to
Yeah.
the 32,
Yeah.
and then I saw the tweet, Franco's Italian Army.
2 different flags.
The Mexican flag and the Italian flag are different.
Similar colors.
They are not the same.
They're not the same.
Just so
So everybody knows.
They're close, though.
Fox had Pam Oliver muted and Pereira muted.
Yep.
It was the holidays, though. We appreciate everybody
Pereira.
fucking working on
Yeah.
it.
Shout out.
Working on Christmas.
Because they're just trying to get through the game.
Yeah.
You know? Got to work
Get
on
home.
Christmas,
Yeah.
goddammit. It. Let's go down to Pam Oliver for what she learned at halftime. And the person in the truck is like, what's that? Oh, she's muted. When did we go to her? Boom. Halfway through a sentence. Pereira, same thing.
Yep.
He was talking. So that's why I think it is roughing the passer. All right, thank you so much.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you so much. It was interesting. Thank you for working on Christmas, everybody in the NFL.
Thank you, people.
And thank you to everybody that tweeted this morning their overreactions. You guys are the best on earth. Pickens and Pickett are going to be awesome though going forward.
Yep.
Over there in Pittsburgh. Can't wait for it. It's time to ride the wave of overreaction of all the NFL fans from out there that decided to chime in with the hashtag PMS. I don't want to overreact, but became number 4 trend in the United States. We can't thank everybody enough. Ty went through them. How many? We got some good ones today?
Yeah, several good ones. What I have started to notice, though, is some teams who are very good, when they get beat or whatever, they go a little silent on some overreaction Mondays, which I don't love.
Oh, not a lot of teams showing up here on
Yeah,
this
exactly.
particular Monday.
Exactly.
Interesting. That's smart. Let's not overreact. Let's ride the wave. Let's remain quiet. Let's not get too crazy. Some teams have obviously stapled the legacy that they'll be a playoff contending team this year. Some teams are in a fight. Some teams have been completely eliminated. Let's see what the fans are talking about. Here's Matthew Allen at M. Holland 1022. Hashtag PMS, I don't want to overreact, but the 49ers will win. Oh,
Excuse me.
hashtag PMS, I don't want to overreact, but the 49ers will win the Super Bowl, and Brock Purdy, a.k.a. Big Cock Brock, a.k.a. Glock Purdy, will win the Super Bowl MVP. Hashtag FTTB, which means
For
the
tall boys.
That's right. For the Bay, I think is.
For the Bay.
faithful to the Bay.
Faithful to the Bay.
Faithful to the Bay.
Because they're
That's
actually
in Santa Clara.
There it is. Hashtag faithful
Oh.
to the Bay. What do you say? Hey, 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 hey. Because we're faithful to the Bay. Big Cock, Brock, Glock, Purdy, Brock, Purdy, Super Bowl MVP. Sounds pretty good to me. Guy's a hell of a player.
Yeah.
And he's been finding Kittle on a
Yes.
regular basis, and Kittle's been eating lately, AJ.
Yeah, I mean, I see too where isn't Kittle saying, yeah, Nick Bosa is gonna. He obviously has Defensive Player of the Year locked up. He should be an MVP candidate. Like, yeah, I mean, honestly, the guy is an absolute game wrecker in what he does. So when you have a guy like that on defense, coupled with the rest they have at all 3 levels, are you kidding me? Like, Brock doesn't have to be spectacular. Brock is very, very good, and this offense is fun to watch.
Yeah, offense is fun to watch. Brock has to be good in moments. This is just like what we were talking about with Tua. Like, The system, the players are going to create some moments. In those moments, you got to show up. Brock Purdy being able to do that is something that I don't think any of us could have ever expected other than Brock Purdy, his family, and maybe Iowa State fans, and seemingly everybody in the Niners locker room as well. Trent has talked about him. Everybody's talked about how awesome this guy is. Why not go on a run, big cock Brock, huh?
Yeah,
why not?
Absolutely. And Steve Smith mentioned it earlier, and I almost forgot about it. Like when Debo comes back, the chemistry that Brock already has with those guys, you just add Debo Samuel to the fold. Like, that's unbelievable.
Christian McCaffrey crushing it. And once again, we can't state it enough. That defense is so good.
They're
ridiculous.
All right, let's go to another overreaction from around the NFL fandom world. Donnie Hanks at Hank Haas. Hashtag PMS, I don't overreact. But Mike McDaniel hitched his wagon to the wrong horse. This is like turn the ball over.
Yes, exactly.
Tua turned the ball over. To the wrong horse. Got it. I like all the wordplay that everybody's been doing with Tua's name. And obviously, Oos' name has the ability to be changed a lot because of how many letters in there. I think Tua's had a rough couple weeks, so everybody wants to think that this is the same old Tua. But every once in a while, people are going to go through some slumps. It happens at all levels. It happens to all levels of players. Tua can still bounce back. I still think the offense is going to give him opportunities to shine. Will he do so? Let's hope so. But they've been losing a lot, and in December, they have not been good when everybody else is playing their best ball. Are you worried about McDaniel, Tua, and the Miami Dolphins, AJ?
Yeah, if I was a Dolphins fan, I'd be a bit worried, especially with the fourth quarter turnovers by Tua and just how they didn't really make sense, like what he was trying to do there, especially in the times it happened. Like, yeah, I would worry a little bit. Honestly, I really would. I know McDaniel. I love McDaniel, what he can do, but I feel like at some point, some of those deep balls may not be completing as much as they used to. Tyreek Hill and Waddle might not be able to turn a 10-yard pass into an 80-yard touchdown run with things like that. I don't know. Like that, yeah, I would be a bit worried. I really would.
Well, and think what all happened in that game. Tyreek Hill had a massive catch, explosive play. That's why we paid him. Waddle had a massive play, explosive play. That's why we paid him. They had a pick on Aaron. Aaron signs that ball, says, "Merry Christmas, Aaron Rodgers." They turn the ball over on the defensive side of the ball, still lose because you get 3 picks to end the game. Boom, bang, pow. That's a tough loss. You did everything that you wanted to do, everything that you sorted or sought out to do at the beginning of the season. We need to have this. We need to have this. We need to do this. You're doing all those, and you still lose because of that. I can see that being a tough pill to swallow, AJ.
Yeah, and his picks weren't like, oh, he's trying to squeeze into a tight window. It was just like, oh, did you not see what was going on there? Like, they were weird to me.
And he was late on a couple. Second guess. If he starts second guessing himself in that system, he'll get out of it. Hey, come on. I'm not giving up on him yet. Let's throw Tua a bone.
I tried to find one a little bit more mild because people were really shitting on him and like some really disrespect. Like, I don't think because also like McDaniel, everyone wants to give him, his flowers, and rightfully so. But cool. Like it was kind of like AQ said the other day. You get those O coordinators who, like, if you're not ripping off 8, 10, 12-yard runs early, they just abandon the run. They kind of were, and then they still, for whatever reason, were like, actually, like they get enamored with he throws the long touchdown pass. And then he throws the other bomb to Tyreek, and it's like they kind of just abandoned the run completely in the second half.
Can't do it. Got to win with the run game. We're not out on Miami yet, though, but they got some shit to figure out.
Pick up that 5th year.
That's going to be a long off season. This goes like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they've lost, 4 in a row, 5 in a row?
Yeah. I think the streak is 3 in a row, 3-0, 0-5, 4-0, or 5-0, and then 0-4.
Can't have it. Let's go to another overreaction, shall we? This one's from, James Lavelle. Excuse me for that burper. I've had 2 green teas today.
God bless you.
What? That's for sneezing. Right?
Yeah, but if you burp, God bless you.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes.
What about fart?
Know that?
You cannot
what if he
have
farts?
enough blesses.
Well, I'll take any blessings anybody wants to throw towards me. I don't think anybody's ever blessed anybody after a fart. But Ty, I don't know. AJ wanted to.
If you make a noise out of your body, I bless you.
I ate terribly these last couple of days.
Hard not to.
The wife put together a menu at the house that was. She got me maybe 10 pounds of Reese's.
Oh, nice.
Christmas. What am I supposed to do?
Eat it.
You brought some in here too, didn't you?
Yeah, I brought in a bunch. There's a lot more at home. Had to bring it in. Everybody else eat it. But I'm a little, like this morning, couldn't sleep that well because I was just
Yeah.
evacuating everything out of my body.
Gotta
So
do
I
it.
do 2 green teas, and all of a sudden I'm getting little burpees from the green
It's
tea.
like heartburn too with it?
No heartburn, but little latte needs to figure it out. Why am I burping when I'm drinking this?
What the hell's going on?
That does make sense.
Figure it
You
out.
drink it too
little while.
fast. Too much air in it.
Did Jordo break any news today that we need to know about?
No.
No.
I thought he did.
Oh, latte. I thought he had some news. Was that just a
Little
text to
latte?
you?
Yeah.
Oh,
So you and Jordo just text throughout the day.
Yeah, sent to Christmas.
So he had a little. You had a little like feeler, like an appetizer, like, hey, you cooking anything up over there? And Jordo's like, here's where I'm at, piecing things together. Is that what happens with you and Little Latte?
Yeah, basically. See how he's doing, you know.
What did he say today? Was he piecing anything together for us to say on air today?
If you want it, I don't know. Maybe.
No, you're the one having a conversation with him, not me. You did say something earlier though about what Little Latte said, and didn't give the context of it, but it was certainly something worth chatting about.
Yeah, supposedly.
So is this something Little Latte
you
wants?
let's go out over the
outside
airwaves.
voices. Is this something? Is this inside voice?
These might be inside voices stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well.
Okay.
I thought he broke like 10 minutes ago that Nathaniel Hackett got fired.
You didn't. What you just did there was
Rude.
What?
Little Latte's
Just
grinding
happened.
right now. It doesn't have to be.
No, I agree. I thought he just tweeted it out. What's wrong with that?
The interim head coach for the Denver Broncos has been broken. The news by Shefty is Jerry Ross. This is the
Jerry.
guy that was brought in for clock management from the Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
Did not start the season with the Denver Broncos. Was brought in like week 3 or week 4. Has been around long time in the game. Knows football very well. Former special teams guy, I do believe. Jerry Rossberg, now the head coach of the Broncos. That'll work.
Yeah.
Heaven
Let's go,
forbid,
Jerry.
they let the DC, who's been great all year, maybe get a crack at it. But
Yeah.
what do I know?
Vance Joseph.
Let's let fucking Jerry Rosberg do it.
Maybe Vance didn't want it.
I don't think he's the DC anymore. I
No,
do
who
not,
is-
I
He's
do
in
not know how
Arizona.
to pronounce the
Vance is
DC's name.
Oh.
Vance had a hell of a fucking because when JJ was going crazy, they were
Yes.
showing Vance on the
Mhm.
sideline. Who is the DC for the Broncos?
I do not know how to pronounce it. I think it starts with
How's
an
it
E.
spelled?
EJIRO
Yeah,
Avero.
Ejiro Avero.
He's a dog.
Yeah.
Los Angeles Rams. Ejiro Evero, his new defense coordinator. I wonder. You think he just didn't want it?
Maybe.
Is that what happened?
Who knows?
Hey, good luck out there. Keep going.
Keep
going. Get him, Jerry.
What a shit show.
Yeah, that place is on fire.
It's crazy. So much money too.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally on fire too, by
Yes,
the
it
way.
was.
Yeah, the stadium. That's why they had to get $100 million out of the G4 program, so they don't have to lose any money, but they can do what they say refurbish.
Yeah, refurbishing.
refurbishings to the Mile High Field.
And power.
Every time we talk about the Broncos, I immediately think about the Colts. We're fucked. How do
Yeah,
we
you
fix
are.
the Colts?
You can't really. You bring in.
Get rid of a
Derek
lot of
Carr.
guys.
Just
get a lot of
Quarterback
guys.
helps. Quarterback can go from
You need
there.
a leader.
Head
You
coach.
think quarterback just changes?
Yep.
100%.
Really, after what's happened with the quarterbacks this offseason.
33
I'm
nothing.
not saying
gotta
you
get a
bring
good
in Russell
quarterback.
Wilson, but I'm saying you bring in a bona fide guy, whether that's a young guy or whatever it is. If he plays well in that system, yes, he will turn the team around.
I hope so, bub. It's hard to have faith.
They
Yeah.
have
Also,
talent,
like before
man. They
this
really
year
do.
was.
They do have talent. That's why it makes no sense to me. How are you giving up 33 nothing fucking leads at halftime to Minnesota Vikings? You have talent on your roster. You have good players on your roster. You have established players on your roster. You allegedly have leaders in that locker room. They are just crumbling at all points. You think we get a good quarterback in there, turn them around? You think that's what the Broncos need? If Russell Wilson plays football well, everything will turn around out there? That's really the only answer?
That's kind of how it works, right? The quarterback plays well, the team tends to win a lot more games.
3.7 QER today
Well,
for us.
and like
I don't know
bona
what
fide.
What Nick Foles is going to have tonight. He's a Super Bowl MVP. Hopefully he's bona
Foles
fide.
going to light it up.
I think so too. I'm banking on
If
him.
he has the visor on, put all the money on him.
Everybody's all enamored by Big Cock Brock. Let's not forget.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big Dick Nick. was
original.
there.
There's a rather large Richard Nick.
That's right.
Was out here.
It was 15 years ago. Andy Dalton was still good then.
Let's move to another overreaction because it feels like we're going down the wrong path right now. James Lavelle, hashtag PMS, I don't want to overreact. But Daniel Jones should be MVP. Name one quarterback making more happen with less weapons. Richie James and Isaiah Hodgins, leading wide receivers. Tua can't even win with Hill and Waddle. We took an 11-3 team Dahn to the last second with the practice squad. Bruce Bronovich was saying the same thing about the Giants. They're saying how he's playing with people that aren't notable names and aren't starters over there. has warranted an extension on a contract so much. Did you get to see that Giants game? And did you get to see Daniel Jones work? And what are your thoughts on old Lavelle's overreaction there?
Yeah, I mean, I do like what Daniel Jones is doing, but I don't know. Okay, let's say he gets an extension. What does that look like? They're not going to pay him with the top-tier guys.
Yeah, all these extensions for these quarterbacks that, like,
Yeah.
what's that next tier? It's going to have to happen at some point. You can't just go new quarterback, ridiculously wealthy quarterback, all the way down to, half quarterback. I'm excited to see if Daniel Jones takes a team friendly,
Yeah.
I want him to make as much money as possible. But also, you're throwing a practice squad, guys. It would be nice to have a little bit of money to spend because your previous contracts that the previous GM made did not set you up for necessary success.
I think like 3 years, 70 mil would be,
It's a lot of money.
Yeah,
It's a lot of money,
Even
AJ.
a Tannehill.
20,
like
25,
30 million a
25.
year.
Yeah, if he did a Tannehill, I feel like even that's kind of team friendly.
Because you can make it a 5-year,
Right.
kick it out a little bit, go down
Opt out after 2, probably.
Yeah, not bad. He can set it up in the right way. I think Dabo and the boys will do that over there. Maybe look at Daniel Jones. Huh? It's not over.
Here you go, Dahn.
Can't wait to see what they do next year. Obviously, devastating loss to a 61-yard field goal from Joseph. Let's go to another overreaction. This is from Dom Simonetta.
Yeah.
Simonetta. Simonetta. Mozzarella, top 3 cheese. Provolone, top 3 cheese. Swiss is number 1 in my cheese rankings.
Wow. Really?
Its performance on the Shark board on Saturday was
out of this world.
You like Munster?
I'm out on the super cheesies.
How about
Cheeses.
pepper jack?
American.
I do like pepper jack. American
Where
cheese.
the hell did your American cheese love go?
Yeah.
American cheese kind of in its own world because of it being such a utility player. Can literally do anything.
Okay.
Can put it on a Shark board. You could dress it up. You could dress it the fuck down.
Thank you
Okay.
for that.
So I don't even think of American cheese as a cheese, more so as like its own entity.
Yeah. It's like a
Whenever you're
condiment.
yeah, exactly.
It's
It
a
is
5-tool
condiment.
player.
Ketchup, American cheese. It is a condiment. When you get in that cheese world with like the Shark boards and like the weird sandwiches and shit,
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Swiss is by far my new number 1.
You like that brie stuff?
See, I think it's too cheesy for me.
Like cream cheese.
Breeze soft.
Too
I don't like
fancy.
soft.
It's gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I concur.
That's another
My
different.
number
That's a
one's
different
always,
umbrella.
I mean, the buffalo mozzarella is always obviously good, but the parmesan's always.
I had Garbanzola. this week.
Mozzarella's okay. I mean, mozzarella's okay. Parmesan's good on a pizza, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Parmesan is good any way you fucking cut it.
And I guess you put it on chicken.
Yep.
Sure.
Pasta.
They got that cheddar pepper jack.
Can you do it in a
combo.
sandwich?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Maybe Parmesan.
I like it best on the fucking chartboard.
Also a different cheese.
Dude, the Swiss, though. You should have seen the Swiss. It was adapting to all different biscuits and crackers that were on the board.
Yep.
I was
good
able to
cheese.
put any meat with it that was on the board.
Swiss Army knife.
That's hard to do.
There was some meats where it was like, look, that's the final meat that I had right there. That meat normally goes with a ched, you think, or maybe a pepper.
I like that. What's the little guy, the little marbling one down there?
Capicola.
That's a salami.
No, he's talking about
No,
the cheese.
below it.
Oh, Kobe Jack.
Yeah, bottom left.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, the mixture.
I'm out on that.
Well, I like the mix.
Smells. Swiss cheese smells like turds.
Yeah, but a shark board smells like turds.
Come
There's a
on.
lot of
Cheese
things.
does not smell good.
Yeah, there's a lot of things
You
that
don't-
smell like shit
You
on
don't
a
need
shark.
all the fancy stuff. If you stick with the American and cheddar little mixtures, you're good. You don't need to put that fancy stuff on there.
Okay, but if you're going to, I would recommend heading
Hell
straight
yeah.
to the Swiss.
Swiss, okay.
The Swiss, I think, is the most basic of the fancy cheeses.
They're neutral.
I love it. And that's what I think you put on a sandwich. Remember ham and Swiss
Oh, so
on a
good.
pretzel bun? Oh,
Still hits.
oh my God. And it was maybe in the moment I put that take out, and a lot of people were judging me for it. And there was somebody that says, this sounds like a guy that doesn't actually like cheeses, ranking cheeses or whatever. It's like, maybe that's true too. Give me American cheese and give me Swiss cheese.
Hell yeah.
But you said you like pepper jack.
I do like pepper jack.
Yeah.
I'll get down with some pepper jack. All right, let's go to another overreaction before we make our picks and get the fuck out of here. Dom Seminetta, hashtag PMS, I don't want to overreact. But the Titans are absolutely dead. Obliterated by the Jags at home. Now we get rolled by a one-win Texans team playing 2 quarterbacks. It's time to blow it up. Fire Downing. Already fired. Oh, the offense coordinator. Fire the offensive line. Play for a top 10 pick. 1,000% chance we get hit sticked in Duval in week 18. AJ, your thoughts on the Tennessee Titans being dead?
I mean, it might be a valid overreaction here. You never know. And the fact that the Jags look good, they seem to have a ton of confidence. Yeah, it doesn't feel great for the Tennessee Titans with their starting quarterback Ryan Tannehill out of the lineup, too.
Is Vrabel's going to Ohio State?
Ooh.
That'd be sweet.
Interesting.
Is he coming to Indiana?
What are you saying?
Why would he want to go back to college?
I would
I don't
never.
know I don't know many NFL coaches that are like, yeah, I just need to get back in that college world.
Yeah, I want to start tweeting to recruit guys.
It would be fun. 25
I
million.
want every single weekend of my offseason to be hosting recruits and going to their living room and never seeing my family and never doing anything fun.
Yeah. What do they do with Frames next year? They give him more power because they fired the GM? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Figure it out. What's Tannehill's situation like?
Get him out.
Dead.
Well, let's go to another overreaction. I don't know that one.
Yeah, Tannehill's career might be looked back on as
could be an Indy.
Joe Burrow and the Bengals killed Ryan Tannehill forever.
I hope not, because Tannehill probably a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Great
he is.
athlete. Probably a good guy. Tough go, though,
Seems
here.
a good
It's
guy.
football.
Derrick Henry has a couple games in this slide where he's dominated.
Crushing.
This
And
one
they're
even-
still losing.
Yeah,
He had a long one to start this one.
Yeah. Derrick Henry touchdown. I'm like, why didn't I put that on a Super Boost? What am I even talking about? We talked about it on the fucking show.
Yeah.
Why am Derrick Henry? Obviously, he's 200 and some pounds, running back. It's going to be freezing cold. He's going to get a touchdown. Nobody's going to want to tackle him. We literally talked about it. Then I see it happen. I'm like, should have put it on a Super Boost. Of course, the Titans are going to win today. No.
Not so
The
fast.
Texans say, no. We are also on scholarship.
Yeah.
We are also getting paid. And although we've only won a couple games this season and we're dancing with not being near the top of the draft anymore with every coming game, it's like we still got a squad. We've taken people to the limit. That's the difference between great teams and terrible teams in the NFL. It's like who can sneak away with the dubs. That's why we have to pay attention to what the Vikings are doing.
Yes.
The Vikings are winning all these games that they could not. For whatever reason, they must be living right. They're doing things right. They're worried about situational football more than anybody else. The football gods bless people for a reason. The Texans have not been blessed. Is it because Jack Easterby left the building? Did they have to withstand a little bit of punishment from the Lord and the football lords, potentially with Jackie E leaving the building? But they're a good squad. People forget that. So anytime you lose to them, fans are going to overreact.
Yeah.
And that happened to the Titans, almost happened to the Cowboys, almost happened to the Chiefs, almost happened to a bunch of them. But we just need to recognize that everybody's professional out there. This is the NFL. These teams can all beat the fuck out of all these college teams that we love watching every
It's
single
weird now because Derrick Henry dominated in the first half too against the Jags, right? So he keeps dominating these early games, and they're not able to finish, which is not a normal Titans.
Yeah, it's complete opposite. Maybe Vrabes needs to bring the boxing gloves back out at practice.
Not a bad idea.
Start laying into some guys.
Well, didn't Malik throw for like 90-some yards?
Yeah, that doesn't help either.
He threw a pick to close it out.
Yeah. Russian Todd.
He hasn't thrown for over 100 yet.
Yeah.
14 and 23, 99 yards.
That's not great.
So
Close.
stats say he hasn't thrown for over 100, 3 feet away this time.
That was a tough pick.
2 interceptions, 43 rush yards with 1 touchdown running the ball. I'm intrigued. That offense coordinator's been on some thin ice in jail and back on thin ice with the fans.
Yeah.
So hopefully he'll be able to figure it out going forward. Maybe Vrabes gets a little bit more say in the personnel department going forward and what his team should look like.
Speaking of him going to jail, think about the different paths that the Titans have been on and the Packers have been on since that
then.
game.
True.
Like, it's insane. The Packers completely, I think they might have dropped one more after that, but then they've turned it around. The Titans, I don't think, have they won since then?
No, I don't think so. No, they
Yeah.
lost 5 straight. Let's go to the overreactions. This is from Carter Noel, hashtag PMS, I don't want to overreact, but Pats are trash without, fuck. It's on me. It's 2 times today.
It's okay. It's okay.
Caught up.
We're okay.
Holiday spirit.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Just all zeked up.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm all
I get
zeked up.
Need him back.
Fucking miss Zeke, dude.
Big time. I want to walk, but not with Elias.
Elias is back, right? Elias is back?
Was Elias
We
back?
zeked up about Elias or no?
Yeah.
All right.
He ain't Zeke.
Hashtag PMS, I don't want to overreact. But the Pats are trash without Tom Brady. Patricia should have never been hired after Detroit. Bill Belichick is loyal to a fault. Blow this shit up and restart it. It's embarrassing having to watch this offense expecting something different. Literally the definition of ineptitude. That baby Carter, you're 100% right. Connor, your thoughts on Carter's overreaction here?
A lot of people want to do this. I think it's bad when you're watching a football game where the Patriots are playing and you know something is going to go wrong at the end. Stevenson fumbles. We're about to go in and score, but I think a lot of Patriots fans, including myself, thought, just wait. Something's going to happen here. We're going to turn the ball over. We're not going to win this game. The Brady thing, though, it's nice that they are so bad at football that it's taking some pressure off of that take in particular. But, yeah, Matty P can't be the OC. He just can't. And then Mac Jones can't be a dirty player in the NFL.
We had a Zoom call at 3:30 we were supposed to be on. Obviously, we all remembered that. That's 20 minutes ago. We got 10 more minutes here for the rescheduled one. So let's go ahead and do one more overreaction. Then let's get our picks and get moving. incredible. At Anthony Bomario at ABomb120. Hashtag PMS, I don't want to overreact. But the Seahawks run with Geno this year was amazing, but they need to find more depth in running back and get a defensive line who can stop the run before they have a hope of making the playoffs. I think the Seattle Seahawks fans should be pumped about how the year has gone, and maybe in the next couple of years you guys are all the way back to prominence. We can't thank you enough for participating, and hashtag PMS, I don't want to overreact. But now let's make our picks this evening's game. I believe the spread 3.5 still?
Yes.
I would like to make sure we both get this spread with how it closes, AJ.
Yes, 3.5.
Okay? No, we'll take it at 3.5. This thing might go up to 4.5 though late.
Yeah.
So we got it at 3.5.
Okay, we'll take it at 3.5. Who do you like, AJ?
Who do you think I'm going to pick?
Well, when you look at the Super Bowl MVP right there, and then a Defensive Player of the Year right there on that graphic, and then obviously the year that Zaire is having with a C on his chest, you would assume with just those stats and titles alone, you would pick the Super Bowl MVP side. So you got the Colts plus 3.5. Me, I don't know. Whatever.
I got the Chargers minus 3.5, no question.
What's that?
You heard me.
Oh, I thought you were going with Mike Williams.
Yeah.
Dog. Justin Herbert. Dog. Khalil Mack. Dog. I thought you were going, against them.
Khalil Mack's paying like $40,000 per night for dinner for half the team. So, yeah, I like the camaraderie they have going over there.
Well, I certainly love that and would love to see that in the Colts. Would like to see, just a little bit of life out of the boys. And I'll be boots on the grind tonight for this game. Give me the Colts plus 3.5.
Wow, look at you.
We also got a super boost that is live on FanDuel. Austin Eckler to score a touchdown and Deion Jackson, number 35 for the Colts, to score a touchdown. Did we know he existed 6 weeks ago? No. Jonathan Taylor gets hurt. They put 35 in. He runs fucking hard. I think Jeff Saturday will want to see a guy that runs hard, see a guy that has some explosion, and I'm not sure how big Richard Nick Foles is throwing the ball these days, but I am sure we'll try to hammer the rock out. Look for Deion Jackson to get in the zone alongside Austin Eckler, and it has been boosted to plus 700.
Okay.
Let's win one, AJ.
I love these. I love them. Plus 500 and above, man, I love those.
Plus 700. We're boots on the ground. Let's enjoy that tonight. We'll be back tomorrow with Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. Another happy one. Another big-time win. Everything's still in front of the Green Bay Packers. Everything they needed to happen has happened. Will they be able to win against the Vikings this weekend? Then close it with the Lions the final week in Lambeau. We will see where Aaron Rodgers' head is at, and we will see you all tomorrow. Hope Christmas was fantastic. Goodbye.